What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Pack a Pod. Ladies and gents, second episode back in a long time. We've got some Easter eggs done. We also have some map rankings coming up here in just a moment. But I think the best way to start all of this is we got some Black Ops 6. Black Ops 6 Zombies around the corner. We all want it to do well. Every one of us wants it to. I mean, we want to keep talking zombies. But there's really only two words that come to mind with what we've seen so far, and it's Liberty Balls. Liberty Falls gameplay released. We got a nice little trailer with Richtofen, which that was badass. There is nothing bad I can say about that video whatsoever. That was sick. The gameplay, though, it looked like multiplayer. It looked like Warzone. It looked like everything but zombies. I have some good. I have some bad. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what you guys saw from Liberty Falls. I'll kick it off with Jay. I know you wanted to go in blind, and we're going to go in blind to Terminus, but at least for Liberty Falls, what have you seen, and how do you feel?
All right, the only reason I didn't go in blind for this map is because I saw negative stuff regardless. Like, it just popped up on my Twitter feed, and I saw a lot of people hating on it. I accidentally saw a clip of a chopper gunner being pulled out of the box because I didn't think a chopper gunner clip had anything to do with zombies when the caption was about a chopper gunner. And then after that point, I had seen enough that I kind of understood the criticism. So I was like, you know what? I'll just watch stuff about Liberty Falls. So I watched that entire Raffle Waffles video titled appropriately Liberty Balls.
Liberty Balls.
And honestly, I agree with his general critiques. It looks like a multiplayer map, and it doesn't seem to like really play like zombies. And it seemed like all the people at COD Next were like easily getting around 40 and 50. And that's not just like the guys who were there for zombies, but that includes just like the normal multiplayer people who probably don't play a lot of zombies, were like relatively easily just getting to high rounds. And it just seems like it's not a great experience. Also, I think with all the armor and everything, you can get like a 14 hit down because you can get the armor, you can get Jug. There's all these different ways you can like basically just become damn near invincible.
To be fair, Wyatt might need that.
Wyatt might need that.
Yeah, that's fair.
After Revelations last night, Kyle might need that.
Kyle died 10 times.
10 times.
Actually, you know what's really bad? I kind of went through. We could talk about this later, but I went through all the things. I think I have the most downs. I think I do.
Out of all of them? Out of all the Easter eggs?
Out of all the Easter eggs, I think if you add it together, you know, extrapolate for who's played the most and everything like that, I think I got more downs than Jay, and Jay's played them all.
I have played the most.
Yeah. But to be fair, I think some of mine got an ass just 'cause Jay drowned me at one point.
Wait, when did I do that?
On Zetsubo, you drowned my ass.
You drowned him, bro?
You made me swim to the bottom, and you're like, I used the pod this round. So the pod wasn't there, and I drowned.
True. That said, we were trying to do that step of the Easter egg, and you know, you got to make a sacrifice, all right? You got to make a sacrifice.
Yeah. So continue. We'll talk about that later.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. Liberty Falls, it just doesn't seem like it has like much of an identity. It just looks like it looks like a multiplayer map. And I say that because, like, let's be honest, a lot of like the recent COD, the multiplayer maps, they just kind of all blend together in your mind. Like there's not a lot of like unique identity to them. It doesn't feel like an overran like town where like zombies have taken hold and there's like this unique aspect to it. When I say unique, I'm thinking like, think about even like Black Ops 4 has all its criticisms, but think about like you're on the Titanic or you're in the Colosseum and there's tigers and like you got to appease the gods and all these like kind of crazy stuff. And even if we're not getting like that, you know, far out with like the themes, like Transit was even that had its own theme of like it's got, you know, you're in this like little small town cornfield, all this stuff, but all the fog and the destruction, and clearly the world has been nuked. We have our critiques of that map and we'll talk about that later, but like clearly it had a unique identity, and Liberty Falls just looks basic as hell.
Yeah, Richie, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, because I've seen a lot of gameplay of Liberty Falls, and I don't know. I mean, basically, like you had said, it's just another multiplayer-looking map. There's no aura to it, right? So last night I actually hopped on Black Ops 1 and played Doris, and that just has a whole vibe to it. And that's the biggest thing that I've noticed it's missing. It's kind of sad. Like, I don't really want to play it, but I know that I will. I mean, either way, we'll at least see how it goes when we actually play it. Maybe the gameplay's there, I don't know, but it definitely doesn't feel like like much of anything, at least from all the gameplay that I've seen of it, and I've watched probably at least like 3 hours of gameplay.
Oh damn.
Jumbo.
What I would say, I'll play a little bit of devil's advocate. Be the one person off. Like, okay, so here's the thing. They could have improved. They could have accomplished these goals maybe with that atmosphere that we want. But the way I look at it is this isn't the map for us. This is the map for the people who aren't the hardcore zombies guys. This isn't the map for the guys who have been playing since World at War Black Ops 1. This is for the guys who like Warzone and like the Warzone look maps and everything like that, to maybe bridge them into the actual gameplay, of the typical zombies that we know. And also, too, this is to give them something that can be easy, that they can get to high rounds on, kind of make them feel good, right? Does that make me the most happy in the world? Like, no, obviously, like if you, I have the same criticisms. Like the map looks kind of bland. There is like the one area that definitely does have like that typical zombies feel, where I believe the pack-a-punch is. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't know if you guys want any spoilers or how much you've seen, but
Yeah, no, I think
there
that's
is one
fine.
area there is one area that very much has like that zombies feel. But other than that, like I think this is created for someone very, very different. Now, I mean, especially because the way I've always liked zombies, and obviously what we've been doing is the Easter eggs. If this has like some sort of Easter egg tie and like it's like super important that you have to go through to understand
it does
that.
have a mainline Easter egg on the map. So
that's the only thing that I think that like bothers me, is because like, yeah, then after it's like I'm gonna feel obligated to like put time into playing it and learning that and everything because of the fact that it has the mainline Easter egg. I mean, obviously it should, because we saw that trailer. So yeah, I would have hoped that it looked a little bit better, but you know, that's just, I guess, kind of what happens. You know what I also noticed about this, and I was thinking about recently, like people talk about you guys mentioned transit having like that feel and everything like that. And transit, I think something about like the newer generation having the crisp graphics and having like the way the engine is, I think that takes away from like what zombies felt like. I feel like the old like rough graphics made the game feel vintage and made it feel a little bit like more of that rustic kind of jank, and like that you would feel when you're in a zombie situation. I think that actually helped. The fact that like in transit you couldn't have an open map and they had to add the fog so it didn't load, I think helped for it. Not that this is a big map, but like even seeing some of the other open world zombies maps that they've done, I've always hated the look of them. And transit could have been like that if it wasn't ahead of its time, if you know what I'm saying.
No,
I
I
actually
think that-
like transit.
Yeah, I think you're correct in that. I think you have like a good the only antithesis of that would be Black Ops 3, because Black Ops 3 was probably the bridge between the two, right? You had some of the older feel and then some of the newer vibe with the graphics, and it kind of merged together to create what Black Ops 3 was. And I think most of the community would say like Black Ops 3 is one of the best experiences of zombies, if not the best. So I think that's where it comes from. But I like that you had some devil's advocate, and I want to add in some wishful thinking as well, because I obviously feel the same as like Jay and Rich. But I do want to add some wishful things on top of that. And that is that, once again, like you said, Jumba, hopefully this map was just not made for us, and it's more of a map to bridge the gap. They also added in a lot of these rumors that I'm seeing, a classic zombies mode, which we don't really know what that is yet, but I would assume based on the wording, the verbiage, that it's going to bring us back to what we're talking about. And there also is a HUD update where you can go back to a classic zombies feel, which I think is going to be a lot. I think the part that bothered me the most was the HUD. Like I just felt like I was loading into Warzone or something like that. It just didn't feel anything like it. And the only other positive I can really say about watching all of the videos, it looks like they're putting way more zombies per round. Now, I don't know if those zombies are any more difficult. It doesn't look like it from what we've seen so far, but it does look like they're putting way more zombies per round, which, I don't know, that could be a factor in the future. The other big issue I have to have with this thing is the mini-map. The entire point of zombies wasn't just like, oh, we are killing zombies. The entire point of zombies was you and whoever you're playing with building together to try to last as long as you possibly can. It was like the mechanic of just building and trying to get to a place where you feel like you can hold your own and survive. And a lot of the things they've put in here, I know some of it was in Cold War, but it just feels like they've taken away a lot of that. Like there was the Wonder Fizz machine. he opens up the menu, and I'm pretty sure this was already in Cold War, but you get to just pick which perk
Choose
you
what you
get.
want.
Which
That
in
was.
the old Wonder Fizz, it was like, I fucking hope I don't get Deadshot again, because I've gotten Deadshot 7 times in a row. And it's like part of that, like, you're gambling. You're taking a gamble, hoping you come out on the other side with what you need. And a lot of times you didn't, and you had to make do with what you had at the time. And I feel like a lot of what they've done is taken a lot of that away. Like Jay said, 14 hits for a down. I mean, my friend Brian would only go down 15, 16 times instead of 30. You know, I feel like Brian would want that challenge. You know, he wants that challenge. It's just, they've taken away a lot of that. The ammo, the armor plates, whatever, you know, like that's another thing. And then I saw an ammo cache, which I also think was on Cold War. Come on. Like, what are we doing here? Like, when you're needing a max ammo and you finally get one, everyone's max ammo, max ammo. Oh my God. You grab the max ammo, everybody freaks out. It's like the best feeling in the world. You're taking away some of those dark moments that can immediately be fixed by some of the things you put in the original versions of this game. And I feel like it takes away a lot of the excitement, it takes away a lot of the, you know, difficulty, and it's just making it pretty bland. One more other good thing, though, I would say, is with that cutscene that they made with Richtofen, it looks like they've put a lot of time into this in the background. So I'm hoping that because they've put so much into this and added a lot more resources to zombies, they had, I mean, during the COD Next thing, they had so many dedicated posts and videos to just zombies. I'm hoping that they take a look at some of this stuff, some of the criticisms, and are like, okay, let's try to make sure moving forward we do a better job of this, because you know, I think Black Ops 3 in the early days, people really didn't care for it at first. Black Ops 4, it wasn't the greatest, but also when you go back and revisit it, it's not like the worst thing possible. There was just some personality things they struggled with. So hopefully as the timeline goes through, they can do a little bit better of a job. But did you guys want to add anything else before we move on?
Yeah, one last devil's advocate thing, because I will say, when a lot of the old CODs came out, there were very similar negative opinions. I remember hating Shadows of Evil when that dropped, and I was like, gobblegums, and I gotta go into this weird ass alien mode in order to like turn on, like, what am I playing? Like, this is not zombies, you know what I mean? And nowadays, when everybody talks about Shadows of Evil and BO3, like all those years ago, it's considered like one of the top 10 maps of all time. And even my opinion has changed on it since we've done all the Easter eggs and everything and played on it. So I think that I'm coming in with an open mind, even though there is negative criticisms, just because we've seen in the past that there has been things that we didn't like that later we did like. And I don't want to go into it thinking everything is doomed before we've truly like gotten to experience it. Because who knows? Maybe, like you said, Liberty Falls, it's not the map for us. But then all of a sudden we play it on classic mode. We do the Easter egg, which unlocks some new area or something, and we just have a completely different opinion than the one that we've previously had because we were just watching videos. So I'm coming with an open mind, and I will say too, even on just like, because I haven't watched anything on Terminus. I have literally, except for the opening cutscene thing, that's all I've seen. I have no opinions, negative or positive, on Terminus yet. But I will say, even like when I think back to like all the old CODs, the first maps that like the game dropped with were never like, when the game was over, those were never the maps that I considered like the best on the game. Like, think about World at War. By the time we got to Derice, like, people forgot about Noct. You know, no one's going back and playing Noct. We're playing Derice, we're playing Verrückt, we're playing Shinonuma because they have all these cool new things. Same thing on Black Ops 1. We're playing Ascension, we're playing Shangri-La, we're playing Moon. Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Mob of the Dead, Origin. You know, like, we play all these other maps because they got better as the year went on. So I'm still holding out hope that, like, if Terminus is just solid, the DLC, my expectations are going to skyrocket, because it feels like, which I will say, I have not played some of the more recent COD games like Vanguard and all that stuff, and I know that those DLC maps are ass, but yeah, I have higher expectations for the other maps besides Liberty Falls, because that's like, it's like the side map. It's the Nuke Town, it's the Giant, it's the like side one that isn't really supposed to be the map you devote all your time to. So
I agree with that. And then the other thing I'd say is, like, yeah, like the fact that you can customize the HUD. Like, I'm going in, I'm turning off that fucking mini map, minimap doesn't need
turning
to be
that
zombies.
off
That
immediately.
shit makes no sense.
Classic HUD, classic
yeah.
mode, classic everything. I'm gonna be honest.
It sucks. I wish that like I'd want everyone to like have that experience, not have that stuff. You don't almost feel like hand holding. But like regardless, like I'll make my experience the way I want to make it. And the reason I'd want everyone to is just because of the challenge of zombies. It just felt like when everyone was like starting the same way, like the challenge felt the same. I don't know. It's gonna be weird. Like if someone gets like a high round, but they're using all the extra stuff that they have versus someone who doesn't. I'm like, do I give them more of a benefit? But at the same time, you could learn a map. Wyatt couldn't learn Revelations, so I don't know. So maybe not.
Yeah, I hate that map.
But what I will say, I've seen some clips of Terminus, and I won't spoil anything. I'll just say that gives me hope. From what I have seen, it does give me hope.
That feels
makes
good.
me feel good. And then the only thing is, I don't think this is a spoiler. This is actually probably the thing I like the least that I've heard about Black Ops 6. Have you guys heard about guided mode?
Yes, the guided mode.
I don't.
Yeah.
I will say though,
very least,
on the
should,
guided mode, it's
yeah.
not coming off drop. It comes, I think, a week or two after release.
It
So-
better be at least like a week or two. Like, let the community figure out the Easter egg before you drop that. Like, if it takes a month to figure out the Easter egg, then guided mode better not be dropped. That's what I'm saying. Like,
if they have an Easter egg that takes a month to figure out, then number one, shout out to the devs for somehow not letting the data miners get it. And shout out to whoever came up with this thing, because I think the longest one was a week.
was a week. But
Or
that's
actually,
what I'm
maybe
saying.
it was a little over a week. But
Yes, but regardless, that's what I'm saying. Like, if somehow we're 10 days deep and they're like, well, guided mode comes out tomorrow, don't spoil that shit. Don't ruin that. Keep it going. But yeah, as long as like a week or two out, I'm good.
Richie, did you have anything else?
Yeah, just real quick with the Liberty Falls is, I feel like what they're doing right now, especially even with Cold War Zombies, is they're trying to make it more mainstream. I think that goes back to the difficulty. A lot of people, when they, especially if they load up zombies, like they're not avid zombie players, they don't want an actual challenge. They just want to go in, kill a few zombies, get to a high round, and then bounce. So I think definitely now it seems like it's more geared towards the mainstream. I will say I have seen Terminus gameplay, and again, I won't spoil anything. It also gives me hope. I'm excited for that one to drop. You guys mentioned guided mode. This is the first time I heard of it. But
basically,
yeah,
what it is they're gonna have a mode where it leads you through the Easter egg, like it helps you do it.
and if I'm not wrong, I believe fucking World War II Zombies had that, and I hated World War II Zombies.
Which you don't have to pick the mode.
Yeah, you don't have to
Yeah.
pick the
It's not like
mode.
Yeah.
required. So
Yeah.
and I kind of get why they're doing it, because I think I heard the stat one time from them that like less than 5% of zombies players ever complete Easter eggs. That's like crazy low. So I think they're putting so much effort into it that they want more people to do it. So the fact that it's optional, and if what Jumba says happens, where it's like, okay, we're gonna drop it after the community figures it out, because I know they already said it's gonna be like a week or two. But like if Jumba said, if it goes 10 days and it was supposed to release after 7, just don't drop guided until they figured it out. Just let everybody struggle until we've gotten it, and then there you go. So if that happens, then I'm okay with it, because I'll never use it.
Yeah,
It's-
and we're complaining about it now. We're never going to use it. And the other thing too is, if, for instance, people figure out how awesome Easter eggs are and how sick it feels to do it, and they're like, wait a second, these are on like all the other games, and then they go back and they look, and then all of a sudden the community grows, and then we have a way bigger community being like, you know what? I started on Black Ops 6, but I went back and played Black Ops 3, and that one's way better. Let's get that back. Who knows? You know, who knows what happens at
And
that
that is
point.
true. Like, you can't use it to get high rounds, and like even the way it works is like, from what I understand, is like if it wants you to finish a step at round 4, you have to like, it will just keep repeating round 4 until you finish that step. So you have to basically do it, and then I think it just ends once you complete. Like, you can't continue going. You don't get like like, you know how like we get all perks and then like you're stacked for a game. Like, you can't do that. So I guess it really is to teach you so that this way you don't have to do what I guess basically we do, is just look up a YouTube guide at the same time.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
So, like,
honestly,
we're doing the
it's
same
kinda already
thing,
do
right?
guided
how
though.
different is it really when we just look up a YouTube guide and just read the steps?
It
So.
feels a little bit
If-
more stressful.
It feels more
when
authentic,
We're on
yeah.
when we're on the last step, and I suddenly realized, oh, we got 2 more steps to go. I just
Yeah.
forgot to watch the end of the video, and now we're freaking out, going, what do we do with this ball in our hand?
Yeah,
Like,
or
Yeah.
reading the written guide and they don't have pictures for everything. So we're like, okay, it's on a barrel next to this wall by. Can anyone find that? Yeah.
It's
but see, like
also,
at least like that gives me like that seems fun to me rather than a guide being like, well, you got to look and well, maybe the guide still leaves some of that stuff up into interpretation. Who knows?
well, the
Yeah,
other
we'll
thing
see.
too is like, for all you guys said, 5% of the zombies community has actually done the Easter eggs. It's probably 0.0005% are the people who actually figured it out. Like, there's usually a couple, like a core group of people who figure it out, and then all of us just do it after they figure it out. So it's like, you know, if we can just get a lot more people involved in Easter eggs, who knows? Maybe that opens up a whole new thing, and we'll be back into it.
Wait until this squad is world's first for Terminus.
Yeah, that's right. The
Dude, if
squad
we
right
can
here.
do that after Wyatt and I's session on Dead of the Night the other night, where we couldn't even figure out how to open Pack-a-Punch for like 2 hours. I
took a
figured it out
while.
the next day when I went and played it again, but the fact that we couldn't figure it out that night, tough.
I will say,
and we didn't even start the Easter egg. We have no clue how to.
we have
even
no
start
clue how
it,
to do the
so-
Easter egg. I will say I'm excited to get into Black Ops 4 because we have finished all the Easter eggs up to Black Ops 3, and some of those Black Ops 4 maps, dude, are. Black Ops 4 plays way differently, but I am still excited to learn some of the story behind some of those maps because it has been super, super fun. Last
Wyatt,
thing
me and you,
on
me and you
go ahead.
running the classified Easter egg. Me and you. We'll just do
Yeah,
it as a duo.
150. You down?
Yeah, quick
We'll do it
150.
right after this. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll go right after this.
Yeah, sure.
One last thing about all of the Black Ops 6 stuff. Richtofen sleeping next to a Wonder Waffle on his bedside table is the most badass thing I've ever seen him. It's just sitting next to his bedside table.
Guys, do you know
It's
what
hard
I'm
as fuck.
cheesed about?
Hard
All
as
I'm
fuck.
saying is, I literally sleep about 5 feet that way from my desk, and I got this bad boy right here. So.
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay, when I heard about Black Ops 6 and all the zombie stuff, I looked up if there was going to be a collector's edition for the game because of like the whole fridge. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll run it back. The fridge was a decent investment. Couldn't find a thing. Today, I see a YouTube short. They're selling. Like it's not a
Yeah.
full size, but a
The Wonder Waffles.
half-sized Wonder Waffle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was $350. All you get is a camo. You don't even get the game. But because I didn't fucking ever hear out about that, they're sold out. I can't even get it.
Were you
I don't know
actually
if I
gonna do
probably
it?
would have bought it.
When
Me
they
and-
announced it,
if
Wyatt
it
and
was
I
released-
DM'd on Twitter, and we're like, I might do it.
If
was
you
like,
guys
should I
hit me
get
up,
it?
I would have been close. I probably
I was
would've.
so close, dude. I was
thought
like
about it.
looking.
I thought about
I
it.
was,
Dude,
I was
like,
like,
the
dude, I
fridge
work
is a-
hard for my money. I was like,
Exactly.
why don't I fucking deserve a Wonder Waffle? Like, what the fuck? I
You
work
do. You
hard.
should have got it.
I know, I should've got
if
it.
I knew about it, I think I would have bought it because like the fridge I could sell for like $1,000 today, and I spent $300 on that. Now it's a fridge; it's actually usable rather than just a Wonder Waffle just sits there. But
Yeah.
look how good it would look right there.
It would look so sick.
Right
it would
there.
look so sick. And then like the only other ones I've
blurry
ever
dark
seen
background.
have been like on Etsy for like $600, and it's like, you know what? Activision
Yeah.
actually handed out a deal for once, so I'm sad I missed out on
And then
it.
I
but
could have I would have put
is
that
what it is.
camo on absolutely everything, and then flexed on people and be like, yes, I actually did spend $400 on this.
Yes.
on this.
Yes. I did do that. Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gents, that should just about do it for Black Ops 6 discussion. Super great. Can't wait for Black Ops 6. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be the best. And when it drops, we're going to be heavily involved. We're going to be deep inside Black Ops 6. Deep inside of
inside.
it. Just so we're going to be like putting your arm in the Apothecary Servant in Black Ops 6. We're throwing our full arm in there all the way up inside. We're just going to
Jumbo
throw
was
it in there.
absolutely
Moving your fingers
disgusting
around.
with that thing last night, dude.
He was gross. He was gross with it. We're
Tell
gonna
me
be
that.
up inside
Tell me
Black
that
Ops
if
6.
you guys saw that thing come up in the box, you'd have been like, "Let me get my hand in that."
Well, I mean, you have to. That's the way you get it. That's
Nope.
way. That's way you get it
Definitely
going,
not.
right? That's
I'm-
way you get it
you know,
going. That's way you get it
definitely
moving. You know.
Jay's putting it away. Jay's putting it away. He just wants the thunder. He just wants the thunder gun to suck him off or something.
Whoa, 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 whoa! That would be a dangerous scenario, Jumbo.
That would
okay?
be-
Probably
yeah.
would.
I'm
probably
not
would.
picking
You're
the
one
Thunder Gun
step
for
away.
Toothy Dome draft picks. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not
I'll
doing
take
that.
but the Apothecary Servant. But the Apothecary Servant.
Listen, you're one step away from absolute danger mode. You're gonna be in dangerous waters at that point. But when Black Ops 6 comes back, we're gonna be ready for it. It's gonna be awesome. We'll do some more updates on Black Ops 6 as we get closer to the game's release. We're gonna hit a quick ad and get into our current Easter egg runs. We have just finished Black Ops 3, and we're gonna have to decide what we're doing with Black Ops 4 and Cold War moving forward. We'll get into more of that right after this ad. Let's get it. Okay, ladies and gents, we have done it. We set out on a goal to start from BO1 all the way to BO3 and do every single Easter egg, and we have completed said mission. Last night, we put the finishing touches on Black Ops 3 with Revelations. It was a long, tedious one. We'll get to that one here in a moment, but this entire journey has been fun. I think what we thought was going to come from it definitely came from it, which was iconic moments, lots of arguments, lots of back and forth, lots of what the fuck are you doing, lots of yay, we finally did it. We put it all together, and it came in, and it created this pack-a-pod moment.
A growth of new friendship. Like, we really didn't know each other all that well when we started this, you know?
Very
like,
true.
It's really about the friends you make along the way.
Yeah,
and
right.
That's said as a meme, but this actually happened this time. It actually happened this time, because all we had before was just the interaction at the Apex LAN, and now, you know, we're basically in Discord every night talking about something, and this is where we are at. This is what Zombies does. This is how me and Kyle met. Now it's like how me, Jay, and Jumba have become closer as friends, and that's where we are at. The Easter eggs were fun. They were great. We've already talked about the ones previously. Let's kick it off with, I guess we would start with Eisendrache, which Kyle and Jumba weren't a part of. It was just me and Jay. Nothing too significant with that one.
Listen, I'm going to be real. I didn't think that we'd get this far, because there was a long period of time where we were not doing any Easter eggs, and and you know, you guys can disagree with me here. I legitimately felt if I did not continue to pester everyone to make these happen, it would have just faded away into the distance, and we would have forgotten that we were ever doing this.
I always wanted to pick it back up. Jay, we went to fucking Saudi Arabia, bro.
That was a week. We didn't do an Easter egg for a month.
Yeah, but we were busy with other shit.
Don't tell me about EWC. It was a month and a half.
You came home and you were
dealt with
sick,
a wedding after.
and you had jet lag, and he had a wedding.
Don't blame me. It was a month and a half.
I'm not blaming you.
For a week out of that standpoint, I could not do something. A week
I'm just
out
saying.
of a month and a half.
Well, even after you were done, you were like, I don't want to stay up too late.
I'm bringing this up because everybody keeps going to EWC. EWC was not the reason we did not do those Easter eggs. If EWC didn't happen, we wouldn't have done any that week anyway.
It's a factor. It's a factor.
It's a factor. But once again, the reason I legitimately felt that way, and I kept annoying Wyatt because I kept going, yeah, we're never going to do it, though.
It's a fine factor. I think that's
part of it was a joke, but part of me did believe it because, like I said, all of a sudden,
I kept saying we're going to do it. I kept saying, like, we're going to get back to it 100%.
Though I was always going to, because the whole reason I wanted to do this was to do the Black Ops 3 Easter eggs. So if the only ones I didn't do were those, I would have been pissed.
Listen, I lost heart when, you know, I asked like 2 weekends in a row. I kept getting no's. The third weekend, I just didn't ask. Nothing happened. Nobody said anything. I was like, I think it's just dying. I think, you know, I think we've all forgotten.
We were always going to come back.
Really? Then EWC happens. Then we come back from EWC. Nothing happens. You know, and I was like, I don't know. I think it might be done.
To be fair, the week we came back was actually the first time we recorded an episode. So
true, but that was also me bugging the hell out of Wyatt. I've had to put in work here to make these things happen.
That was when Wyatt sent me the text of, I need you now more than
I've ever needed. He told me he was going to shave his head, but like,
he did.
From what I understand, he said he was going to shave his head, and you didn't even say anything to him. He just brought it up, and he said that.
Yeah, he didn't. Nobody said anything to me.
I think actually Wyatt saved us.
Listen, some could say that. I'm not saying it myself. All I'm saying is I always believed. I will say, though, there was a lull, and Black Ops 6, when that trailer dropped and we got some more news, I was like, okay, I'm fully back. Because I never wanted to stop. It was more just like we were busy. But when that came back, I was like, all right, we're so back. But anyway, there was a time where we were on life support. But just like getting revived by your teammate with Quick Revive, we are back. And we are back in business.
The reason I brought this up is because Eisendrache, we had to get Chris in there. Okay?
We had to get Chris in there.
To revive the Easter egg experience.
Time out.
We had to pull in Chris, partially because Brian...
Partially Brian's fault.
Brian cucked me,
yes.
And I was 100% planning on coming. I was drunk, and I was actually pissed off when I showed up, and they were like, bro, we're already like 20 rounds in. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Brian giveth, Brian taketh away. Brian gave us one of the best moments of saving us during Shadows of Evil. And then Brian, while we were about ready to get started with Eisendrache, Brian said, yeah, Kyle's not going to want to do this. He has this thing going on. And I thought that was a separate text that Kyle had sent to Brian. Wasn't. Kyle gets back. We're already 20 rounds deep. And he's like, what the fuck? He was actually pissed that we didn't wait for him. But we had been given bad intel that was Brian taking away. It's the Brian experience.
Also,
it's
too,
Brian experience.
Not for anything. Like, and Connor deserves to be a part of it. But I was also free on the Friday night, and we just said, yeah, screw it. And then you guys found Chris the next day to fill. No one found a fill the night I was free. So
Well, we actually couldn't get a fill that night.
okay. Well,
Yeah, no, we tried.
There was a try. There was an attempt.
There was an attempt.
Chris
They
was
did
Chris
text me.
was Chris was a good reserve. Chris came off the bench. He did a great job.
I just don't want to make it sound like I didn't try to get in that weekend.
No,
I
no,
tried
no.
to.
I'm
I
making it
tried.
sound bad.
No, of
People did
course,
try.
of course.
People did try.
No, Chris was a great reserve. He did his job well. Did not want to do it. I had to pay for the map for him to do
bought
it.
the map for him.
I had to send he could have bought the map. He was just being Chris
Yeah.
about it, and he just wouldn't do it. So then I sent the money over. He got the map. We got in there, and then we partied up, and we did good. There was some moments there where it got a little contentious. Mostly the one step where you got to look for the little white little blob. The little wisp or whatever. That one's actually kind of difficult. That's like a weird step that's kind of difficult, especially with all 4 people. But other than that, I think it was a pretty free-flowing, easy Easter egg. Great Easter egg. I would probably put it like top 2. But that didn't involve all the boys. I think that's basically it. I can't think of any other moments, Jay, where it got weird or funny or whatever.
No, I mean, it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, I think it's my favorite Easter egg, so I'm really excited actually for these 2 guys to get to play it because I had a really fun time doing it.
I
It
always
was
see people
awesome.
rank it as like their like top 3 maps. So I'm like, damn, I missed out on one that people say is like one of the best maps of all time. So that's
No,
why
it's
I'm-
awesome. You're gonna
yeah.
redo it.
You'll
You're
have
gonna
a
It's
redo
blast.
one
it.
of my favorite maps. I've just never done the Easter egg. I love
It's-
playing the map. I just
it's
Never
awesome.
even played it. I've never even played
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, there actually was one thing, Jay, was when we go into the step where the map where the pack-a-punch is, and we didn't know that we had 10 seconds to like get inside, and then
okay.
you
That,
ran
that
to the
was
teleporter.
partially my fault. So I did not explain there's this one step where you like, well, I didn't. It's not even the step. There's this rocket at Pack-a-Punch, and if the rocket starts to take off, it does a countdown, and you have to get inside and like leave the area, otherwise you die. We finish this step where we get out of the teleporter and we're there, and the rocket launch starts. So I just tell them, I'm not going to. We have 10 seconds, so I'm not going to explain to them the process of what's happening. I just yell, "Go inside!" and I sprint to the launcher because the launcher can get you out too. So because I was already like halfway there. And they kind of panic and don't. One of them goes inside. The other 2 don't really realize what's happening and just died. ADS.
ADS.
Kill the Panzer.
Good shit on, little bro.
Bro, they're getting cooked. Fight back. Fight back.
Run inside. Run inside. Y'all gotta go inside or you're gonna die.
Shit.
Oh shit. I went to the pad.
Take the pad. Take the pad then.
Oh my
Going
days.
down.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm dead.
That's very bad.
Yeah, I tried following Jay, but he had already launched. So when he launched, I was like had to sit inside the launcher, and I was like, I'm dead. And so I think it was me and Chris both died. And we were just, that was really the only moment where it got weird other than the wisp spot. But other than that, it was pretty free-flowing and easy. The next one was Zetsubo. Zetsubo No
Trash map.
Shima. Kyle refuses to play that map. I still think he should do the Easter egg. Will you do the Easter egg?
If you wanna do it with me on a different time after I do Eisendrache.
That's up to you if you want to do it.
If you, I think you should do. It's a good Easter egg, and the cutscene's actually it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
the
think
cutscene's
it's a
pretty
good.
cool.
I also think, Kyle, you mentioned something in our rankings that we get to later on. You mentioned something about the big zombies that eat you up. When we were playing, I did not see maybe 2 or 3 of those.
I think
we got
that was
lucky.
a freak scenario.
I think we had a freak scenario that game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Because-
Normally
Okay.
they spawn way more.
Because
Usually
people-
there's like fucking 10 of them, and
a
I'm
lot
like,
of people
fuck this thing.
strongly dislike Thrashers. It's not
Okay.
just
I-
Kyle.
Fuck those.
All right, so that's
Yeah.
fair. I was like, I haven't seen any of these. I was
Okay,
like, this
yeah.
map's not that bad.
For like Zetsubo, like is probably the only Black Ops like DLC map that I played before this, and I had done part of the Easter egg before, and I think even the Easter egg where you could become the spider and some of the steps in Zetsubo,
Yeah.
they're really cool. I really like it, and I still think that I generally like the map. But like as we were gonna talk about, Zetsubo was driving me fucking insane that night.
Top
And there's
moment. Top
because
tier
of the
moment.
fact that like what happened is me, Connor, and Jay were doing like a practice run of Zetsubo playing and just setting some stuff up, and it was going smooth, right? And there's the challenges, the trials that you have to do, and mine were pretty simple. They were like kill 40 zombies with one trap, kill 20 zombies with another trap. I think I had to kill like 8 spiders, something like that. It was going pretty smooth. Everyone got their stuff done, and then Wyatt, you got home. We hadn't heard from you in a while, but like you finally showed up, and again, it's like 12:30 my time. But I was like, screw it, I'm down to stay up. Let's run this Easter egg. Also, too, I want to get through them all because I want to get through as many Easter eggs as possible before Black Ops 6. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna push myself to keep staying up late and get these done. And then that, like in the first game, we had a lot of Thrashers spawning. I was seeing them every single round. And then we got to that game. And my trial, and if you guys want to give your perspective, if you guys want to tell a story, stop me. But my trial was I had to kill a Thrasher before it became enraged. For context, basically, Thrasher spawns. If you shoot it, it has about 2 seconds where it's going to turn red in rage and then start charging around the map. I have to kill it before that. And I couldn't get Thrashers to spawn throughout the entire damn game. And then Connor had his where he had to kill a Thrasher before it transformed. So the other way you could get Thrashers is shooting the little fucking pods on the wall and get them to transform. And I had to wait like 8 rounds until Connor finished his because it was more necessary for him to use the pods than me. So I was just an hour and 20 minutes, I think it came out to, that I was on that one step. We started at round 4. I think I got it around 26.
I'll say this, okay? Jumbo was trying to throw the run, okay? The guy, it was a clear skill issue, okay? Because in our little practice run beforehand, I got that challenge, and I don't even remember doing it, but I completed it somehow. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So clearly the fact that Jumbo couldn't get it done,
You weren't even thinking about it.
I
It
think was
that easy.
either that he's a terrible zombies player or he was intentionally sabotaging the run.
Or Jayhawk
right.
intentionally sabotaged my ass because this
No, no,
motherfucker
no.
told me, this guy tells me one charge shot of the KT4 will kill it.
That's
charge
how
shot
I did
one.
it, though.
I know, but I charge shot one. He goes, "You're too far. Get up in the face of another one. Doesn't work." Then he goes, "Try shooting it, then spamming
Okay,
it. Try
at that
shooting it,
point,
spamming it.
I
Doesn't
was
work.
just- I
Try
was just
2
telling
charge
you
shots.
stuff.
Doesn't work." I'm trying to. They were like,
At that point, I was just trying to give you solutions because I will say, and this is no BS. The time before, which we didn't know this, I didn't know that this was happening to you in the time. When they climb out, I just charge shot it while he was halfway at the ground and I killed him. Now, I didn't think of that aspect when I was like
Yeah.
suggesting of what to do. But yeah, that.
And
I
the
think that
funny
was the
thing
issue.
is they never. I never
They
saw
never
one
spawned.
climb
That
out
was
of the ground.
yeah, that was the problem.
That was probably the anomaly of this game is they never spawned out of the ground, and there was.
And it wasn't just you; it was like literally all of us. They were just
No,
not
yeah.
spawning.
Yeah,
I
like I,
know.
said, I didn't even see him. Like I never had a memory of one even coming towards me. Like the whole
But there
game.
was one round, and you guys could give your perspective. But there was one round where, like, Jake's like, "I got one on me," and I run over to Jay, and it's not there. And then Wyatt goes, "Oh my God, it's on me!" And I go to start running over to Wyatt, and he's like, "It's enraged." And then Connor says, "It's there, it's on me." And I go, he's like, "No, I got 2 on me, they're enraged." And everyone's seeing them, and I'm like, the crazy part about it is everyone saw 4 in that round. And I didn't even see the ones they saw somehow. So I was like, I'm losing my mind. Like, they're
Well, we
either
did
messing
have
with
that
me-
one literal clip that you pulled up,
Yeah.
which we can show it of
Yeah.
it just disappearing. Like they
I
clearly were
went-
just glitching out of the game somehow.
I went into fucking theater mode for that shit.
Yeah.
And so basically, that one is the one that spawns. You're like, Jumbo, there's one on me. I run all the way into the lab to the back and go, "Where is it?" You're like, "I left it at the door." What happened is it spawned on you, and then it went back into the ground. I run through the door. It's like one of those Benny Hill old movies. It's like, it's literally pops up, goes down. I run on top of it as the animation is finishing. I go to Jay. I go, "Where is it, Jay?" I come all the way out. Wyatt runs by. It comes back up, and then it goes fucking down. Wyatt goes, oh, shit. I turn around. I see it. I see it spawn. But as I'm going, this is the moment where it's going down into the ground again that Wyatt just saw it. So when I saw it in that clip, it was going back down. It wasn't coming out. And so I was losing it, watching the thing of 2 times in a row. It came up and went down, and both times I ran past it as it went down. I was like, that's crazy timing. And you want to blame me for getting like an hour and 20 minutes? Again, I think it was round 5 when I saw the challenge, and it was round 26 when I finished it.
It was crazy because there was like I feel like most people, except maybe like Connor, when we're doing these runs, at some point somebody gets a little irritated or frustrated or something like that. But Jumba and Connor never really do. Like it's always like they're
Okay,
always
hold on.
pretty
It's
calm.
That's not
always
true.
you.
Oh,
What?
you think it's you?
It's always Wyatt who gets frustrated because
You
then
get
I'm
frustrated.
the one. When have I been
Nah.
frustrated? The only time
I
I got
think
frustrated
he's
was the
been fine.
glitch. The glitch, I was actually pissed because
Pissed,
I was
yeah.
like, "Are you kidding me,
To
dude?"
be fair,
It's
But
Jay-
other than that,
sometimes-
when have I been pissed?
Sometimes
Jay's-
it's the way you say stuff.
Yeah, I think it's the
like,
way
it
Jay
comes
says
off.
it. It's
it
not.
comes off
he's
like
he's
it
just
just
being
comes
your.
off-
He's
to
just
me,
being
it
your
comes off
IGL.
angry.
He's like, do this now. He's like, listen
Listen,
to me.
yeah,
That's
that's
all it
probably
is.
just
He's
me being locked in. Listen,
I don't think he's really like
Locked
thing.
in.
If anything, I would.
All right, I guess-
I would
I
say
guess I
I'm the
got
one
that
gets
wrong, but-
I think I get frustrated. I'm buried. I was, but like, and then this, like, that's the time.
I
can
don't.
think of.
I usually just go off of Jayhawk's tone. I'm just like, oh, he's mad at something I just did. And I'm just like, oh shit.
No.
I never get that with you. So I always felt like Connor's definitely the most calm. I don't think Connor's
Yeah.
ever gotten angry at anything.
No.
But so we're sitting here. This whole thing's going down, and then you can hear it in Jumba's voice where you're just like, oh, he's pissed. Like he's mad. Like he's real mad. Me
Also,
and
by
Jumba
the
were
way,
the last
just as
ones
we mentioned
too.
Connor literally just poured water on his keyboard and destroyed
Not
it.
water,
Mountain
Mountain
Dew.
Dew.
Mountain Dew.
He destroyed his keyboard, and he's
looting.
still completely calm. Like he's just
Yeah,
like
he
sitting there, just like,
pulled out a controller. Finished
Bro's
it.
like,
Yeah.
Bro's like, oh shit, I need someone to watch me. He's like,
Yeah,
damn,
anyway, but
yeah.
about Jumba being
you
mad.
can hear it. You could just hear it in his voice. I don't even know if it's mad. It's more just like pure annoyance. Like it's just
Yeah,
annoying.
frustrated.
Me
I didn't
and
realize
Jumba are
how
the
vocal I
last
was being
two.
about it, bro. Like when the sigh, I did not realize I was doing that
I'll
shit.
play the clip right here.
Play the clip right here.
Oh, I got it. I got the fruit. Okay.
I'm
Nice.
getting fucking annoyed, honestly.
All right, let's just all group up so we can get Jumba a Thrasher. Wyatt and Jumba are the one that we had challenges remaining.
Holding everyone up.
The only reason Wyatt's challenge wasn't done is because I was a dumbass and misread the thing and we were doing it incorrectly. So then we reread it, we get it. Wyatt finishes his challenge. As you can hear in the clip, he says, I got the fruit, and Jumba is pissed.
Because now
Yeah.
I know I'm the last
You can
one
just-
holding everyone up all this time.
Because
And
we
that,
can't
like-
we can't do any of the future steps until we complete all of our challenges. And it's everyone has 3 challenges, you gotta finish them. Jumba has 1 left.
Yeah, there's something beautiful about two people who are just struggling hard. Like you just can't get. But then when one person finally stops the struggle, then the one person's all alone, and you're just like, "Fuck!" Like
Well,
you're just
also, too, like-
"Gosh, damn it!"
I told you I might be like petty with shit in the sense of like, you know, like my teammates used to get the ray gun and I wanted them to freaking die, like if I'm not to get the ray gun. So like I was like, okay, at least me and me and Wyatt are struggling this together. And as soon as I was the only one that struggled, I was like, fuck, man. Oh, like I wanted him to be miserable with me, like shit. So it's gonna
Yeah.
Be miserable
together.
together.
Yeah, but
So,
like also
yeah.
dude, this like yeah, like I was pretty like annoyed about like the Easter egg, and I was feeling bad that I was holding everyone up, and I have this thing where I'm like, I don't think they believe me that like I'm doing everything in my power and just nothing is
I
going
do the
right.
same thing,
So like
yeah.
so like I'm like they don't believe me, but then at the same time, I have never been annoyed with you guys ever. There's nothing you guys have ever done to truthfully really like bother me at all. But like with how annoyed I was, there was just 2 moments. There was the what like I actually don't even know if you know the second moment, Jay, or maybe I talked about
I
this,
don't know
but
the second. I know the first one. I have no
the
clue what
first
second
one.
is.
The first one is Wyatt's at the back, and with the pods, I finally learned because I just realized that the only way, and someone in the comments might correct me, but I started to realize that the way I was successfully transforming these zombies into thrashers is the pod had to be fully grown and have like a red little mist around it, and if you ran by it and a zombie ran by it, they had a chance to pop on their own. So and they take like 4 rounds to grow, and we're at round 26 at this point, or round 25. And I see Wyatt near me, and I go, Wyatt, get out of here. I go, actually, stay there. I go, whatever you do, don't come near me. And he goes, get out of here. I got it. And then he starts running directly towards the pod that I needed to use. And I'm like, go that way, Wyatt. Go that way, Wyatt. Go that way, Wyatt. Go that way, Wyatt. And with the panic in my voice, there's a fork. There's only 2 ways you could go. And Wyatt didn't break his trajectory of his path, not once. And so I go the other way, Wyatt. And he runs by it. Then he runs by again. It didn't pop,
He goes,
but he
"Oh,
came back a
okay."
second time.
And it comes back.
And the
bust
funny
the
thing
pod,
is,
though.
it didn't burst. But a fucking enraged Thrasher spawns on me at that moment. I don't even know where it came from. Even in theater mode, I couldn't figure out where it came from. An enraged Thrasher spawns up. Sorry, no, theater mode, I couldn't get that far because we took too long. So I didn't actually get to see that part of theater. But, like, I don't know where it even spawned from. And then a horde of zombies are on me now because I was too busy freaking out about Wyatt that then suddenly I take a glance back. It now popped. Didn't transform because only one zombie popped it when I was going to bring a horde of 24. I got one at spawn. Wyatt, get away from me. Get away from me.
Okay,
Don't come over here. Don't come over here.
Running away.
Go that way. Go that way. Go that way. Go the other way, Wyatt.
Other way.
Oh my
Other way.
God.
Other way.
Fucking. I would have lost it if that fucking thing popped. Luckily, I found one. I got it on. The second one, where I was like, oh, give me a fucking break, bro, is when... I don't know what round it was on, but I was like, please, guys, can I just, like, watch a video about how this guy's doing? Jay's like, we're not saving zombies. We gotta keep going through this. I was like, Jay, like, I just want to quickly just, like, see how to do it
In
so
my
I can end
defense,
this.
and I can see how that actually comes off terrible. In my defense, I was convinced there's no shot that somebody has run into this issue and made a video specifically about it on YouTube. I was like, there is no way
just wanted
that
to
we are going
try.
to save a zombie at 2 in the morning
Jumbo
and
should
let him
be-
search for 30 minutes for this YouTube
No, I
video
wasn't
that
going to search
doesn't
for
exist.
30 minutes.
No, I know. I'm exaggerating.
Jumbo
but
should be
but
the
then
one
you
who
found
makes
a
the
video.
video.
I was
You found a
desperate. I
video
was
that
like-
actually helped.
Well, no, not a little bit. I was going to say
Somewhat.
to your benefit, I found 4 videos with crazy levels of copyrighted
crazy.
music that I hope doesn't show up in the recording or anything like that. And they were 2 minutes videos each, and the first minute and 50 seconds of each one didn't matter. And all of them were wrong.
The best.
All of them were wrong,
were wrong.
because the guy, all of them kept telling me, and again, maybe it does work, but it never worked for me. They all kept telling me to use, or 2 of them said use the Skull of Nansopwe and mesmerize them. It will stun them, then you could kill them. And the mesmerizing was not fucking stunning them. I wasted 2 thrashers on them where it just enraged them when I pressed mesmerize, and then finally I just used the Skull of Nansopwe and it killed them fast enough. And so I guess it gave me the idea to use the Skull and Nansopwe, but before that, the video sucked. So yeah, like, they technically, I guess, didn't help, but they did. And I mean, I just managed to pull them up, tabbing out while we were mid-round. I'm like, I don't care, 24 zombies, I'm just gonna do this, pull it up mid-round and listen. This is gonna be it. Yeah, hold on.
Whatever inhabits this sky must be pretty terrible to cause the undead to be.
I did it. Fuck me. Oh my god. I was about to lose it. I actually have not been this
Alright,
close to
save a
losing
zombie.
on anything.
Save a zombie when you save a zombie.
So
It was great. It was a great moment. It was running by the thing twice and somehow still not popping it was funny. When I just remember you saying like this way, this way, this way, this way, and when that happens to me, my brain just like the wires cross and I don't think at all, and I just keep doing what I was already doing.
Yeah, your comms
I've
look
had
pretty
that happen
funny.
to me so many times in my life, not just in
Terrible under
zombies,
pressure.
just in
Terrible.
just all the. It was the way I grew up. I don't take well to that kind of stuff. Like I don't.
apologize.
Obviously,
I apologize.
obviously, by like the way I thought Jay was mad, and you guys don't think that at all. Like, there's a weird thing I have with tone that like I don't do well with certain ones. They don't hit
I
me right.
apologize.
Like
They don't vibe
no,
with
no,
you.
it's whatever. I just don't. Whenever
That's the
that happens,
closest I've ever
just
been telling
wires
like,
cross.
That's the closest I've ever been to telling you to go fuck yourself because you
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm like, this fucking guy, man. I was like, I can't believe you just did that.
Yeah, when stuff like that happens, I don't mean to do it. I just literally like
No,
I
I
just
know.
go into like a because I didn't even think that there was another way to go. I'm like just sitting in the back and I'm just like, oh, there's this way. I
I
thought
hope
you
you
meant like
also
when I
know-
got to the gate to go like one way or the other.
I hope
just
you also
thought it
know
was
I'm not
hilarious
actually like that mad.
That
Yeah,
the
like,
reason he's telling you to go the other way is so you don't run past the spore, and you already ran past it, and then you
And then I
turn
ran
around
back.
and run back to go the other way, and it's like
That's
Clearly-
the process my brain goes through when I, hear stuff like that.
there was
It's
no like comprehension of why he's saying what he's saying. It was more so just like you just
Dude.
did it, and then all of a sudden you register he's saying to go the other way, and so you go the other way.
My thought process was, the one spot where the plane trap is, where like
Yeah.
I thought he might
Which-
go there. So
Thank
that's
the
why I'm like,
He just
Lord,
meant go
which-
away from the sport.
Thank
That's all
Yeah.
he
the
meant.
Lord you didn't run through there because I knew that's where my next pod was gonna be.
Which is where he got it.
And where I got it,
Yeah.
and if you ran through there and popped that one too, I was screwed because I'm pretty sure I would have to wait 4 rounds for them to spawn back. I was
Yeah.
screwed
Yeah.
at that point because I popped almost every single one on the map at that point because I was popping them every round. I didn't know I had to wait. So
That's one of those
I
where
hope
I
you know,
feel bad, but I'm just
It's
like,
okay,
I don't even know. I was
No,
like, fuck,
I
dude.
even
I
though
thought
I
I
said it was the
popped it.
closest, even though I said it
You
was the
did,
closest I've ever
so.
told you, it was to go tell yourself off. But it's some of looking back on it, I love it how fun it was. I will say though, you see me immediately prop up in the clip. But that being said, even when we got to the boss fight, I did nothing in the boss fight. I had the KT4.
Okay.
I was supposed to be the one shooting it. I was so
That's a
zoned
pretty
out
easy
and
boss
dead
fight.
Here's
inside
the
at
thing,
that
though.
point. Like,
That boss fight, literally, when I did it solo, I did not shoot a single time except for when I would shoot his arms. I literally just run in a circle and not kill
Okay.
any zombies because there's only like 7 that spawn
Yeah.
plus like the 2 thrashers.
I
That's
just
what I'm
sat-
saying.
That's like literally one of the easiest boss fights you
Yeah,
could possibly
yeah,
do.
yeah.
If
So,
Kyle
yeah.
wants to do it, it would. I don't think it would take that long, knowing what we know now. Like, because I didn't even
Yeah.
start doing
Don't
my
do it with 4
challenges till
people.
way
Do it with
late.
2, so this way you don't have to do all the trials. It's easy.
When I did
Yeah.
it solo, I did it so fast. It was so smooth, incredibly easy. Like I said, the boss fight was a breeze. Like,
Yeah, it's not a hard Easter egg. It just took
No.
I was an hour and a half of me running in circles looking for these damn thrashers, and like
Yeah.
people hate them. I didn't think they were ever a threat. They just pissed me off.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it's because we just didn't ever get them. Like the fact that
No,
they were never
you guys
spawning,
were
I
lucky.
don't know what was happening.
Yeah, I never
because
Not
remember
lucky.
seeing them.
When I
wanted
played
them
solo, they were spawning out of the ground all the time.
Yeah,
But,
it was wild. But
yeah,
that was Zetsubo.
That was Zetsubo. Yep.
That was the big moment from Zetsubo, and then we move on, and Kyle can finally rejoin the conversation
Shout out.
with Gorod Krovi. Gorod was an adventure. That was a
I
good
want
one.
to say before we talk about everybody's experience, for all these Easter eggs, because we did have the gap, I did Eisendrache and Zetsubo solo, and I attempted Gorod Krovi solo like 30 times. I don't know the exact number, but I legit had probably a 2-week span where I attempted it at least one time per day. I would just like get 30 minutes, go like hop on Black Ops. I would try it. I would get to the same step every time, which is you do all the beginning intro steps and you get to the point where you get Sophia on and you have to do the challenges. On solo, you only have to do 3. With us, we had to do all 6 of them or all 5 of them. On solo, you only have to do 3. And I would get the Valkyrie step where you have to escort a Valkyrie drone from spawn all the way across the map to Dragon Command. And I would die every time because in that step, if anyone knows, it's infinite zombie spawns. The rounds just keep going and they just keep spawning. Even when the round changes,
Even when
they're
the
still
round
spawning.
ends, yeah.
So there's none of that. And on solo, obviously they're all just aggroing you. When we did it with you guys, y'all probably thought that was the easiest shit in the world because
Easy.
I didn't even
we
see
just
it.
walk in the park.
literally
see
one
the
person
thing.
like would just go to it and you just stand by it and follow it all the way to Dragon Command. But when you're solo and all the zombies are swarming you, the reason it's hard is because you can't use the wonder weapon, because if you do, I found this out later and I never attempted it after this point.
I know what
if
you're
you
gonna say.
shoot if you shoot just the left
fire,
side, it
yeah.
slows them down.
Slows them down.
The problem was I was shooting the full thing to just kill them all.
Yeah, to kill
but
them.
when you do that, it damages the Valkyrie drone, and it would die before I'd ever even get it there. So solo, I couldn't beat it. I think if I went back knowing what I know now with that thing, I think I could do it.
Yeah, I think you do it.
But yeah, so I was very much looking forward to doing it as a group because I knew it would be really easy, and we did it.
We did it.
Yep.
Now, it did take a second try, and that was because one of those steps that Jayhawk was talking about was a step where it was the bomb step, where basically you have about, 30 seconds to hit
A
all
minute.
of these
It's a minute.
buttons?
You
It's
have
minute?
about a minute. But here's what
And-
happens. So from my perspective, I'm the one in Dragon Command. It highlights the bomb step. And then on the screen, it has all the areas where the bombs are. And it just flashes real fast. Then it goes through them slowly. Then it flashes real fast, and then it's over. You don't get to see it again. And you have to do the bombs in the correct order. The problem is I had the correct order. I recorded it on my phone. I showed all of you where your bomb was. I never went and found mine. And I had no clue where it was in Dragon Command. So we get everybody's, and then I'm looking for mine, and I can't find it. And Jumba's like, all of a sudden, I'm panicking. So he's like, it's over on the left side. So I start panicking. I look at everywhere on the left, can't find it. By the time I do, it blew up, and we died.
Yeah.
The other funny
and
thing
that-
actually is I watched that back in theater mode, and I need to pair it up and try to match it as best as possible to, because I filmed a lot of B-roll. Like, I'm excited
Yeah.
to edit the last 3 Easter eggs that we did because we don't have a lot of the theater mode I'm gonna go get my own B-roll for them. But I filmed all this, and you can see the panic in Jay because of one thing. I don't know. I know I'm trying to tell them what it is, and I was not probably explaining it properly because I said the computer, and there's 20 computers in that fucking room. But then the funny thing is Jay at one point just goes AFK, and I'm imagining Jay in 1 minute is trying to look up where it is.
Phone,
He's on looking up.
Here's
where
the
it
problem,
is.
dude. And actually, this would actually be interesting in theater mode too, because I can't even remember. I wonder if in my mind or in my video, because I noticed this the second time when we completed it. When it flashes really fast, that's the first part of my recording. Then it goes slow, and the slow one is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
and
the fast one's
can't
wrong.
remember. I can't remember if the fast one is actually the same order.
No, it's different order.
Because if it's
When I
not the
was
same
watching
order,
theater mode, it's a
I
different
think
order.
what happens is I panic. I look at the phone, I see it's mine on the fast one, and then I start panicking because I don't know where the hell that is. So I don't even actually know if the correct order was mine next.
To be honest, I actually don't think it was because I
It
actually
probably
think
wasn't.
about that. Someone I couldn't. Now that you say that, I saw the button be clicked and then it blew up. The timer never ran out. So like I think you
I
pressed
remember
the wrong
clicking the
button.
button. I remember clicking the
and then
button,
it
but I
blew
thought
up.
I was too late because I thought I was too far or something like that. But honestly, I probably killed us.
Yeah, the timer
Because
never
I
ran out.
panicked with the video because the timer starts going down. All of a sudden, I look at the video. Like I said, I recorded too early, so I see the fast part, then the slow part. You're under the time crunch. I'm like freaking out because I don't even know where my bomb is.
Ready?
Started it.
What have you done? You activated the perimeter alarms. Self-destruct sequence activated.
Okay,
Disarm
bombs.
Bombs.
immediately.
Okay, I have the video.
I hit it.
Department store, then it's me. Wait, where the hell is mine? Oh shit, I didn't look for mine earlier.
It should be right next to the computer. I think on the top floor.
Okay, okay.
No, the left side if you're looking when you walk in.
Left side. I don't see it.
I'm just moving away in case it blows up, so it doesn't kill us.
I see
Stay
it.
away from your bomb.
It blew me up.
Shit.
Yeah.
Disable the system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
and then
That's a hands up moment. That's the one where I truly screwed us, I think.
the other thing is Jayhawk had a huge horde of zombies on him. So Jay dies, Wyatt dies. Wyatt did get fucked. Watching in the theater mode, Wyatt's right. Like I said, get
He was
away
hella
from the
far.
bomb. Get away from the bomb. Wyatt died from the outside of the wall.
Dude, I died from so far, and I was
Yeah.
like, bro, what just happened? I was like, what the hell? But I was in between two bomb sites, so I think unless I was like dead center,
I don't think, it
I
was
would have
that.
died either way.
I think what happened. I don't think it was that. What I think happened is when you were training your zombies, you basically are far away, and then right before Jay presses the button, you loop back, and I think that there's just no collision between the wall and like where you
Oh.
were, and so even though there's geometry there, it doesn't protect you from the bomb blast, and so you died because if you were on the opposite side when you were training, you probably would have been far enough because I wasn't that far from my bomb.
Yeah.
But you just when you looped back, you ended up being close. It's just you're outside where the bomb's on the inside. So that was
Yeah,
pretty busy.
I didn't know how far the radius would go, but I figured I was like, if I'm outside, I should be okay, which ended up
Yeah,
not being the
I agree.
case.
Yeah, but then Jay had a huge horde of zombies on him. So like me and Kyle, I'm like, Kyle, who you got? He's like, I got slap nuts. I'm like, okay, I got Jay. I'm running over to Jay.
What?
For some reason, I'm running with my PPSH, not my Pack-a-Punch RPK or my fucking overpowered shield or any of the other overpowered stuff we have. I'm just running with that, but it's because I had like no zombies on me, so I was under the impression that there was really not that much zombies that spawned. I walked through the door. Jay had an entire horde on him the entire time, so I immediately just get swarmed by them and die.
And I will say too, imagine like I don't know where my bomb is, so then I pull up the phone, and like I said, I really think in my mind I just blanked and only looked at the fast part because once again I'm recording it and we're under a time constraint. There's a good 5 to 6 seconds of my recording that is not the slow part at the beginning, so I'm just like. I'm hearing the timer. There's zombies around me. I've got the phone. I see the fast part. It says my thing is next. And so I just commit, and I'm like, where's my bomb? Where's my bomb?
Yeah, he's like AFK. He's getting smacked in the shield by the zombie. Like the theater mode is pretty funny. I think I recorded it from 8 different angles for Jay just because I don't know which one to use, but it's kind of entertaining.
Yeah, it was.
It was a high pressure moment, and I did not handle it well. Okay.
It was high
No,
pressure.
and then Jumbo goes down, and then I'm the only one left, and I'm just like, oh fuck!
And you know what
I'm
happened to
just
you?
running across the map trying to get there.
Your shield broke. I don't know if
Yeah,
you knew
my
your
shield
shield
broke.
broke and you got double swiped in the back and it killed you.
Yeah.
So then we die.
So that was our first attempt, but we learned a lot from the first one, and I think the second one was way more clean, way
it was
more
easy.
quick. All the steps went pretty easily, and then the boss fight was really fun. I think that
Yeah,
Easter
boss fight
egg
was
is
fun.
another one that I would have up there, and I think it's just because the fact that it's old Nikolai, and it, the
And you get
ending
to fight
moment.
a freaking dragon before you fight Nikolai.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
He's
it's
on
awesome.
your team. He's helping you fight the dragon, which is actually
Yeah.
sick.
And then you
Yeah,
kill him.
is sick.
it's really cool. But other than that, I don't think there was really anything else with that Easter egg.
Oh, I just want to share this
real
right now because like I've been talking about theater mode, and I mean like I don't know when this video will get created because it's gonna be like a long ass video, and so I'm gonna chip away at it a little bit of the time in between work. But it's the coolest thing about Gorod Krovi is the dragon on your wrist can like fly around, and you need it for some of the Easter egg steps, like to go pick up different things or to send the core to Nikolai, right, for the machine. So I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do this, but on the theater mode, you could do a thing which is like called object linked, which links to like kill streaks and everything like that. And so the little flying dragon counts as a kill streak. So I've attached the camera to the dragon, and we can see him fly all the way to
That's
Nikolai
so
to
sick.
drop off the core.
Nice.
I don't know if
That's
I've
so
ever seen
sick.
that
That's
before.
so
Anyone
cool.
edit that in a video or anything. So for that,
be the
and then when he
first.
has to fly down to pick up the little box from
The core, yeah.
Yeah, the
that he
core.
gives to Nikolai.
Oh, is that the core that he flies
That's the
down when
core,
we
yeah.
when we? Okay, cool. So yeah, so the first time he grabs it, yeah, I've done that twice. Like people can do that stuff because there's glitches to get out of the map. The theater mode is really shitty, by the way. It's crashed on me like 20 times, and you
Yeah.
can't just free roam with the camera. Like the height limit of a character is how high I could fly up. There's glitches to get around it, but it's just kind of lame that I have to use glitches. But the object link one is at the very least to get around that was pretty cool. So
That's
pretty
sick. I love that. And then the final one was Revelations, and Revelations. It took us a little long. We had a lot of
It took
like
us a little long. I have all my recordings saved, so I have each individual attempt in terms of length. That took us 3 hours and 40 minutes, and I'm pretty sure I started my recording in round 2, so it's not
Yeah.
even the full length. To where like the previous longest one was Zetsubo at 2.5 hours.
completed
Yeah,
stat says
over
times,
an hour longer.
Completed stats says to round 25, 323, full time survived 3 hours, 40 minutes, 26 seconds.
Yeah, it was a long time, and it was really just one step. It was really just throwing the little Arnie's inside the mouth of the Pack-a-Punch monster.
Let's put it how it is, okay? Kyle was throwing again, all right? I know we
Poor
gaslit
Kyle,
him that
dude.
one time, but
This time
listen,
you're not.
okay?
Poor Kyle.
Kyle had 10 downs, okay? Let's talk about it, Kyle. Let's talk about it.
I did have 10 downs.
He had 10
I will say.
downs. Now, one of them was not his fault because he glitched out of the map, and
Yep.
that was dumb. So he technically had 9. But not even apart from the downs, there's this step where you're in the beast's stomach, and you have the little Arnie's, and there's 9 holes, and you have to throw them in the hole, and you only get, what, 3? 2 or 3?
You only have
Three.
three,
You
but
only
you
have
have to
three.
make all three, and all
You
three.
You have to
of
make
them.
all 3, then 3 Margos will spawn, you kill them, you might get a max ammo, then when you get the max ammo, you throw the next 3 Margos will spawn, you kill them, you get the max ammo, rinse and repeat. You want to talk about what happened, Kyle? You want to mention what happened?
Well, you see, I'm a guy. Sometimes I miss the hole. I'm gonna be honest. I'm just a guy. I miss the hole.
This is the whole.
I'm a guy. When I'm peeing in the toilet, sometimes a little bit might sneak off the edge,
Oh, dear
and
God.
like it's just the way I am.
His
I
aim.
just, my aim has not always been the best. So 4 times.
4 times. I went through theater mode.
4 times. 4 times on the very first one. I threw it. I made it in the first one, threw it, made it in the second one, and then I got to the third one and I fucking chucked it and it didn't go in.
Fill them holes.
Oh, what the fuck? Oh, dude.
Oh, he missed.
Oh no. Okay, wait. Let me try hitting this thing. Maybe we'll be a max ammo. Wyatt, can you come to knocked?
Yep.
I stood too close. That was my bad.
Like usually I'm making the other one. Like suddenly, like it sounds like you're constantly missing the hole.
Kyle does tend to miss holes.
I did.
just in
I
general
did
in
miss
his
a hole
life.
one time. It was a horrible mistake on my part.
Whether it be golf, whether it be zombies,
Oh, yeah.
whether it be his
Okay,
life in the
hold on.
bedroom. All right. Anyway, go ahead, Kyle. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
There's one.
There's
There's
one.
nobody who misses the hole more than Chris, to be honest. Every time he tries to putt, shit just lips right out.
There's 2.
2. Okay.
Zombie might have died, Jumbo.
Okay,
Jumbo's
it's on
with
us.
us.
Yeah, it's on us.
That sucks.
I'll try and fucking keep it away from you.
How the hell did it die? Kyle,
What
it's on
the
you. He's on you.
fuck?
He's on you, Kyle. He's on you. He's on you, Kyle.
He missed anyways.
Damn it,
Dude,
Kyle.
I fucking
Kyle!
threw it in the
Alright.
hole and it
I'm gonna
fucking
just hit the
spawned.
ball. Get Arnie's, man.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here again.
I guess J and Y go look at what they are.
Oh
and try to do
fuck.
Damn it, Kyle.
Kyle,
What
I'm
happened?
sorry, bro.
gotta lock in.
Lock it in.
Dude, I'm sorry.
What
I
happened?
I'm gonna go continue hitting bog.
How many max ammos do you need?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
actually wild.
What did he do? Did he fall out?
You missed it.
You missed
it.
it.
yeah, I got there.
Okay,
Only
so
2
that's
more.
4.
That's 4.
It's just a skill issue at this point.
It is a skill issue. You know, I've never been the best at putting things in holes, and so you know,
You want me to kill
usually
this rat boy
usually I
ass?
have her put it in for me. So I mean, that's,
Okay. Dear God,
really tough.
Kyle.
Do you want me to?
Didn't go.
which I will say, one of those ones, it went in and came back out,
I
and
can
I was like,
vouch.
"Fuck you,
I can vouch.
you
yeah.
piece of shit."
That one was in there. That one didn't make sense. That was in. You see it slide through the hole, and then all of a sudden
Dude,
the Arnie
it
just
slides
spawns on the
down and
outside.
then it just comes back out, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Bro,
I can
what the
vouch for that
fuck?"
one.
So they were tilting, and I was like, "Bro, I've got to make these throws." So I start with the one that I always have fucked up on. I start with that one, and then I go do the other 2, and I'm like, "All right, we've at least started the step. I've now done my first 3." And nobody else got little Arnie's the entire game except for me. And I
And do you
was
know
like,
how
Also
much we
means he
hit that
can't
fucking
leave, by the
box?
way. He cannot leave that
Yeah,
stomach.
he can't leave the stomach. He also lost Jug because I died. I was playing stupid.
Yeah.
I on round I think 18 for some reason I knifed a zombie and just I don't know why, and then I got stuck and died. I threw there and definitely got him killed.
yeah.
Well, what's it called?
I got rezzed, but that was good.
Yeah, but you lost all your perks was the problem. But
True. I didn't have jugs for like 2 of the rounds we had to do it in there.
Also, I am completely inept at understanding the map of Revelations. I don't get
Yes.
it. I don't understand it. I can't find the jump pads. I just don't. The map doesn't make sense in my head.
Which is
I can't.
wild, 'cause
I
it's-
can't. It doesn't make
it's
sense.
literally
to me.
a circle with a little like individual spot in the
Central,
middle. Noct is in the middle, and then it's a circle. That's all it is.
that's all it is.
Yeah. So that's the thing was I would like, oh, Noct is in the middle, so I'd go through Noct, and then I'd be like, well, wait, which
You know you
Which
can look at the
teleporter would I go
portals.
You
through?
can literally
look
look,
at the
at the
portals,
teleporters,
I know,
and
but-
it shows you.
Yeah, but it'll show one part, and I'm like, wait, was Shangri-La connected to?
Why don't you ask?
Mob?
You could be
And I
like,
was just
"Where
like,
is that again?" Instead of just
I asked
mindlessly
so many
running
times,
around.
and I was just like, "This is where I always feel like tone gets me in trouble because I thought you guys were pissed at me, and then I was like, I don't know where to run. I was like,
No,
I don't
I'm
know
more
where to
so
go.
teasing
I've
when I do
asked
that.
so many times. I was like, I don't want to ask again, which is what I've always done since I was a kid. What I have issues. Okay, I got problems.
Okay,
so
but
I
here's
was like,
the,
I
here's
got to
the reason
figure
I think
out
maybe
what
the
I'm
tone
doing
sounds
here.
bad because now I know the moments you may be referring to is because you won't ask for like 3 minutes. You'll just be running around after we told you to come to a certain area, and they'll be like, "Wyatt, where you at?" And you'll be like, "I don't even know, bro. I'm lost. I'm over here." And Jumbo will be like,
Are you
"Go to
fucking
Noct." Right? Because with Noct, everyone should know you just go through the teleporter. Go to Noct and then take the TP to blank, right? He'll say that. And then you'll go to Noct, and then like Jumbo said in a segment that we definitely didn't record before this that's gonna come after this, you then would go back to the same portal you came from.
Yeah, because then I remember that moment because I looked back at that portal and I was like, wait, no. This has to
looks
be
like
what
a prison.
connected to this.
No,
like,
the funny
this
thing
is what's
we needed
connected.
you to
And
go
then I
to
went back.
Verruct. We need you to go to Verruct. There's a portal that comes out. Me and Jay were at the portal at Verruct. So
At
that's why
the
we said
Verruct portal.
go to Noct and then just come out the Verruct portal. You went through the mob portal 3 times. You went back, forth. And the thing is, the jump pad, I did mess up this up here, but I just figured going to Noct easier. But yeah, the jump pad from mob connects to Verruct. So you leave,
that-
you go take that jump pad, and then you got lost in Verruct. So we can't even blame the map anymore. You got lost in a map you know.
Zombies behind us. Can you take him real quick?
Here, I'll take him real quick. I'll take him. Someone want to come over to Verruct with us?
I'm coming. I just
Kyle,
went a full
or
circle.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
trying to
it.
get over there. I
Wyatt.
just ran in a full circle because.
Just go to Noct
Go to
and then go to the
Noct.
one that's under the stairs to go upstairs.
Okay.
Out real fast to look at the next one.
Yeah.
Near the giant robot's footsteps in Origins.
There's one that's really hard on the Eisendrache running wall. Are you coming, Wyatt?
Bro, I'm so lost right now.
Go to Noct. No, go to
Go to
I'm-
Noct.
I'm here,
Make
I'm
the
here, I'm
TP
here,
to
I'm here,
Noct,
I'm here.
and then go under the stairs.
Oh, he died. The fucking zombie died.
Oh fuck. All right. Well.
Yeah,
So
I was like, wait, like I just it didn't make sense in my head. I was like trying to go through up and down the stairs. I was just like, what the fuck? Where am I at? I just did not know the map
And
whatsoever.
just so everyone knows, because this is a callback to last episode, whenever I had that moment on Origins where I said Wyatt is not his usual zombie self, and I think it's because he's drunk, it's because I had a moment where I told you to go somewhere. You went to somewhere else completely random. 3 minutes later, we're waiting on you. We're like, Wyatt, where you at? And all of a sudden I see you're right next to me, and I'm on the other side of the map. And I'm like, Wyatt, go to the fire tunnel, dog. And so, which that one I don't think was the lack of map knowledge. I legitimately think it's because you're a little wasted.
This
maybe
one I
just
had-
playing the
Oh,
game.
Swayze.
This one I had no. I did not
This
have
one
a
I do
drop
think-
of alcohol in me. I just had no idea how the map worked.
I
at
will
all.
say,
was just
though,
like, what?
In Wyatt's defense, because we have not played a lot of Revelations ahead of time, like the connectors and all that stuff should be like easy, but it was a little difficult at times to remember which maps were
Connected. Yeah,
to
yeah.
each
That's
other.
where I was getting
So
confused.
it's like Shang, Der Eisendrache, into Kino are all touching. So when you look at the portal, you see Der Eisendrache, and someone says to Kino, if you don't remember it's connected to
I
Der
did that.
Eisendrache, then you don't remember how to get there. So in your defense, I will give you that.
I did that.
Yeah.
Jay
Yeah.
said, "Let's meet in Kino," and then I was at the Eisendrache, and I ran through the portal. And Jay goes, "The Kino's like next to the Eisendrache." I was like, "Oh shit, that's right." But like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
natural reaction was just always go back to Noct and then figure my way
Right.
out from there.
So I
yeah.
will cut him.
It
some
is a
slack.
confusing map though. The only reason I actually knew it is because me and Kyle started a game before we did our actual game,
Yeah.
and then Kyle did leave, and I just was like, I wanted to practice the map because I remember you guys the previous night you guys were all watching videos and talking about how difficult it was. I was like, oh, I should like go learn the map because like if I go in there and I don't know what to do, I'm really gonna be holding everyone back. And I knew we were starting late, and I didn't want to go too late, even though we did. But like, what's it called? Like, so I went in and I just kept playing. I played until like round 28 or 30 or something like that, learning the map. And then the funny thing is, I actually had a lot of fun with this, but I didn't know that. Like, well, even Jay, who was kind of like our fearless leader for every single one, didn't really know the Easter egg. So suddenly,
No idea.
because I had
You
just
were like
watched the
the
video.
guy.
Yeah, suddenly I just watched the video.
Because think
and then
about it. The
me
reason
and-
I knew all the other ones was because I had every single Easter egg that we have done before Shadows, I had completed at some
Yeah.
point. Now, some of them I was just carried through, but at the very least, I was like vaguely familiar. So watching the video, be like, oh yeah, we got to do that.
yeah.
And then all the other BO3 ones after Shadows, I did them solo until Gorod. And so I never even attempted Revelations. Never. Not even a single time.
And so yeah, I just watched the video. Then Kyle and I were trying to do some stuff, and I was just, like trying to do the first step, which I didn't even ever complete in my run. But like just from doing that stuff, looking around for the parts, learning some things, like suddenly the video as we were playing was coming back to me, and I had the guide up in front of me, so I was remembering sort of what to do. I think the only funny part was when we thought we were on the last step. And I was
And
like,
we were not.
I was, yeah,
We
Jay,
were
already
preparing
close.
for it.
Jayhawk, yeah, we're preparing for it. Jayhawk's spending 30,000 points at the freaking.
Because I'm like, dude,
to
it's the
get
final boss
Arnie's-
fight. Wewe're not going to lose
Yeah.
here, only to find out this is not the final boss fight.
And I also just like that, like he spent 30,000 points and didn't ever
Didn't
get the
get it.
Arnie's. I
Didn't
can't
get
believe
it.
that. And
Yeah.
from the beginning of the game, I got the Apothecon Servant second hit. Then I bought my can. Every time I hit the box, all I wanted was Arnie's. Never got them. We got them once and never again.
I was the only one who got.
Imagine if we
Yeah.
ever reset. Like I don't know how long that would have taken to get
Oh,
rid
Dude,
of
dude,
it.
it
imagine
would've
if we
taken
didn't finish
forever.
that step and Kyle had like died or something when
That's
it went
what I
down,
mean.
and then
Yeah.
someone else had to pull it. Like,
Yeah.
The craziest part too was the boss fight ended up being actually difficult, and it wasn't because like we like it was actually hard. It was because we got like kind of got the step confused, and so we're doing it, and then we're about to run out of ammo, realizing that we're doing it wrong, and we're just having to conserve the best we possibly can to try and have enough, and then we finally got a max ammo right at the tail end, which
that's the
saved
thing.
our ass.
The max ammos, they spawn max ammos during that round. The reason we were running low on ammo is because we did it wrong. If we did
Yeah.
it correctly, we would have never even
Never
come
had to
close.
worry about it. Yeah.
We didn't
We were
read
just
the
running
guide.
around. I was like, why isn't this working? And then
Yeah.
I was like, these torches look funny. I was like, why are they here? And then I just walked up and pressed square, and then it just like placed it, and I was like, oh shit, we didn't place it the whole
so then we
fucking time.
But you know what? Like that always makes it fun because it's like, oh shit, this is what we're supposed to do. But then after when like I had read the guide and I don't remember the guide explaining this. It just said put it on an altar. I thought it meant the altar at the front, not these torches in the corner.
Right.
So I don't even know what we did with the fucking ball at first because we walked in there. I'm pretty sure we all ran to the front, and I thought it started
And
something.
just held interact, and then something started. And we just were like, okay.
we saw the shadow man pop up. So we're like, okay, it started. Start charging the ball. That didn't work, but then so Kyle found that we charged the ball, but then we don't know what to do with this ball, so we're like, we got to charge it on another altar, and so it like even though we follow a guide for 90% of it, and this wasn't that big, it was just kind of cool that like we were trying to figure that out. When that wasn't working, at one point I just had the ball in my hand, and I knew that Sophia is supposed to break his shield, and at some point I just fucking chucked it at Sophia, and it made her materialize, and she broke the shield. Now we didn't accomplish it on that step because of the fact that we weren't ready to shoot the boss once I threw it
To
at
be
her.
fair, I was also dumping my entire Thundergam
Yeah.
ammo into it, only to realize that afterwards I was like, wait, I didn't see a single hit marker, which I get when I shoot the Thunder Gun. I don't think that did anything.
The
Yeah.
Shadow Man's just sitting there, just getting air blasted. Like,
So-
that feels kind
Yeah.
of nice.
Yeah, man, this feels good.
This is
Can
good.
you turn up the AC a little
We finally
bit?
got AC in this place? Fuck.
But
Yeah,
so
it was,
Fucking hell.
yeah,
that was
so
really
then,
the only hookup. And then we were good.
Yeah, we're good. Funny enough, though, like the Arnie step, okay, it was long, but that took us 40 minutes. Considering it's a 3 hours and 40-minute Easter egg, that's actually not that. It's just a long Easter egg. Once we
Yeah.
finished that Arnie step, we did about 70% of it all in round 18. But then we finished on round, I think, 20. What did we finish? Round 26. So yeah, we had to like play through a lot of other rounds. There was going around the map. There was like the bones. Like there was a lot of other stuff.
There was
to
a
do. It
lot of
just takes
setup
long.
too,
Yeah.
I think, for
After-
like getting ready to go.
After the Arnie step, we did get a bunch done in like 1 or 2 rounds.
Just
Like,
one round.
we-
I watched it
Yeah,
back,
one
and it was
round,
literally
yeah.
like we finished the Arnie step in round 18, and we got I think all 3 tapes in round 18 after at that point.
Yeah, so we were able to cruise through after that. It was just really that one part where it was just like trying to make sure you're getting them in the hole, and like you have to do them where. Does it have to be a specific order, or does it just have to
No.
be those holes?
You just
Okay.
have to do it.
You
in
have to
each
keep
one.
track of which holes that you throw them into, though, because you can't throw them back into the same ones. You have to do each one differently.
Yeah, like up until that point, I was literally just running a circle inside of Origins. I was just running in a circle basically that whole time. I probably should have spent that time trying to figure out this map, but I was just like,
That'd
I'm just
probably
gonna,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna walk the dogs, walk them in circles, do my thing, and that's where. I
No,
was
you
at.
couldn't. You couldn't though, because the zombie would have died if he went through the teleporter.
Yeah, I needed to actually like let him hit me more because we had 2 rounds where the zombie just died because I didn't let him hit me, and then we had to just play a whole nother round because of that. But
Oh my god,
that
and
was
the bug.
Revelations.
I forgot about the fucking bug where the
Oh,
thing
yeah.
the summoning he
The
bugged out
ball.
on me.
The
I
ball.
got it with the grenade. Then we give it to Wyatt, and then like we're like, okay, Wyatt's got the least to lose here because he's got lots of money and only 5 perks. So Wyatt, you take it so that if we need to down you, we down you. The glitch happens. He goes to the portal. We have to down him. The funny thing is, then I lose all my perks anyways. So like I should have been the one to grab it because I only had 3 perks at that time, but I had like
Oh, but
1,000
dude,
points
even,
versus
like-
Wyatt's 30K.
I don't know if y'all felt this way. I got so worried when we got to that step where we got to take the worms out, and
Oh, yeah,
you guys
yeah,
couldn't
yeah.
take them, and I
couldn't
was like,
take 'em, yeah.
dude, it's a freaking Shadows point like 2.0. Like literally
Yeah.
the same thing just
That's-
happened where I did the stupid thing and I took the worms or I took the eggs and put them in there, and I should have let somebody else come and take them. Luckily, I was able to do all the worms.
Jay
but
was
it-
just
Shout
the
out to
mother.
Jay, #1 mom.
Mama,
Yeah.
mama,
Number
mama,
one.
That's,
worm.
that
Mama worm.
Shadows of Evil Easter egg is going to haunt us forever. That one run, that bug is going to haunt.
bug.
Every time something's not working a little bit, we're just going to think back to Shadows of Evil and just immediately just be like,
it's
fuck.
haunt
But dude,
us.
think about it too. Like we're already, I don't know what the timestamp was at that point, but we're probably already like 2 plus 2.5 hours deep at that point. When
We
did
talked
that
about
worm step.
restarting, and Jumbo
No,
was
that was
like,
the-
nah, dude.
No,
It
that was
like
the last.
too-
That was the last
No,
step.
the-
I
the
think.
worms was literally at the very
that's
end.
Worms was the last step, so I think it was like
Yeah.
literally 4 a.m.
Oh, I thought you were
For
talking
me.
about the ones.
No, I'm
Oh.
talking about. Remember when we had to
Just
go
talk
find the
about-
random orange?
What was the
eggs?
one
Eggs.
where you thought about restarting?
Oh, that was like really early on when that was honestly just when Kyle kept fucking up missing.
It was
the
when he kept
Arnie's.
fucking up the Arnie's,
and
bro.
like we went through 5 max ammos. I was like, there's no way
That
we're
was
getting more
after
max
Jumbo
ammos.
went down,
Yeah.
and then I lost my jug,
Yeah.
and then we were like, should we just
Should we just
restart?
restart?
And I was like, no, we're gonna thug it out.
It was like round
And we
18
did.
too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a time. And that, ladies and gents, was Revelations, and that was Black Ops 3. We've completed what we set out to complete. Now, moving forward, we're probably still going to be playing Black Ops 4 and trying the Easter eggs, and we're probably still going to be playing Cold War, 100% playing Cold War, and trying to do the Easter eggs because...
Cold War is the direct link.
Yes.
It's like the Black Ops 6 is the sequel to Cold War. The story is linked. So
Yeah, so we're
Yeah,
going
we
to be
gotta try
playing
and get
those.
that.
We also just want to try to rank those maps and see where they fit because obviously Black Ops 4 and Cold War probably aren't looked at as great as, you know, some of the ones we played in our past, but we still would like to know these maps, figure out where we feel that they should be, and see if they really get the treatment that they deserve. So we're going to be playing those, and if we have any stories about Easter eggs or anything like that along the way, we will definitely tell them. But as for right now, we have completed our goal. We went from Black Ops 1 all the way to BO3. We completed them all, and we did it. We did it. We are the keepers. We are the keepers of the universe at this point. It was like it was a crazy moment watching that final cutscene, and I was like,
premise? Wow. I don't think we want to be the creepers. The keepers?
Aren't we like the keepers of the universe because we did it?
We're
I don't know.
premise.
I don't want to be premise.
We could be premise, yeah.
I have no
Let's
idea.
be
I was just
premise.
saying like I wasn't meaning like the keepers that are like the little floating guys. I didn't mean those
Yeah,
guys.
those are not good
No,
guys.
those are the keepers.
Yeah, okay,
Well,
my
no,
bad.
those
my
are
fault.
good guys. There's also bad versions.
Yeah,
of
there's
them.
bad versions and good versions.
The
We're the good
apothecars.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the
Anyway.
good keepers.
Anyway.
Yeah, so we did it, and feels good.
Feels good.
Feels
So
good.
on to our map ranking.
Yeah. You
Now
guys
that we've
ready
done
for
it
the
all.
maps? We've done it all. Now we're going to go into our map rankings. Once again, we'll get into it on the other side, but we still have a lot of maps that we got to add into these. We'll add those at a later time. So let's hit a quick ad. And on the other side, map rankings. All right, here we are. For the first time ever, we are doing a map ranking list. Now, we are only doing maps from World at War to Black Ops 3. That's an important distinction here. Also, I want to make it known that while we have played a shit ton of zombies, while we have loved zombies for most of our life, I think everybody runs into a little bit of like a lull in zombies where around the Black Ops 4 Cold War era, we're still a little new on that, which is why we didn't include it. And also we haven't done the Easter eggs yet. We haven't gone fully into those maps. When we do finish Black Ops 4 and when we do finish World at War, all the Easter eggs or just playing the maps or whatever, when we get more ready, get more involved with those maps, we will add those into our list and probably do an updated ranking. But as of right now, we're just doing World at War through Black Ops 3. Jay, there are some caveats to this list, and I feel like we got to go through some of these caveats because it might confuse some people.
Yeah, so what we did is we all did our individual rankings. There's 21 total maps. We ranked all 21. We did not include like remakes. So, for example, the Giant on Black Ops 3 is Derice. Technically, some people would argue it's a separate map. It's kind of just...
Oh,
It's
shit.
Same shit.
So
I put the Giant in
know.
my ranking.
I took it out on your ranking. I took it out. So we took all those kind of maps out, like Black Ops 1. Like they remade all the World at War maps pretty much on every Black Ops, I think, except for maybe 2. I can't remember. Anyway, we took all the remakes out and we just did the map. So whatever version of the map you envision Derice as, that's what you can rank it as. We're just saying Derice. We're not clarifying a specific version. And also, Jumba has never played Eisendrache, so he did not rank it. And then Richie has barely played any of Black Ops 3, so he ranked them all at the bottom, but that heavily influenced the ranking, so we took those out.
Had to take them out.
Because what we're doing is we're taking all our lists and we're making a cumulative list based on where we ranked them.
Yes. And so, like I said, with Black Ops 4 Cold War, you fall off a little bit. Some people fell off a little bit earlier. Richie fell off around Black Ops 3. He's going to
Yeah.
get back into it. He's going to get in the lab. I
One
think
day.
I'm almost 100% positive that when he does get back into the arena on Black Ops 3, he's going to be like, that was a mistake. Because he had every Black Ops 3 map at
They
the
were
bottom
literally
of
the
his
bottom
list.
5, and I
They
was
were
like,
all at the bottom of my
when we
list.
did the things, there's one specific map when we get there, I'll be like, this was the one. He literally tanked it. Like, it
Yeah.
dropped it down so far. I was like, this is ridiculous. This map is way too good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, starting off at number 21, our cumulative worst map from World at War all the way to Black Ops 3. And it's not a surprise. It's Nuketown from BO2.
That makes sense.
Understandable.
I didn't have
yeah.
Nuketown last. I had a different one last, but I did have it at 19th. out of
Wait,
20.
hold on.
say,
You didn't
I
have
had
Nuketown
Nuketown.
last?
The only person who had Nuketown last was Kyle.
Dude, Nuketown's dog shit, bro. It's the worst map.
You know what's funny? I had Nuketown really up high, and then after I was like, no, I'd rather play this over Nuketown, and then it moved all the way to second last on my
Yeah,
list.
Well, 'cause
Jumba
I just
did
kept
change
going,
his
I-
list, and Nuketown dropped all the way to 19th on your list of 20.
Yeah, because I remember when it first came out and I played it with Wyatt and I was like, this map blows. You gotta hope you get the right perks in the right order that drop out of the sky. I was like, and there's
And that's
nowhere
kind
to
of
run.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of it. It's Nuketown.
It's
You can
Nuketown.
get deep into that game and not have Juggernog, and you're like, "What the fuck? Like,
What the hell am I
You kind of
doing?
just got to get lucky. Like,
I
that's
think I
the,
rated it way higher than what I should have. I don't even remember where I put it, but I think I put it way up there, which was dumb.
Technically, you did, but if we exclude all the BO3 maps, it was your second to last map.
Okay, that
So,
makes more sense then.
Yeah.
yeah, that
The
makes
reason
sense.
I had it higher initially because I remember playing it a bunch, but then I was like, oh, that's just because there was one other map I hated a lot more to play that came out at the
Yes.
same time.
Yeah.
There's a worse map there. Yes.
Yeah. So Nuketown was 21st, and speaking of which, the other map that maybe dropped around the same time, in 20th, and I know someone is going to be upset about this because they had this inside their top 10. We have Transit. Train Run itself.
Who had in the top 10?
Who had in the top 10?
I'm pretty
once
sure that
again,
was
Gotta be
me.
Richie.
Yeah.
He put all the
Oh
BO3
my-
maps at the
Richie.
bottom. So
Top
he
10.
only, if you take out those, he only had 16 spots, but he had Transit at 9.
Okay, so everyone talks shit on Transit. I actually kind of like it. I
Listen,
mean, not kind. I do
Can
like
you tell me
Transit.
why?
I think it's just fun because there's just so much open world that you get to explore. I mean,
But you got a
that's
knife the whole
really-
time you're in that open world. You just got.
Hey, bro, I'm one of the best to
Yeah,
ever do
they're
it.
just climbing
alright?
on the window the whole time. You're just doing this. That's
My
all,
biggest
that's all
problem
you're
with
doing.
Transit, is that all the like to get to power because of how far you have to go and how long you have to wait for the bus, or then to get a perk, or then to find the box. I have started up Transit games before and gone, okay, you know what? I actually feel like playing this. And then the round one starts and I go, no, I don't. And I turn the game off and I switch to another game.
I'll tell you what. If Town, like the separate map Town, was in there, I would
Yeah.
rank Town.
I was just
above
about
that.
to say
Way
that.
Well,
above.
so here's the thing. I was
That's all
going to
I ever
say,
played was Town.
I've had games of Transit where I've started up and I've actually wanted to play it. And I'll go through the map and I'm still having a good time because I will say I like the concept of the bus and it's like unique, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get to the point where you got to pack a punch and you go put your turbine down at power and have to pray that that shit doesn't get destroyed by a zombie all the way to town. You get to town, you throw the nade, you get into the vault only to see that pack a punch is not open because your stupid thing broke. So then you got to go fix it and you have to do a whole loop around the entire map because you can't just like run back easily unless you want to sit there and just punch the whole time. And even some of the times, if you don't have like Jug, you can't even make it across certain lava areas.
I want to say the one time I had a good time on Transit was when you set up all the little teleporters with all the little guys.
Yes.
That's the only way Transit
Yeah.
is fun. If it started with those, or like you got to a certain point and it just had those already there, it would be a great map. If it wasn't for the fact you had to take the bus everywhere.
Yeah, and then here's the even better part. Oh, you want to get a wonder weapon? One of the most fun parts of zombies? You got to go find all the pieces. You got to assemble the wonder weapon. Okay, I get it. We're doing this crafting thing now. It's a whole deal. Whatever, sure. Then when you get the wonder weapon, it sucks.
And it breaks.
And it breaks if you hold it for too long, which means when it breaks, all the parts go back scattered around the map, and you have to go
Yeah.
get them again. And it's hard because the bus is the only way you can get around the map. It's
You know what? Actually, now that I think of the single thing that probably would have saved Transit is if you could just get the bus to go backwards.
No, yeah, this is what we were talking about a few nights
Yes.
ago. The thing about Transit, the thing that holds it back, and we already know the story of Transit. They got a little bit too ambitious going into the current gen. They were like, we are going to make this huge map. They thought next gen would be out. It doesn't come out. So they have to make it fit for current gen. They have to put the fog in to slow people down because the game would crash if you went too fast. So whenever you talk about Transit, you have to put that in there because I have a feeling that if they didn't have to do all that, it would have been a very, very good map, a very fun map, minus some of the other things. But they had to do that to keep it held back. But like if there was a way that you could call the bus to go to certain areas or like the Easter egg granted you access to doing certain things with the bus. I mean, because the bus is the map. The map
Just
is the bus.
As
you know?
simple as like if you could just tell the bus to stop and when to start.
Yeah.
Something as simple as that. So we could, and you could just tell the bus to like skip a certain spot and just like we're going here, like you know what I mean? Like all that stuff. If you could control the bus, even if you have to earn it, if you have to build like some like a robot controller to control the bus driver
Or pay points. Anything.
yeah, or something. If there's any way to do that, that would make it so much better because then you actually like have the ability to control where you want to go.
I think if they were to bring it back and essentially just try to redo it, I think it would actually be way more fun.
Aren't they talking about a remastered?
Liberty
Transit?
Balls.
There's rumors that Liberty Falls is technically supposed to be like part of Transit, like it's the town area of Transit.
Okay.
I'm not 100% on that, but I do think Richie's correct. And there's other maps that I thought this about that I quickly abandoned that we'll get to later. I'm sure, hopefully, the next one, unless Richie rated it really high, which I know he did.
I did.
But there are maps where I look back and I'm like, I don't like this map. But if they were to do like a Zombie Chronicles 2 and they put it in here and they fix some of this stuff, I think I would love it. If you put in Transit without the fog, without the denizens, you could leave the lava, you could leave all the other stuff, whatever. Having that big of a map, I think, would be fun. And I've always wondered why they get so weirded out about having large, like, circular areas. They're like, it makes it too easy. It's like, all right, well, there's Black Ops 4. That one's really easy. How about that? Like, why not just make a map where you can break record after record after record after record? I mean, you know, it's not like everybody's just going to only play that map. I've never understood that.
They already did with World at War Shinonuma, where they're getting like round 11,000 or some crap.
Yeah, I think, but that one wasn't. That one was more the amount of zombies that spawned in per round. I think it like capped at like
Yeah,
a
it's because
really low number.
It
or
capped
something.
Those
at
you got insta-kill rounds.
21, I think, or something like that. Or
Yeah, it'd be like
40.
21 or something, and then after there'd also be insta-kill rounds where you could just literally kill a zombie.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
kill them in like one hit.
Just a buggy mess.
Yeah, but Transit, it was ambitious. I think we look back on it fondly because we were younger when that map came out, and we're like, when it came out,
I don't.
It was
I don't
awesome.
look back on it fondly.
I remember-
I look back
like I
on
said,
it being like, it was fun. But
I think
now I don't love
conceptually
it.
Transit has some strong things.
Yeah.
Like I remember like when we first started playing, I thought the bus thing was so cool. It was so unique. Like the map is centered around this bus that we have to like kind of, you know, and it just makes it harder. So even like the bus control thing is not my biggest problem. It's just the stuff that they do to just ruin your game and screw you over, like the jet gun breaking or the fact that the pack-a-punch power is all the way over there and you have no control unless someone sits there and you're playing multiplayer to make sure it opens. Like that kind of stuff is just so frustrating, and it doesn't make it hard in like a good way, you know what I mean? So that's why I dislike Transit.
I'm also a big super weapon guy, and
Yeah,
the
same.
jet gun sucking
It just
is
sucks.
it just makes that map so much worse for me because it's like, oh, I got this cool super weapon. Oh, it's actually ass, and it breaks. So
It's
like,
not even worth getting. Like people don't
Yeah.
even go get it, honestly.
And
No
if I'm not
point.
mistaken, when the map first came out, they didn't put the they didn't put the ray gun Mark II in it till
Yes.
retroactively after Buried. So
Correct.
when it first dropped, you get the jet gun, and then you just get the regular ray gun, which
Yeah.
in Black Ops 2, the regular ray gun was ass. It
Ass.
was not
Trash.
good.
No
The
HD.
Mark II was way better, but they didn't even put it in until after Buried comes out. So yeah, it was just a mess from top to bottom.
Yeah, so that's Transit, and this next one's going to make one specific person very pissed once again. 19th, we have the map that preceded Transit, which was Die Rise.
Richie, you want, let's let Richie go first.
Yeah.
Let's let Richie go first.
Context, he
loves
put it fourth on his list.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy wanted the sliquifier up his ass. Like, remember that?
I did.
Remember, he
I
wanted
would
the
still
sliquifier
take
up his
it.
ass.
Great choice.
I honestly, I love that map. I mean, yeah, it's annoying. Just same thing as Transit. Transit can be annoying. Die Rise can be annoying. If you can play it properly, hey, then great. But if you can't, which I mean, with the hate that it gets, I'm assuming that no one can play it properly except for me. That's
We
all
did
I'm gonna
the
say.
Easter egg, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm sticking to it.
Is there like a vibe thing about it that you like, or was there like a fond memory you have where you're like, yeah, Die Rise?
I think I like it. I like the maps that are difficult because same thing with Transit. Like it could be really, really fucking annoying. Same thing with Die Rise. It could be really fucking annoying. So for me, it makes me feel like I'm a little bit more locked in, I guess you could say. So I focus a lot more rather than just like mindlessly going just for high rounds on like Darius or Kino or something. It makes me focus, and I feel like I play better. So
We
that's
should
really
get
all
you
it
play
is.
Gorod Krovi.
I was gonna say,
You would
yeah, the
love
thing is, never
Gorod
played
so
Gorod really,
much.
but I was gonna say,
You
don't
would
you
love
really?
Gorod.
Because like the thing about Die Rise, like the thing is like it's difficult, but just because of the jumping and fall damage, and not really.
Well,
too
so
much
I was going to
else,
say,
right?
here's the reason that I rank it low, because like I appreciate certain maps like Shang or 5 for being difficult. The thing I dislike about Die Rise is it has some of that BS that Transit has, where it's like hard in a not fun way, like the fact that you have to, the elevators. To get to certain spots, you have to ride the elevators, but they don't necessarily always go where you want them to go, and they can kill you, which isn't great. And so and you have no way to control them. So it's like you might just be sitting there waiting for an elevator to finally show up, because that's the only way to get back up, you know? And then the whole like the verticality, the way that like it literally can just ruin your game because you just fall off or actually walk off an edge or whatever because you got hoarded into a corner. Like those kind of things, I just don't find them fun. Like I don't find those hard things fun, whereas I find like the claustrophobic aspect of like a Shangri-La more fun. You know what I mean?
I will say though,
Was-
the
ahead.
atmosphere of Die Rise is one of the coolest.
I was
Really?
just about to say that.
On
There's
top
something
of a
about
giant
that.
building.
It's just something about the buildings and the way it is. It's one of the most, in my opinion, post-apocalyptic feeling maps. In a way,
It
like
is.
up there with like Mob of the Dead, but like yeah, something about it just really feels like a post-apocalyptic movie. Like in a way, right? Where it's like something that like maybe a lot of Black Ops 3 maps go way too much into the sci-fi aspect and don't give you that feel.
That's true.
I won't lie, I feel the complete opposite. The Die Rise to me, out of all BO2 maps, has like the least identity. Like we are on a skyscraper, but it just feels so like bland and gray. Like it doesn't have like the like we've been nuked feeling that Transit has, but it also doesn't have like the mob, the berry, like how unique those locations were. It just kind of feels like we're on some just random ass skyscraper, and everything is just like this weird shade of like tan and red. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's how
I think that was the engine at the time once again too.
True.
I did say when we did the Easter egg that I feel like if Die Rise was put in again and they fixed some of the aspects of it and made it look a little bit brighter or darker, whichever way they wanted to go with it,
Yeah.
I always thought it would be better. Now, after doing the Easter egg, I was like, fuck that. I never want to touch this map ever again. But if they were to change some of the aspects of it, you know, who knows? It could definitely change. I do appreciate that it's one of the only maps that really was like that vertical. Like it was very up and down, and I can't really think of too many other maps that are like that off the top of my head. Usually they're very, you know, like horizontal, laid out on the ground. There's areas you can go up higher, but like Die Rise was strictly just straight vertical, and I appreciate the fact that they tried it. I wish it looked a little nicer, like Jay was saying, and I think if they did try to redo it, I wouldn't mind seeing it in a Zombicron 2 if there was certain aspects about it that were adjusted. Like I was trying to think, imagine if there was a way that you could fall off the map and maybe you die, but like you go down instead of like fully die or something like that. Like there's like a parachute you can get, or another thing like the elevators you talked about.
Just
there's keys in there,
There's
right?
the key, bro.
There's the keys, but then they're like one use, right?
Yeah.
You only get to
Literally
use it one time.
use. That's it.
Yeah,
That's annoying.
And I would say, because Jimba just mentioned PhD flopper, rather than obviously tease it when you fall down that elevator,
Yeah, dude.
you get rid of Tombstone, you put PhD, and then, okay, now we at least
You mean
have
who's
one.
who?
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
who?
sorry.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that
the
Who's
greatest
Who's
perk of
Who
all
is
time.
literally the most useless perk ever. The fact
It
that the
is.
zombies
Worst.
aggro you and all you get is a pistol. What's the point?
Exactly. But
Shit's metal.
you replace Who's Who with PhD, and that at least gets rid of one of the aspects. So...
Yeah, I think people love the map after, because honestly, jumping off and diving down like some of the shafts and like not taking fall damage would be pretty fun.
That would be
Yeah,
sick.
Yeah.
That would be
I
sick.
think it would make the map better, honestly.
And the fact, I think they knew that, and the fact that they teased us with PhD was just so messed up, but it was
Such
funny.
a bitch move.
It was funny though. Okay, so that was what, 19?
That was 19. That's Die Rise. And then at number 18, this one might surprise a lot of people. Now, for us, none of us are going to be surprised. but for a lot of people listening, this might, because I don't think a lot of people view it this low. And 18th, we have the Easter egg that we literally just completed, Revelations from Black Ops 3.
Fuck that map.
Whoa.
Dog shit.
You guys definitely tanked that. I didn't put Revelations
I tanked
that
it.
low.
So
I put
here's
it
what I'll say.
I had it 18th.
I have it
Oh.
17th. Kyle has it 17th. Wyatt has it 18th. You have
Okay,
it
fair
13th.
enough.
You were the highest
Yeah,
ranked
yeah,
person
yeah.
at 13th.
Wyatt
hate
just
that
doesn't
map.
like it because he was I went to go watch his stream and I went in theater mode to watch. This fucking guy actually was so lost. He
I
quite
don't
literally
know where to
we're like,
go.
well, I can't remember what me and Jay were talking about. I think we asked him. We're like, meet us at Verrucht. This guy goes through the portal to Mob of the Dead, walks through Nocturne Toten, walks back, goes straight back to Mob of the Dead, runs around a little bit. We're like, just go to Noct, bro. Runs back through the portal to Noct, goes back through the portal to Mob of the Dead, takes the jump pads around until he gets to fucking Verrucht. And this guy wants
Bro,
to blame
I
the
don't-
map? That's a fucking skill issue.
No, it's the map. The map is literally
You
the most
ran through the
boring
same
map
portal?
of all. Bro,
That's fine,
it
but you
just
ran through the
takes-
same portal 4 times yesterday.
I know, but
There
like
were
here's the
Wyatt skill
reason why.
issues, but he does have a point. What he's about to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
They're all maps I've already played. So
Fair enough.
I'm walking through these maps. I'm like, where the fuck am I going? I'm like walking through these maps I've played my whole life, walking around, and for whatever reason, I could not find the jump pads. I knew where the portal was to get back to Noct, and I knew where one jump pad was, which is the one right outside of Mob of the Dead. I couldn't find any of the jump pads. I'm walking around like, where the fuck is this thing
The zombie
at?
had despawned. No. And then that's the other thing. Like, you want to talk about getting lost? And then after he finally got to Verrucht, and he walked through every wrong door in Verrucht, going in circles to the point that the zombie finally despawned that I needed him to take, and me and Jay finished the step, and we left. Literally, I walked through the portal to leave, and Wyatt gets to where he needed to be after all that
Bro,
time. It has got to be one of the funniest moments.
It could very well be a skill issue. That's great. That's that's.
But you're
that's
getting
true.
lost in maps like we've played.
But,
You're getting
yes.
lost. You're getting lost in maps that we've played.
The thing
but
is,
let's-
I have barely played Revelations, and I do think that Revelations on the BO3 like engine, I think automatically puts it above the ones that we had down there.
Yeah.
So it has to because it just plays better. I
Yeah,
do
yeah,
like
yeah.
the fact that there was wall running aspect in it, similar to Shadows of Evil, because wall running was a big thing in BO3. I like that. You can get a free perk by wall running around. Some of the places are cool, but after the initial shock wears off of like, oh, these are all the maps we've played, it's like, oh, these are all the maps we've already played. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah, no,
Here-
I've had it I had it the lowest of the Black Ops 3 maps. I want to be clear.
Here's the thing too, is because I think the reason people might be shocked is I know that a lot of people had a ton of nostalgia when this map dropped. Zombies Chronicles was not a thing at that point. And so think about the people who were playing every Zombies map upon release. For them, they're playing all of BO3 the whole year, and now they're getting to experience all of these old maps on the BO3 engine without having to go back. Obviously not the full map, but like the pieces and the little like chimes. It was a ton of fan service, and I get that. Literally no one here has that nostalgia because unless I'm speaking I don't want to speak for all of you, but I don't think any of us played that map upon release. Yeah, so none of us have that nostalgia. Zombies Chronicles already exists, and I just don't think the map flows that well. Like I don't ever sit there and be like, man, I want to play Revelations, because all I'm doing is just playing a cluster of all the other maps that I really want to play. So I don't love Revelations. The only new areas they added were Spawn and the stomach of the beast. That's it. So it's just all rehashed, and I don't even like the way the map flows and the way that they like put the things together and the jump pads. I just don't like it personally.
Because then after I'm sitting there, I'm like, should I go train in Kino? Should I go train in Eisendrache? Oh, maybe I should just go play Eisendrache or Kino if I'm
Right,
going to do
exactly.
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So,
And
It's
it
the same
doesn't
vibe.
have
no, it's fair. It's fair.
even like it doesn't have its own wonder weapon. It just brought back like the Apothecon Servant, the Thunder Gun. It's all old stuff. Like we've already done all this, so for me, Revelations.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
feels
care.
cool to have it all in one map. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. But it feels like that's just to play with friends. I think also too, I enjoyed the experience last night a little bit more because it was like the first time I actually looked into how to do the Easter egg, and I only did that like an hour before we started. By the way.
Yeah. The Easter egg did make it feel better in my mind, and the boss fight was actually challenging. We like struggled with it a little bit, which the other boss fights I don't think we ever really got anywhere close to like struggling at all, except for maybe Shadows. But it wasn't like a boss fight. It was more of like, what do you got to do? Like we weren't really fighting a boss. We were more just trying to like
We
get
were
something
trying
a-
to fight. We're trying to
Yeah,
start the boss
we're trying
fight.
to start the boss fight. So
Yeah.
it was like, yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was better. But yeah, I guess the only places that were different were spawn, the stomach, and then also the boss fight.
The boss
area.
arena, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
So
I wouldn't put
Even
it above
Samantha's
some of the other
room
ones
is
I
a
had.
reused asset.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
that's
is.
reused from
It
from
is.
Kino, bro. And I will
Yeah.
say even too on the boss fight, like technically the boss fight's also somewhat reused. If you think it had the whole
Shadows of
walls thing.
Evil.
The
Yeah.
walls is from Origins. The
Yeah.
whole like we have to get the shield down and then just dump damage room. That Shadows of
that's
Evil.
Shadows of Evil, yeah.
The whole like fire thing and you can avoid it by sitting in certain dark areas. That's the Eisendrache boss fight. And then we have to stand in specific areas. Kind of Shadows in terms of like you got to go get on the wisps. You know when you're in the Infinite Margwas. Like all of that just feels like pretty much reused content too. So
Yeah.
and they brought back Margwas and Panzers, you know what I mean? So it's like they didn't do anything really new, it felt like. And so that's, yeah. Anyway, that's Revelations 18th. Now we get into the, I feel like that was kind of a clear category for us as a group where we all consistently felt kind of similar about certain maps. Outside of Jumba at 13, but even then, like 13 is not
I
crazy
still had
high
it
for Rev.
least as like BO3. Last
Yeah.
of the BO3. Last of the BO3.
Yeah, and even the maps you have below it, I think are all relatively understandable picks. But at our 18th, or that was 18th. So at our 17th pick, we have Shino Numa.
Ooh, okay.
I'm surprised it's.
I'm
this low.
surprised. Yeah, I have it at 14. I don't have it super high.
I
up,
had it
but
15th. Jumba had it 16th. Kyle had it 14th.
I think I had
And
it
Richie
low.
had it 13th, which once again, he had all the BO3 maps below. So if he actually played those and maybe put those higher, that probably would have moved down.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense because it was on original World at War, and the big thing with it was it has no pack-a-punch. It also has perks that are randomized, so when you're going to the different areas, it has that similar effect to like Nuketown, not to that same degree, but you could go all three perks before you finally get Juggernog.
It's
So I
not
guess
as
that's a
bad
thing.
because you
It's not
can
as
still
bad,
like
though.
earn the points to open the map up. To where on like Nuketown, you literally can go to round 25 and not have Jug.
Yeah, yeah, you can go super far. And I guess the other big thing about it was when it first dropped, it was a big deal because you had dogs, you had the gondola, and stuff like that. You had like the water.
The zip lines.
You had zip lines. You also had the Wonder Waffle. Was that the first map it was on?
Yes,
I
first
believe so,
time
yeah.
the Window Off.
Yeah. So there's that. But now when you fast forward through all that and there's a lot of other things going on, it kind of, I guess it doesn't age as well as you would have liked it to.
The thing with all the World at War maps is just like they were stepping stones that Darius kind of perfected, and so it's like if I'm thinking, oh, I want to go experience in these maps again or play them, I'm like, I'm just gonna go play Darius.
True.
So like that's just what it is.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't even know about you guys. Like, I don't even, like, although Dogs and the Wonder Waff were first on that map, I don't even associate those things with Shino Numa.
No.
Like, I
with
associate that
Darius.
with Darius. Yeah.
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 So, yeah. I don't know. It was like,
I played a lot of Shino Numa, so
Okay.
I think the map's kind of nostalgic for me, just because it was the game breaking point where like it was the first time that like a wonder weapon was introduced that wasn't the ray gun.
right.
It was like because we had the ray gun and everything, and the ray guns. Don't get me wrong, the ray gun's cool, but like getting the Wonder Waffle for the first time and being like, wow, like. This thing fucking hits like a truck. You're
Yeah.
like this thing, and like I could shock the water and kill everything in the water. I was like, this thing's kind of cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
We also forgot one
Stepping up
key
from there.
element. We forgot one key element, which is the characters. This is the first map the characters were on.
Yeah,
Richtofen,
true.
Dempsey,
Oh,
Takio,
yeah.
and Nikolai. That's the first map that they're on. And we also got the radios. So it was like the first time you starting to hear these like different noises and trying to figure out a storyline at that time. That's
Right.
also a big deal.
It really did pioneer a lot.
Yeah. Which is kind of yeah, it did, but we just don't because you once again you associate the characters with Darius because that's when the real radios come out where you're actually getting like real bits of storyline, you know?
I think Shino Numa is like an unfortunate byproduct of what came after. Like,
Yeah,
it
it is.
pioneered a lot, but think about like in sports or like the entertainment industry, there's all those like pioneers that changed everything. But then like the one who perfected it immediately after, like Jumbo said about Darius, that's who everybody remembers, and that was the memorable one. Like we all associate these things with Darius, and we love Darius, you know. So yeah. So that was Shinonuma at 17, and unfortunately at 16, I personally don't agree with this, but we have Zetsubo No Shima right after.
Shitty map.
Kyle
Kyle hates
thinks
Zetsubo
that
so
shit.
much.
Dog shit.
I have a
shit.
theory. Kyle hates Zetsubo because of the spiders, and he has an arachnophobia of
No.
sorts.
True.
That's probably it. He wanted.
I will say I don't
That's
like.
what it is.
I'm gonna say this. I don't like spiders. That's number one.
Or
But
clowns. You don't like clowns either.
yeah, spiders and clowns are not in my favor. But I will say that I don't like the big like tree monsters or whatever that when you get down they just suck you up into their stomach. That thing always pissed me off because like somebody would get downed and you're usually like, I'll just go pick you up, bro. Like, you know, like let me throw a monkey real quick. Those motherfuckers don't even give a shit. They're just like, hey, come here. And then they just suck you up into them. And then you're like, I got to kill this big ass motherfucker before I can even pick you up. And there's usually two of them. So by the time I kill one, the other one just picks you up. So you're literally never saving your buddy. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck this guy. Like,
That
and I
somehow
felt the
didn't
super
happen
weapon
to
was
us.
kind of lackluster.
That somehow didn't happen to us in like 3 hours of play.
No?
Like the other
To
day.
be
Yeah, I
fair,
really-
we also didn't have Thrashers almost ever because Jumbo was looking for them
I
and
was
couldn't find
fucking
any.
chasing. Yeah, I chased him for an hour. I have a whole different reason for hating Thrashers. Whole different reason.
Yeah.
But like
On
yeah,
Zetsubo, I had it the highest ranked at 11. Jumbo had it at 12. Wyatt, you had it 16. Kyle had it 18. Once again, it's BO3, so Richard didn't rank it.
Yeah, so I don't know. I did grow to like Zetsubo a little bit more, but I found it really difficult to rank it above some of my other favorite BO2, BO1, and World at War maps. It was just hard because I think obviously Revelations to me is the worst on BO3. Zetsubo, I wouldn't, even though it's only 2 places above Revelations, I have it in a whole nother tier because I would actually go back and play Zetsubo again and again and again. A lot of you guys don't like the Wonder Weapon. I really liked it when I played with it because you can build it and then I think you have to build the upgrade for it as well. I really liked playing with the KT4. I thought it was good. You know, and then I never knew until we did the Easter egg run that there was a gas mask, which drastically changes a lot of things. There's also a big aspect of like swimming in that map, which I think is fun. I like the way that you can like capture the spiders to get the wonder weapon. I like the way that there's the different waters that when you plant different plants a different way, it creates different things. I don't know. I liked Zetsubo, and even though I have it lower on this list, I just couldn't put it above some of the other ones. But I would probably play it above, like, you know, some of these other ones, like as a more consistent play style. Some of these other maps on my list, I think they're really good, but sometimes they don't have that perfect like replayability. It's like you work really hard to set up on this said map. But then when trying to get reset up on it after you die, you're like, I don't know if I want to do that again. Zetsubo is a map I feel like I can just click on it and just run around and just play and feel fine. I never feel too crazy about the setup of it. It's just a good run around and shoot stuff map, I think.
I will say when it comes to the setup, because I'm the one who ranked it the highest, I like maps where you have to like do stuff. And the fact that Zetsubo has so much stuff to do when it comes to the plants, when it comes to building the wonder weapon, you got to go do the spider boss fight over here. You got to upgrade the wonder weapon by getting 3 more parts for that. To turn on the power, you got to go to a bucket over here, and then you get inside. Then you got to clear out this thing to turn on the power there. I just like to do stuff because it makes the map feel like I actually have like a goal outside of like, because to me, I've just never been the guy that like cares about high rounds. I just don't have the goal of just surviving for as long as possible. It doesn't appeal to me. So that's why I love the Easter eggs, like doing all the kind of stuff. And I like that Zetsubo has a lot of that stuff, which is just kind of a Black Ops 3 thing in general. But I don't know. I actually kind of like the map. So that was number 16. At number 15, another map that I like. I don't agree with this. We have Verrucht.
Yeah, I ranked that low, I think.
Oh,
Wait,
that one.
time
That
out
for
though.
Richie, if we take out his Black Ops 3 maps, was literally his lowest ranked map at 16.
You don't like Verrucht?
No, yeah, no, I don't like it.
Is it because we played it with
Explain,
Brian too many times and he fucking
Yeah, and Brian
kept
is,
dying?
Yeah, Brian's
Let the
garbage.
record show, Kyle also put it at 16. Him and Richie had the same rankings.
Okay.
That said,
All right.
Richie once again had the BO3 ones below, so it would have been lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not fun. You can't pack a punch. There's just a ray gun. All you got to do is just sit in that hallway with bouncing Bettys on, World at War, and just go to town. Hopefully, one of you gets the MG42, and that's basically it. I mean, maybe the Browning, but the Browning was kind of trash. So really, it's just the MG42, the MP40, and then I remember the double tap glitch, where you could be right next to double tap, like you jump in it and they won't hit you there. But
it also had one of the sickest glitches of all time with the bouncing Bettys, where you could get the infinite guns. You could just get
Unlimited
every single
guns.
gun.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
Which they never patched that, which was sick. It also that was the first one that had perks on it, so it brought perks in the first time. I did like the aspect of it where it splits the two teams up. And it did it relatively early. Like, for how zombies kind of came into fruition and how it came to life, they really at the beginning worked really hard on changing things up in the early days, because they went from knocked to immediately, we're giving you perks, we're giving you traps, we're giving you you have to split up and you got to turn on the power, which at the time is a lot. So, I give it a lot of credit for that. I had it at 13. So I had a little bit higher than this. I do enjoy a map sometimes where you have to camp. I think everybody loves to train because you want to see how far you can survive. But at sometimes it's nice to sit 4 dudes stacked in a corner and you're just camping. I don't know what it is. It's just a fun time trying to make sure you get the crawler. If you kill the last zombie, you're like, oh, fuck, I have no ammo left. What are we going to do? We'll figure it out. Sometimes it's fun. Not all the time. Sometimes it's fun.
One of my favorite guns, also the PPSH. This is the first time it made its debut.
Yep.
And so for me, it has a special place in my heart, just because I remember getting it from the box for the first time and being like, holy shit, what is this new gun that I've never seen before in any other map? And
PPSH goes hard.
And it was raw, and I was like, this thing's got a shitload of ammo. It just blows through motherfuckers. I was like, this thing's sick. So I like map exclusive weapons. I think they're just fun to have and fun to play with, because it's cool when you get those kinds of things. The one thing I think that Zetsubo has that no other thing has is they have those dual pistols or whatever, the shotgun
Marshalls.
ones. Yeah. And those things are fun for me. I really enjoy those.
And they're good against Thrashers.
And they're good against Thrashers. They're good against everything. But it's one of the highest damaging guns of all time, I think. And so I was I enjoy just having specific guns that are on specific maps, because if I ever feel man, I want to play with that particular gun, I could just go to that map and play it, and then I'm it just feels good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had Verruct 9th. I'm the highest ranked person for Verruct, and here's my thing. I think it has one of the I love the scary aspect of zombies. Unfortunately, we're not talking about
Does
World War
have
II,
the scary,
but I like World War II purely for the fact that it's scary. Now I have a lot of criticism of World War II zombies, but they did make it scary. Verruct you're in an insane asylum. There's people screaming and crying out and all this kind of stuff amidst the noise of the zombies doing their thing. The fact that, like you said, when you spawn in, all of a sudden you're not with your team, and that was the first map. I remember when I first ever played Verruct, I was not a good zombies player, and that was the first map where I had to face the fears of playing the mode of being by myself and actually having to do something and not be carried by the other guy that I'm playing with. I have to go navigate my way around because I spawned on the quick revive side and we're camping at the spot Richie said, so we can't open that door on his side, so I have to go to power and I have to go turn it on in order to open up the middle. And so I loved that aspect. And also, I love the camping aspect of Verruct because I feel like every map, the goal is to train, and I feel like Verruct just changes up the pace for me. I love that hallway with the bouncing Bettys and double tap, and you just sit there, one guy holds the window, and the other 3 get your LMGs and just camp it out and try to survive for as long as you possibly can. I don't know. It feels like the raw, zombies experience that I like. In terms of that aspect, so that's why I like Verruct at 9. But
nobody can forget the room with the blood on the walls, just painted on the walls with all those symbols and shit. The first time I saw that, chills down the spine.
That and the dentist chair.
The dentist chair, where you activate it.
Yeah.
No, it definitely has one of the coolest atmospheres. I think I think again, I never actually played a lot of Verrucht, funny enough. So maybe that's why my ranking was a little bit lower. But my thing is like, it's like when I was looking at a lot of the stuff on the list, and it was like, well, what do I want to go back and play? Like Verrucht has a lot of cool things that I think about and stuff like that. But like when I think about what do I want to go back to play, again, if I'm going back to the World of War maps, I'm probably playing Deriz. Or funny enough, if I want the difficult one, I'm gonna probably play Noct over that. And it's just because like I want either side of the spectrum, and so maybe it's like a weird reason, but that was my reasoning for where I put it.
Yeah, and so that was number 15, and number 14, close behind it, we have one of the Black Ops 1 maps. We have 5, the Pentagon.
This one hurts me. This is a deep cut for your boy.
I know.
This is a
Wyatt
deep
loves
cut
this
for your
map.
boy.
That
So everyone
much?
knows.
I
I put
love
it
it.
14th. Jumbo put it 17th. Kyle put it 13th. Richie put it 12th. Wyatt was the highest, putting it at 11th.
Yeah, I think this one might be one that it was because at the time that it came out, there was only 2 maps on Black Ops 1. I used to live in the foothills with no internet, so I got the map. I would go to my dad's house, who did live in town, and then I would go back to my mom's house. So I got the map from there, figured out on the internet how to get it, went back home, and I only had those 2 maps to play. And so when you only have 2 maps to work with, you're trying things out. And what I found with 5 is like there was a specific strategy that I loved doing, which was literally just I would buy the MPL, I would sit at least till round 7 or 8, had to be round 7 or 8, and I had to make sure that I had a certain number of points before I went down, bought every single door in the circle on the second story, and then I would have to try and get the winner's howl. People hate the winner's howl. I think, in my mind, it's not one of the best, but it's one of my favorite.
It's literally one of the worst wonder weapons.
It's literally one of the worst, but it's one of
sucks.
my favorite. And what I would do is I would get it like at RPK or the winner's howl, and you shoot 3 times. When you freeze all of them, if you shoot literally 1 bullet, they all explode. And a lot of people I see online using it never use it that way. They just shoot it a bunch of times, and that's all they do. And it just freezes the zombies and they don't die. It's like you have to shoot 1 bullet to kill the horde. Like I've never seen anybody on YouTube just shoot the 1 bullet to kill the horde. That's maybe like, I don't know if people just haven't tried that. That's how it works. But then you do the DEF CON room, and then I just ran in circles. And it was like my favorite thing in the world. And I would do it all the time. And I just have a special place in my heart for that map. People hated the scientist. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought the scientist was like a nice little challenge.
The Pentagon Thief.
Yeah, the Pentagon Thief. I liked him. I thought it was like a challenge. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fun. I thought it was hard. Didn't he drop a challenge too? If he didn't get anything, you would get like a free Pack-a-Punch weapon or something?
You get $1,000 Pack-a-Punch weapon. He drops if you don't lose a gun to him, and like you just kill him.
You'd get a bonfire sale power up.
You get a bonfire sale,
So
which
instead of
like
fire
gets
sale,
you.
bonfire sale.
Yeah,
Also-
I thought it was awesome.
It has one of the best glitches of all time.
It does.
Oh, the table glitch.
Yeah.
The table glitch.
Where you get in the
Me,
first room.
me,
yeah.
Brian, and
Yeah.
Richie must have played the table glitch at least 50,000 times. We would
It was
just
fun.
get up on there, and then you try to see how long you could survive, and then we'd be running out of ammo. We'd be like, "All right, we got to make a run for it," and then we try to like run out and like get all our shit, and then come back, and then try to get back on the table, and somebody has to hold the zombie while you're running around, and then I was like, somebody please get it.
And then leave it to Brian to always be the one that can't get back in the glitch. And he
Can't get
just-
back on the table.
Classic Brian. I do think my only part that makes me mad, because I know people aren't going to like it, but the one thing that makes me mad is people say they like Shangri-La for the same reasons that they say they hate 5. It's like super close quarters. It's got an interesting environment. Maybe to some people, the Pentagon is interesting. I thought the cast was interesting. I also
First
thought the
celebrity
intro.
cast.
Yeah, I thought the intro cutscene was so sick. Like,
I will say
intro
the
cutscene
intro
was hard.
cutscene.
calm
is-
down, Dick. Like,
Calm down, Nick.
I think the intro cutscene might be my favorite, and I had this
Yes.
listed as my last, or like last out of all of us, or lowest. I'm starting to look at my list though, and like I'm like, oh, I think I just really don't like the maps that are actually such close quarters. But the reason why is like, yeah, with 5, I find I just get stuck on stuff constantly, and that just aggravates the crap out of me. And maybe
Yeah.
I'm just bad. And then the other thing is just the wonder weapon. I mean, maybe I was part of the problem. Yeah, I wasn't doing what you said, but
It's
like
ass.
the wonder
I don't
weapon
care
just
what it says. It's
bother
still
the crap
ass.
out of me.
it's not so technically by the definition of what a wonder weapon should do, it's ass.
not.
But
Yeah.
What
It's
you
not a wonder
have to
weapon.
do is you have to shoot 3 times, swap, shoot 1 bullet, they all explode.
Yeah, but
that's
here's the problem.
That's how you
That's
do
a
it.
lot of ammo to use.
That's a lot of ammo, and it doesn't have a lot. And then you have to swap guns, which takes time. Shoot it, and then swap back. It's just not a. It's not a. That's not what wonder
So-
weapons are. I want to shoot one
Like I
shot,
said-
and then I just kill everything.
Like I said, it's one of my favorite. I know it's got its
sucks.
problems, but it's one of my favorites.
And yeah, so I don't know, but I do like I think the Pentagon and everything like that all around was great. I don't know. I didn't play it. I always played the other map that was on release.
The environment is like cool. The characters are cool. My thing with 5 doesn't have an Easter egg. The wonder weapons cheeks, and I feel like it just I don't see a ton of replayability personally. I don't know. It feels like once because like there doesn't feel like there's that many great camping spots on 5. And so once like the one way to play it, which is to train down in like the little DEF CON room, once like that kind of way to play, that's kind of it.
Or then
so,
the only other strat for the high round strat is you stay up top and you just use the traps. And you don't do anything. You just train and then you just turn the trap on and sit. Which I mean, a lot of maps have that, but still.
Yeah.
One thing that me and my friends would always do, which we thought was like incredibly fun and kind of like when you hit the oh shit moment, is you just hang out in the elevator and you're just shooting down that hall.
And then
As soon as you hit the they're all coming at you and you're like, we gotta all reload. Oh fuck, somebody by the elevator. We gotta go. And then you just you go down and you're like, we gotta go back up. Like that to me was like fun. You know what I mean? It was just like that hectic moment of like, oh shit, we gotta hit the oh shit button. Plus the cast. Like, I feel like they have such good lines. Like, JFK just goes off.
They do.
Fucking-
The voices are also like so over the top.
They're so over the top, dude. My favorite thing is with JFK. It's my
quotes.
favorite thing to do. If you don't have enough money for something, you can keep clicking X on it, and he'll go like this. But I want it. But I want it. But I want it. Like over and over and over and over again. And the most over the top JFK voice of all time. It's so funny. It's so funny. And I always have to listen to the intro cutscene until he's like, when he's like, calm down, Dick. I got to listen to that point every single time.
I will say
to.
that's the only cast where I remember me and my friends back in the day would like talk in the accent so much.
Yes.
And one of my buddies, if he was Richard Nixon, I got to take my headphones off to do this. He would always sit there and he'd go, the moment he'd load in, he'd go, Richard Nixon, and just shake his head like that. And it made me die laughing every time. Okay, that's number 14. That's 5. At number 13, we have the one that started it all, Nacht der Untoten.
I love this one.
I'm kind of surprised that it made it this high.
Yeah, it probably should have gone lower. I'm gonna be honest. I ranked it high because I was looking purely at just the Black Ops 3 version, which to me is the perfect. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, but we want to play zombies, so let's just load into this one and just run around for a little bit. Nacht der Untoten is great when you have perks on it. Like it's so sick when you're running around. I also think on the BO3 version it looks awesome. Like it just looks awesome.
Here's the thing. You're saying that you're the reason it got ranked high. We got to hear from Jumba because he actually had an
it was
8th
me.
overall.
You had an 8th?
So he had it 8th. Kyle has it 15th. Richie has it 11th. Wyatt, you had it 12th. I had it 18th.
Oh,
Look,
So let's hear from Jumba, and then I'll give mine, 'cause
what do
he's
you want
highest,
me to?
I'm lowest.
What do you want me to tell you? Like my list. I tried to be as objective as possible, but I just couldn't
What
for
do you
this
love
one.
about it?
It's the map that started it all. Think about
nostalgia.
it's the nostalgia. But think about even on like the first podcast that we talked about, and everyone talking about their first experience with Noct, and then especially Kyle talking about like when he actually got the experience of finishing
cutscene.
the campaign, the cutscene cuts in, and you want to talk about fear. I mean, I know I was a little kid, but like I have never been scared playing a zombies map except for fucking Noct. Like jump scares, like the fog of World at War, like as they walk in, like there's just so much like special things about it, and like there's no map you feel more helpless on than frickin' and Noct. Like getting to round like 15, 16 is an accomplishment on that map. And so I feel like when you take that all into account and the fact that we have a podcast that we're talking about this now, that we did all these Easter eggs and it all started off from this little fun little thing, like I put it at 8th but like, there's probably some people that would argue that it's probably the greatest map of all time because it was the inception of zombies. So I had to at least fit into my top 10 somehow. And like I said, like even like Wyatt said, if you think about it, sometimes there's like, you know, you just want to play a quick game of zombies or you're looking for that difficulty. I think Noct has more replayability than a lot of other maps because of how restrictive things are. Because it's like, if you really want that challenge, you throw in Noct and you just run it. Because also too, everyone knows Noct and it's not hard to learn.
No, it's a very small map, and it's like I remember we would do all kinds of bullshit on like World at War when we were just playing. We're like, hey, let's play Noct, but no box. We only buy wall weapons. And
Car
you're like,
98s. We did one time. We did only car 98s.
and we were just
Hard.
running around, and I was like, bro, we just had car 98s and pistols, and we were just like shooting them and running.
And you
I
want
was
to talk
like,
about OG camp spot? You just go upstairs, don't buy the fucking couch. I'll kick your ass if you buy the couch. Or like then you have a friend rebuilding the barrier and he accidentally hits the square on the couch and you're like, you just ruined the game, man. You just ruined the game.
You
Like,
fucked
what are we
us.
gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
you bought the couch. And so like,
That-
yeah, like you're all sitting in the corner. There's bouncing buddies on that map too, right?
yeah.
I don't
know.
think so.
Actually, I don't think so.
I think
No,
so.
no.
I don't think so. But regardless,
think
you'd all
so.
just sit
I think it started on
LMGs,
Verizon.
one guy with the ray gun in that corner,
One
and
dude
just,
with the scoped car too,
Yeah.
picking them off.
yeah, on the outside, honestly, is one of the only maps where it's like when you're sitting at the top and you're like looking out and like you're over the thing, you're trying to shoot as many zombies as possible before they get in. It was one of the only zombie maps as well that it feels like you really want to keep the zombies out of the building, right? Like everyone
Yeah.
else, you accept, okay, they're coming in. Whereas here, you're like, no, like we gotta defend the building, which you don't get that ever again. So yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
and
so-
I
go
feel
ahead.
like the car with the scoped car that you can buy in the little cabinet
The
up top, like that is like, you're like, what's in this fucking cabinet? It's 1,500. Like, is it even worth it? Like, do I buy this thing? And then you get it, and you're like, there's no difference between the car downstairs
one
and
on
this
the
one.
wall.
All it had
They
was
just
a scope.
slap the scope
It
on
is
it,
so
and magically
shit.
it's more powerful. I'm like, what the fuck?
Bro,
No, but it was even a troll.
like-
It was still bad. It wasn't great, but
It wasn't great,
good,
but it was better
for
than the
whatever
one
reason, it
downstairs.
was just better, like than the other one. And you're like, all it has is a fucking scope on
The
it. It's
fact
the
it
same
was
gun.
Slap the scope on
1,500.
that motherfucker.
The fact that it was 1,500 was fucking ridiculous.
yeah.
That
But
is
there also
crazy.
wasn't very
Ponzi
much.
scheme.
Also, wasn't very much to spend your points on though. So
Yeah, it's true.
All right,
I
Jay.
will say, I have it in 18th. I do have nostalgia playing like trench gun only with all the boys.
yeah,
Yeah.
I do have
There you
nostalgia
go.
playing that. But, and this, we talked about this in the first episode, World at War was not my first zombies experience, so I never had that campaign moment of playing the campaign and finishing it and being like, what the hell is this? So I don't have that nostalgia factor, and I think that makes me judge it a lot harsher because in terms of like playability, the only maps I have below it are Nuketown, Transit, and Die Rise, and that's because I would just rather play almost any other map than Noct because like the way that I view it is just what it is, which is like it's really small. There's not a lot to do. When I get to like round 8, I'm bored and I want to go do something else because like I said, I like maps where I have to do stuff. There's nothing to do on Noct, so it's just
That's
it
true.
is what it is.
And then
I
they have 2 solid glitch points in Knock too. So
Yeah, it was like next to the grenades on the wall, and then like one down
And then
below
by
next to the
the-
sandbags or something.
it was by the scope car. If you can dive into it and you just run the flamethrower and you just burn everybody.
yeah.
Oh, flamethrower was OP. I remember that.
Flamethrower.
It was the
you
only
ran
infinite damage gun.
so slow. You ran so slow, but it never ran out of ammo. I also
unlimited.
Jumba. I've never thought about what you said, but that is so true. It's like the only map where it was like, don't let them breach the building. Don't let them get in. I forgot about how vital I felt building windows was. Because even when I moved into the newer maps like Verrucht, Shino, and Darice, I'm building windows. People are like, stop doing that. I'm like, why? Like, I remember being like little, being like, I thought we were supposed to build these so they don't get it. Like, no, fuck that. Like, they're going to get it anyway. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this building windows thing is pretty vital.
Well, I won't lie. Like I'd been watching a bunch of like retrospectives from this one YouTuber. I don't even know his name. I should shout him out. But like he's done like every single map in Call of Duty. I've been watching them, and I had recently watched the Noct one. And so he mentioned about how like the game was developed to be almost like a tower defense game. And Verruct still has some of that feeling, but Verruct is still too big to like manage all the windows. And even though you stop rebuilding knocked ones at some point, like Richie mentioned, like you have a guy sitting at the top trying to snipe them outside the map to slow down how many get in the building. But then Deriz introduces Carpenter for the first time, because there's at that point you just accept that there's no way you're rebuilding all these barriers, but you have the Carpenter, and even though it doesn't matter that much, it's there to like fulfill that slowing down period. So yeah,
I feel that.
that was a really cool point.
Yeah.
So that is
Plus,
Oh, go
Noct
ahead.
is the first time you get to see the ray gun.
True.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yes.
about you, but like, I remember like seeing the ray gun for the first time and being like, "What the fuck is this?"
I
like
remember
it just
my-
pops.
Also,
pops
old
out
ray
of the
gun was
box.
badass. It actually
Old ray gun
was
was
really
good.
good.
I remember
ray gun was
wanting
OP.
my friends to die so I could go hit the box and get the ray gun. That's how excited that shit made me.
dude.
I was
Like,
like,
person who got the ray gun,
you
you'd
got
gloat
it,
about
bro.
it.
Oh, so unfortunate. I can't get you. Fuck.
You get it, you get it,
Yeah.
and you get the little noise that goes yeet, and
Yeah.
then you just like fucking
Yeah.
clicks on. You're like, bro, this is kind of sick. And then you
Like-
shoot like a green ball. You're like, oh, dude,
Pick me up. I
This
got
is
ray gun.
dope.
Pick me up. I got ray gun. It's like, I don't think I will. I don't think I will.
I don't think I will.
You know the ray gun actually was in the campaign. There's like an Easter egg in the campaign. for
Yeah,
it.
in like the
yeah.
second
Yeah.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
All right, so that is knocked. It is 13th. The next two maps are close, like because once again we did our cumulative average. Everything. It's actually funny that everything inside of the top 10 was a lot closer, and everything outside of the top 10. It seemed like we had a clear consensus. But at number 12, we have Shangri-La.
I feel like that's a
This
decent
this is
spot
a
for it.
decent spot for it, I think. I
Yeah.
think there's times where you're like, man, maybe I don't realize how good Shangri-La was, and then you play it and you get stuck on the thing, and you're just like, all right, I'm pissed. I'm
I
pissed
think I
off
would
again.
significantly like Shangri-La more if that one section just didn't exist.
Yes, I said this like a few nights ago. I was like, if the little spikes were not there, or at least if like the mud
Oh,
was
I'm talking
not
about the
there.
mud. Yeah, just the mud section or like the random run. You just take that part out. I actually don't mind.
I'm
that
good.
much, but like,
Just take
Yeah.
one of them out, one or the other. I
yeah.
don't care which one. One or the other.
Here's what I'll say about Shangri-La. I feel like with the two maps that came before it, being Kino and Ascension, they were so easy, and they saw that feedback on how easy those maps were that they wanted to make Shang really hard. And so everything about it is intentionally difficult. Like, it's just all the claustrophobic stuff. It's the little, and all like the mud. There's like the fire zombies that can just blow up next to you, and they're super quiet. You just don't even know they're coming outside of like your screen getting hot. There's the shriekers that blur your vision. Like, everything about it is supposed to be hard. But at the same time, I appreciate it for that. And I think that that baby gun is one of the most badass things.
One of the best
Yeah.
weapons of all
like
time.
that.
One of the
Weapons
best wonder
ever.
weapons of all time.
It's so sick.
I also like the fact that I think this is the first map where you actually get, because you have the cart, right, as an escape method, and you also have the
Yeah.
slide as an escape method. So I
And
like
you have
that they.
the water launchers to go
Yes.
up too.
So I like those. The water launchers take a little too long, like if you do get stuck in those. But I mean, they still help you get around the map faster.
Yeah, it's a
You don't
nice
have
piece
to-
of fast travel.
Yeah.
It was also the first time. I think Shang is the first time they introduced stamina up, isn't it?
I don't know.
No,
Or
that was
stamina
Ascension.
up Ascension.
It was
Yeah,
Ascension.
It was on
Ascension.
Ascension.
I my other thing with Shang though too is like, and I know it was still really early for Easter eggs and everything like that, but I remember when we wanted to set out doing this whole let's play every Easter egg, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be so fun. And then like Ascension was just kind of fun just because of the vibes, and like it was the only time we actually played to a high round or finished the Easter egg and kept playing. But then like Shang, I was excited to see what it was all about. And then we did like 90% of the Easter egg on round 3.
Yeah.
So it's not that fun at that point when you're just going around the map on round 3 as we had Connor doing circles and we're collecting shit. And then the only reason I think we ended up finishing it, I think, on round 8. And the only reason why is because we had to wait a couple rounds for the fire zombie to spawn in. And then once that happened, we just had to like, we had to figure out the gongs and shooting the little things. Wasn't that fun? Like, yeah, so, and it was like, again, it was early, but it's just like, it was so basic that we could do 90% of the Easter egg in round 3. I was like, this is lame.
It
And
was
then we had the catch where I caught the dynamite.
Catch. Yeah,
true.
Shout out.
True. I will say though, Shang felt like the first like true Easter egg. I know
Yeah.
technically Ascension is, but Ascension's like There's not really a lot that you really do. It's like you throw the Gersh device, you go do a couple other things, and you shoot the hell out of that ball. That's kind of it. Where like Shang, it felt like there's like actual steps. Like, oh my gosh, I got to shoot this dynamite. Somebody else has to catch it. And then we got to go place it over here. And then, we got to shoot. We got to turn it to nighttime and then match up these things, hit these specific gongs. It was like actual Easter egg steps. I think the only downfall of that Easter egg is, like Jumba said, the fact that you can literally just infinitely on one round keep going back into like the Twilight whatever thing. I don't know what the official name's called, but into that mode and just keep doing the steps in a row, to where in future Easter eggs they gatekeep that a lot more, where it's like, no, you have to go to the next round. Like, you can't just do this immediately. You got to like keep playing the game. So yeah, I think that's the only downfall of Shang. So that was number 12. And then at 11, like I said, top 10, there's like a clear delineation, especially in terms of the numbers here. But at 11, we have Kino der Toten.
Just easy.
Yeah. I had this one really low. I had it 17th.
I had it 16th.
My thing with Kino, and it may just be a burnout factor. Like I said, lived in the foothills, had 2 maps. I might have burned myself out on it because I played it so much, but it also is one of the easier maps out there. Like it is easy. I will say, as far as vibe goes, when I still remember the place I was the first time I played it. And I think anytime a map has that kind of effect on you, I think that's a big deal. Like I still remember the exact moment I was when I played that map for the first time. So I think that's really cool. And I think Black Ops 1, yeah, it's just too easy. And like it doesn't have some of the other aspects that other Black Ops 1 maps had. Like it would be so hard for me to put this map above any of the other Black Ops 1 maps. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, for sure. My thing is just like, if you ask any Zombies player what's the most iconic map, I think they'd put this, like they'd say Kino before they even said
I agree.
Rock
I agree
Deriz,
with that.
actually. Like maybe it'd be really hard to fight with Deriz, but the reason I'm saying Kino is because Black Ops 1, I think, is like the #1 most sold Call of Duty, if you don't count stuff like Warzone. So like if you like with that, there's just so many people that played Kino. If you say what's the most iconic Zombies map to like a big huge mass audience, they're gonna say Kino. And so that's why
agree with that.
I threw mine up into my top 10. I'm not upset with it. Mine was just 10th, so I'm not upset with it falling to 11th.
Yeah, it's basically Zombies was like kind of underground in World at War. Black Ops 1 was where it was like, okay, now this is the real deal. Like Zombies is the real deal, and people are going to know about it, and it's going to grow and it's going to get big, and that's what happened. So I agree with that. It was just very boring, I guess. It was just super boring. I hated the Nova Zombies too. Oh my god, I hated the Nova Zombies so much. I hated them. I think I exclusively died to Nova Zombies on Kino der Toten.
For a guy who likes 5, I mean, yeah, I don't know how you could do
so
that
true.
and hate Nova Zombies.
To be
Well,
fair,
if you
though,
don't
5,
go down to the lower level, I don't think you get them.
No.
And I never
No.
did go down to the lower level unless it was to get the box.
True.
yeah, to where Kino, it's like you get him in the entire building. You have to go outside to avoid him.
Yeah, once
So-
you turn on the power, like they just start coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing with Kino, the reason I rated it so low is it's my first ever map, so I have the nostalgia for it. But at the same time, I just don't ever feel like, man, I want to go back and play Kino, because it's like you just get the thunder gun and you just train on the stage. That's
Well,
it.
like you
that's
said,
kinda how
you're
you
the guy
play.
that likes to do stuff, and realistically, there's
Yeah.
nothing to do on Kino.
There's no Easter egg.
Yeah.
There's not like really anything to do, and even in terms of like, I just don't have like nostalgic moments of like different play styles on Kino either. It was just kind of like when you play Kino, you train at the freaking the stage.
The
That was
stage,
kind of
yeah.
it. And then when you play with multiple people, one guy trains there. Whoever your best player is can train outside, because although it's small, like you actually can train there. And then you have somebody else that like can train over in the spawn room, and you just figure out other train spots, and that's kind of it. So, yeah.
Yeah. I will say the first time the Thunder Gun shows up is in that
I
map,
do appreciate that,
which,
because I
which
love
is
the Thunder
nice.
Gun.
Yeah. A lot of people love the Thunder Gun. It's not one of my favorite wonder weapons. I think it does the job that it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like, you pull one trigger, they're all dead.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, and there's no the one thing I didn't like about the Thunder Gun is there's no drawback to it. Like
Yep.
like
Well,
the Wonder
the only
Waffle, if you
drawback-
shot it too close to you, it's like, fuck, man, I don't have jug for a fucking round. Like,
Yeah.
I fucked myself.
Yeah.
But like the Thunder Gun's just like, I'm just gonna fucking click the trigger and these
Yeah.
guys are all gonna die and then I'm out.
The only drawback is the ammo. But even then, if you know what you're doing and you're not spamming it and you just hoard, shoot, then you should get a max ammo at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is our bottom 10 or 11. Then we are now into the top 10. Like I said, there's a clear delineation here because in terms of the averages, Kino, the numeric average is 12. The one above it is 9.4, which is, I think, the biggest jump of any of the spots here. And at number 10, we have Call of the Dead.
Oh, wow. I thought Call of the Dead would go higher.
I thought it would too. I had it ranked 6th. Jumba had it 11th. Kyle had it 10th. Richie had it 14th. And Wyatt had it 6th as well. We both had it 6th.
Damn,
Richie
I
said it
like the character selection in this one. This one's another one of those ones where it's like JFK and the boys.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, it's just a bunch of cool characters. You got
freaking
Freddy
Danny
Krueger,
Trejo. Yeah.
Danny Trejo,
Michael
Buffy the
Rooker.
Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and who's the last one? I forget who the fourth.
It's Michael
person
Rooker,
is.
the guy from Walk of the Dead.
Yeah. That
yeah.
guy. He's fucking sick. Like, especially the scene. The opening scene makes me laugh every time because he's got 2 double barrels.
Yep.
And he shoots 5 shots.
Yep.
Bro, I was like,
And
where'd
so-
the 5th one come from?
And so it's just the best thing because he shoots somebody, shoots somebody, shoots somebody, shoots somebody, and then he aims at the camera and shoots you. And I'm like, that's 5 shots.
The opening
He's
scene's
got a
also
double barrel.
janky as hell because a zombie comes in and picks up George Romero and runs away with him like some Mario villain. Zombies are supposed to be like eating humans.
like, I
but
wanna eat you,
They're
not
like,
like,
we're
oh.
taking George Romero. We're getting out of here.
He's our dog now.
Yeah.
I've always wondered with the cutscene. I cut out briefly, so I don't know if you guys said this, but like it's always like they're first of all they're acting, and then he takes the shotgun and it never swaps out, and he shoots the zombie with the shotgun. I was like, were you aiming that at actors? Like that's something that's always had in my head. I'm like, bro, you just killed a
there's
zombie.
that.
You're aiming for shotguns at the
Obliterated
actors.
that dude.
Yeah. No, it's
Michael Rooker is hardcore, man. All right.
He is. He is. I
He does
think
all his own
Call-
stunts.
I think Call of the Dead's tough too because it's one of the few maps that like never really. I guess it kind of got remastered on Black Ops 4 with Tagder Toten, but it's not really the same map.
It's different. They expanded
it's-
it so much, and there's no George. It's not Call of the Dead.
No,
Yeah,
sure.
I wish if there is a Zombie Chronicles 2, Call of the Dead has to be the premier
be.
map on that. Like it has to be because I feel like there's a lot of people who didn't get to experience Call of the Dead like when it came out. It was at the time. If we're doing this list, like probably let's say
Think about
right
it.
at
Every
the end of
BO1
Black
map
Ops
has
1.
come back.
Yeah.
Every single one, except for 5 technically. But even like Classified is kind of the same experience minus the Pentagon Thief.
Yeah. So I really think that one should headline it. I really liked it. I thought there was a good mix up of a lot of things. Really, I guess my only problem with it would be like the VR11 just being complete
Yeah.
ass.
We are a VR11 podcast, so you know.
We do
we're-
support
we're
the
not a
VR11. We do
podcast.
support
We're
it
not.
on
As
this
someone who has
show.
called it at 6th, me and White are the highest ranked people. We are not a VR11 podcast.
I will stand for the VR11 stands.
No, we will
you know,
not.
I do wish it was just. You know what? They should. I feel like they're bringing the jet gun back and they're going to make it better. They need to do the same thing with the VR11. Bring it back. Make it a little bit better. I do appreciate the
Dog.
fact that every time you shot a zombie 2, he's always wearing
No.
a suit. That's just so funny to me.
There's no way we go
That's
from
just so
Thunder
funny to
Gun
me.
into Winter's Howl into Baby Gun. So like Goat, ass. Goat, VR11 Scavenger, both ass. There's no way, bro. Like,
Okay, hold on. The
whoa,
scavenger.
do we consider the
Scavenger's not
Scavenger a wonder
ass.
weapon?
It's a wonder weapon, yes.
Then it's ass.
It was
not
If it's a
ass.
normal gun, it's not. But from a wonder weapon perspective, it sucks. Damage falls off by like round 18, and it just sucks.
Yeah, it's
But
not
it's a
great-
monkey bomb when you upgrade it.
It still sucks. There's like no ammo.
So
in
is
that
so
thing.
is the crossbow.
I could also
true.
just get the
So-
monkey bomb. Like,
Yeah. No. I
Does
actually
the
like
monkey bomb have a scope on it?
the reason the reason that like Call of the Dead falls down the list for me is actually like literally because of that is that like the wonder weapons just like it's I think one of the only maps that introduced 2 wonder weapons and just crazy that both of
They
them kind of
suck.
sucked. Like are you kidding me? So like
Like the odds on it of doing good is like we could hit 50%. They went 0 for 2.
I don't know another map that's brought 2 wonder weapons. Like
the high round
too
strat
new.
on that, they have to literally get what's called PhD, and for a certain number of rounds can exclusively kill with flopper because like you can't just sit there and roll for VR11s forever. You can't
Actually, there's even a newer strat, which is even worse than that.
Yeah, they
So
keep zombies out of the map.
They have to
They
keep
don't let them
zombies
spawn.
out of the map till the zombies can just die on their own because there's not enough powerful weapons or then there's no traps, so they can't kill the zombies fast enough, or there's like some sort of thing in the code that just loads too much because the game runs too long and will crash before round 100. So the only way to hit round 100 is they have to rebuild the barrier constantly and force the zombies to stay out of the map.
It's a very specific spot they have to do it too.
Isn't the highest round only like 92 or something?
No, they
on
finally
that?
broke
hit
100
They
by
hit
100.
doing this
100.
strat where they just rebuild the barrier, don't shoot anything, and it's all about a matter of time and speed. Like it's like they have to like just pray that stupid thing in the background doesn't build up fast enough and doesn't crash your game.
Because there's
There we
some
go.
the backstory that there's some glitch where like if the zombies they sit at the barrier for too long, they'll just die, and it counts it as like them like you killing them basically.
Yeah, it
you don't
doesn't
get a
respawn
kill,
them.
but
It doesn't
doesn't
respawn
respawn them. Yeah.
This Easter egg was also awesome. Like the way that it starts to the way it ends. I know that the prize isn't great, but when you first load into the map and you hear all of your characters behind the wall and they're like, "Hey, help us out," you're like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck?"
The
It
fact
feels
that they
so cool.
incorporated them with the celebrity cast was cool because you're like, I'm playing as Danny Trejo interacting with Rick Toppin, bro.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
we got drunk Nikolai back there yelling at me.
One
as
of the
Danny
steps is you have to
Trejo.
knock the vodka down. Like that.
Yeah.
I think that's like
Yep.
the first step.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, so it's like that's one of the. I think it's a good map. I think it also is the perfect intersection of like hard and also fun at the same
Yeah.
time. Like it's very hard. Like it's a difficult map. Like you said, they just broke 100 now, but it is hard. You know, it is hard.
I was gonna say that's a lot credit to George because
Yeah.
you cannot camp on that map. So like I love
No.
Verruct because of the fact that you have to camp, or you don't have to, but you can camp really well on the map. I love Call of the Dead because you cannot camp. Like it's literally impossible with George. You can train, but even then, that one train spot becomes a lot harder when you got freaking George running around. When you shoot him on accident, he gets pissed, and you got to lead him all to the water, and you got to get out of there with the whole horde right there. You know, so. Yeah, and then when you kill him too, you also get like free perk. You get a death machine or a wonder waff if you've done the Easter egg. I like that.
Yeah.
Real quick, before we go to the next one, if we're going to talk about the Easter eggs, I'm telling you guys, I'm exhausted today. We're going to have to motor through here a little bit.
Okay.
All right,
All right. We can do that.
The Easter egg should be quick too because it's only 3, and we don't
Yeah.
have like a lot of iconic moments.
No problem.
Okay, so that's Call of the Dead. That's number 10. At number 9, once again, clear delineation between this because we actually jumped by 2, which I think is the next biggest jump. So we had a very clear top 9. We have Ascension.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
Ascension
I
is
like
just very
Ascension.
solid. I guess the problem is it's a little easy, but it introduced a
easy.
lot. It introduced 2 brand new perks, I believe, in Stamina,
Stamina up and PhD.
And PhD. It introduced the monkeys, which
Yeah.
were very cool and different from the dogs, and it really fed into the map real well. You also started off on black and white. When you turn on the power, then all the color comes back in. You have like all these cool little things, the landers. It just introduced a lot for the time. Like it was
First ever
it was
Easter
a-
egg too.
First ever
Mainline.
Easter egg, big jump. It was just a big jump from what we were used to, and so I love it. Really, once again, though, the only downside is it's just very easy. Like it's super
Yeah.
easy.
I don't think
Lots of
easy is
train
always
spots.
a bad thing though, because like sometimes you do want to just hop in and like, especially for like newer players, it can't. And like obviously, like we've ranked a lot of the hard ones lower, but we can't just like. Even Black Ops 3, I think, suffers from the fact of like there being too much to do that like it makes it hard for newer players to get in. So I think Ascension is like a perfect map, even when you have like the remastered versions for someone who's like never really played before to get in and start understanding like what zombies is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a top 5, but I understand it sitting down there at 9. Like it's more of a personal thing for me. Obviously, it's my list, but it's just sometimes, like you said, Jumba, it's nice to have easy. It's easy.
I will say I'm the only person who did not put it inside my top 10. I had it at 12. Although it did innovate in some ways, I don't love when maps like repeat certain things. Like the fact that it just brought back the Thunder Gun. I didn't love that, especially considering how easy the map is. The Thunder Gun is a big reason why it's so easy because you just go get in that one train spot, get your Thunder Gun, all gone, you know? So didn't love that. And also, I like the monkeys, but they're also kind of annoying. Like, you
fucking hate
do
the
get
monkeys.
a reward, but it just, there's nothing that gets you more annoyed than when those damn monkeys just steal your perk, and you're like, are you kidding me, dude?
You pieces of
Are you
shit.
kidding? And they also do, like, a lot of damage, too, so, like,
They
when
fuck
we
you
did our
up.
Easter egg run, I'm pretty sure, like,
One
at
of us
least a
died.
couple of
Might have
us
been
went
me.
down.
One
I
of
think
us
me and-
died, I think.
It might have been me while I was defending Jug.
Yeah, so...
They
Yeah.
fuck you up.
Yeah. And then I don't know why they had to put that thing in the spawn room. I really don't know why. Like, why did we have to put the big twirly thing that can kill you?
Oh,
There's
to
no-
establish a piss corner. That's probably why.
I know. So,
Well, I think also the crazy thing about the monkeys is it's like, great, you defended all your perks. Here's this gift of a new perk that you have
Defend
to
that
defend.
one now.
Yeah, now
the
you have to
next
defend that
time
one,
they
bro.
show up. I was like, all right, fuck you too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this is the worst
and
thing.
so when you play solo, you literally just can't, bro. So you just
No.
guard Jug because you're like, this is the most important one, and you just let him take something else.
Yep.
You just like, fuck it.
Whenever I would play solo, I would avoid opening up spots for new perks just because I was like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
if they take all my other perks, at least the next time they show up, I know I'm going to get a free perk. And well, hopefully it's something that's hidden behind a door that they can't get to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is Ascension at number 9. And then at number 8, and I think this one actually got a huge bump considering that we have played Black Ops 3. Because if we did this list before we did, I think this would have been a lot lower. We have Shadows of Evil.
Garbage.
Yeah.
Shadows, man. Shadows, man. I
Wait.
love this map.
Read out the. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Okay.
I want to hear the personal rankings
And
because
the
I
reason
know I
Jumba's
have.
asking,
I know I
Jumba
have
put it
really
number
high.
2. So I do want to
Oh,
give
you
You put
Jumba...
number 2?
Yeah.
I want to give Jumba his space because
Alright.
when we talk about the maps, actually, speaking of which, before we go Shadows, Rich, do you have anything you want to say more about Ascension? Because you did have it number 3.
No. I mean, I love Ascension, but nah, nothing
Okay.
crazy to add.
All right, so Jumba had Shadows of Evil number 2. I had it number 10. Kyle had it number 9. Richie did not rank it, but when he did, it was dead last. It was 21st.
I did play
He
Shadows.
did play
of-
Shadows.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with that original ranking of
hated it.
21. I
We
hated
just
that
aren't
map.
including it in the cumulative score. That was the map that got literally destroyed by Richie's rankings. I think if we put it in, it would have been like 16th or something
That's
like that.
Rightfully so.
Crazy.
Because he put it 21st. He put it dead last.
What did
and
Wyatt rank
Wyatt
it?
had it number 8. So we all kind of had it around the 8 to 10 range. Jumba had it number 2.
Jumba?
Maybe it's recency bias. I don't think so. But like the thing is like, and I don't want to get too far ahead of the list, but like I know that like everyone really treats Origins as one of the best maps, and then Mob of the Dead as one of the best maps. And if you really think about it, like Shadows of Evil is just Origins and Mob of the Dead kind of like mushed into one. I like the atmosphere. I had a lot of fun with the Easter egg, even though like I guess I didn't experience all like the really like bad moments you guys had
There
with
was a
it.
lot of
So
pain.
like I didn't
lot of
experience that. Like I enjoyed the Easter egg outside of the freaking one glitch.
You
that
were
we
there
had.
for the glitch part,
Yeah,
though, which was
other-
probably the worst of the moments
Yeah.
because it literally felt like we didn't
Lowest
do
of the
anything
low.
wrong, dude.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's the thing. Like we didn't do anything. I was enjoying the steps up until that part. The funny thing is if you asked me this when Black Ops 3 came out, I probably would have put Shadows of Evil as one of the worst maps. Like I
That's what I'm
remember
saying.
not liking it when it came out, but I think it's
Same.
aged really well. Like same with Jay, like going around doing all the different steps. I like the opening up the pack-a-punch. I like I don't know. There's a lot of it. The Margwas were introduced for the first time. It was the first time. Well, I guess we had the Panzers, but another kind of like real like boss feel. Like I said, like it was Origins and Mob of the Dead combined, 2 great maps, and it kind of brought the best of both. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I have a lot of fun of it, and I think there's a lot of replayability in it because of that reason. So that's why I put it at second. Because I mean, if you want to hear my top 3 later, you'll see. I guess you'll see why. Like.
when we get to the end after we do the whole cumulative list, we can all maybe mention our top 3s and
Yeah.
or maybe like our top 4 or 5, whatever your gap is that you feel like these are like the clear cut best. The reason personally I had it at 10, I agree I would have put it hella low if we didn't play BO3. It skyrocketed up my list. I just don't have the same level of nostalgia or enjoyment or like care to go play it as much as I do with some of the maps I put above it. I don't know, just I really enjoyed it as a map. I thought it was really good. Like it's in my top 10. I would definitely go play it again. I like doing stuff on all the maps, but at the same time, and we'll talk about, you know, when we get later down the road on my top 3. Like you said, with Origins and Mom of the Dead, and I just said I don't love when things kind of rehash stuff. It didn't feel like it really innovated as much as I wanted it to, because the maps that I already love, it kind of just did the same things they did. And I love those maps because of the way they innovate. So, also, I freaking hate the Margwas. I'm going to be real. I do not enjoy Margwas. Like, they just, it's not
I
even that
actually
they
hate
feel
Panzers
hard.
way more. Like,
See, to me, Panzers
I
feel
struggle
easier
with those
because I
guys.
can just deal with them. To where the Margwas, it's not even that they're hard. It's the tedious nature of waiting for them to open their freaking mouth. Like, just open it so I can kill you, dog. I'm sitting here just running around backwards, waiting for you to open it, and then pop, and like we're good. But yeah, so I don't love Margwas. But yeah,
Top 5 environment map though. Like for
yeah.
me,
Same,
top
I
5
agree.
environment map.
I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Also, great cast.
yeah.
I was gonna say I don't really care for the celebrity cast. I don't really
What?
like the
Jeff
characters.
Goldblum fucks.
The characters themselves are cool, and I like Jeff Goldblum because Jurassic Park. Shout out to my buddy who you know. But other than that, I don't really care for the other 3 characters, and the freaking cops' voice lines are so damn
Yeah,
annoying.
the cop
like,
is
shut
the worst
up,
one.
bro.
The cop is the worst one by
If
far.
you get the cop, you just like
Mute.
fuck me.
You
You're
just
for this
screwed.
whole
You're
match.
just screwed.
Yeah.
Everybody else is fine. The cop, he's okay. Shout out
Yeah.
the guy, I guess, from Sons of Anarchy too. The
I
boss.
That guy's
definitely,
sick.
he's good.
I definitely
He's
might have
also
some.
plays Hellboy.
Definitely might have some recency bias, but when I was really sitting there looking at this list, and I was like, if I wanted to pick up and go play a map right now, that's what I was like really trying to think of, like for my top maps. And for some reason, I just kept thinking of Shadows. It's also do Apothecary Servant pretty sick. I'm like, it has the ability to train if you want. Like there's so many different reasons. Like you could do high round, you could do Easter egg. I don't know. I thought it was like a map where I was like, that's a map that like I enjoy playing, like multiple times in a row. Yeah. So.
Also, before we did like the Easter egg run and everything, I had never really used the sword,
Oh,
and
me
I was
neither.
like, and
As
I
is
was
the
like,
Civil Protector too. Shout out.
yeah, and I was like, man, this map's like okay. Like the Apothecary Servant's like one of the best wonder weapons. I like it. I think it's good. And then, but you get the sword, and the sword is just so cool. You're like, this is just something that like we've never really had before. Like they had put like the Annihilator in the game and shit like that, but like the Annihilator blows like on round 20. Like it's just terrible. The sword was good like through the whole thing, and I was like, every single time we get in like an oh shit moment, you just pull out the sword. It flies around, just kills shit for you. I was like, this is the coolest thing. You know what I mean?
Sword's great. The
And then-
sword is
Sword's
great.
cool.
Wait, there was one last thing I was going to mention about it.
While you wait for that, I will say every time I wall run to go pack a punch, I think I'm gonna fall off and die.
Yeah,
every
same.
single
Yeah.
time on that
I
map.
did.
It's not even like scary, dude. Like it's so easy, and why it freaks out about
No,
it every time.
it's
I
the
freak out
way
every time.
it's the way it connects on that specific wall on that map. Like that one, I
is a little
always
weird.
feel like I'm
It is
gonna
a
fall
little
off.
The
I always
only
feel like
time
I'm
I
gonna
have
fall off.
ever died on that wall run was there was one time that a zombie like cock blocked me, and I just fell because of it. That's it. Otherwise, I've
Worst
never
feeling.
failed to get to the wall.
I didn't die there. I failed the slide jumping off the middle to get back, and I fell under there. That being said, it was when the glitch happened, and I was absolutely livid because I'm like, fuck, we got this deep, and the glitch happened, and so I was just running. I failed the slide jump. I fell off. I didn't even care at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and like you know what? I think there's a lot of reasons to bias. Honestly, I know we were stressed out of our minds, but
No.
that final step with the infinite Margwas will be a core gaming memory for an
I was
I'll
gonna say,
never
stand
forget
your
that.
ground, dude.
It
Stand
will.
your ground, because I will say you
I'll
didn't
never
have
forget that.
You didn't have the failed attempts we had,
Yeah.
where like we were so like, because although I think we have a negative bias about Shadows, so the fact that we all still put a top 10, I'm proud of us. Because a lot of people put it higher. I think we have a negative bias. Number one, because of when we played Black Ops 3, we thought it was trash. And then number two, because we had the negative experience on the Easter eggs. And to this day, it is the only one that we failed and had to wait a week before we attempted it again because we failed on a Sunday. And then we were just like, all right.
Can't do it,
So
yeah.
we just stirred on our failure for a whole week. And it was, and then even when we brought it back, after thinking about how we sucked the last week, we're like, we're going to figure it out. We're going to get this. Then we get the dumbass glitch. So
Yep.
it's like, it ruined us. It
It
pounded
ruined
us
us.
into the dirt.
I think I said after we finished it, I was like, I'm never fucking playing this map ever again.
You did.
I was like, I'm never touching this. But I ranked
And
it
you
8.
put it 8th.
It's crazy. It's crazy because instead I'm like, I want to play this map.
Yeah. So I think we have a negative bias that is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
fair
yeah.
to the map because
Yeah.
of the Easter egg experience we had.
Yeah. One thing I will say that did kind of upset me though is every single time you get a different starting pistol, there's always like a different upgrade to it.
I agree.
When this one, it's just the Mustang and Sally's all
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, dude, at least do something different with it. Like fucking make it shoot something else. Make it do something
Like
different. Make
Origins, it would have been
shotgun.
cool if like Origins, the Origins pistol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where you fucking can shoot it and it's like a fucking laser beam. Like
Yeah.
that's
Right.
sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so that was number 8. At number 7, and some context, before, when I was getting each of y'all's individual rankings, I was putting in the spreadsheet. It was doing, where it was. This map was actually, at one point, our number 1 before Jumba and Kyle came in. And that's specifically because Wyatt and Richie ranked this map hella high. And it is arguably the most iconic map of all time. It is Derice at number 7.
At 7?
At 7?
That's
That's
crazy.
dog shit.
I originally
That's
had it.
crazy.
I originally had it
Here's
1.
the spots.
I originally
Here's the
had it
spots.
1, and then I changed
Jumba
it.
did have it 1. He changed. So Richie has it number 1. Wyatt has it number 3. Kyle has it number 6. Jumba has it number 5. I have it number 7.
Kyle, why would you put it
just-
at 6?
Let me explain. So through our journey of playing many of the other maps, which a lot of them, I'm going to say, Rich, you have not had the experience
Exactly.
of yet.
I agree.
Fair.
I will say I've played a lot of Derice in my life, like an absolute fuckload. From
Yeah.
when it first dropped on World at War, when it comes out, like, and all the other Black Ops, like when you replay it again, it's always fun. Like you play
It
with your
is.
friends, you're doing the same shit, you're getting the teleporters, you're fucking pack-a-punching. I remember the first time pack-a-punching and just thinking like, oh my God, this is so cool. You know what I mean? But like, for me, I would replay it, but there's other maps above them that I would rather replay because
Same.
to me, it doesn't have any exclusive weapons that I'm like, I want to play with this particular gun or I want to do this. Like, it doesn't have that for me. So it's just a good map. Like, if you want to, it's kind of like Knocked, where it's like, we have some time here. I want to play zombies, but you
You
just
want
go
a
back
little
to
bit more of a
Derice.
challenge than not.
Yeah,
So
go
you
back
do the
to
TPs.
Derice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and play there and do your circle, or you can camp if you want. The best thing about Derice is there's so many different play styles that you can play there.
Yeah.
Like you can just sit on the catwalk if you want to. You could run circles. There's just a plethora of different things that you can do on that map, which makes it so fun and iconic. But I don't think that it's one that like gets in the top 5 for me because there's other maps that I'm like, oh, this one has like this particular gun, or you get to do this particular thing, or we get this really cool shield or a weapon or something. And I'm like, I kind of want to feel that, I want to feel that in this moment.
That's fair. I think for me, and I could be speaking for Richie as well, if I could only pick like 3 maps in the world where I had like this is all I get, the reason I put Derice in that top 3 is because still to this day, when I play Derice, original Derice, the Giant kind of sucks. It's mostly the weapons that are on the Giant. But to this day, whenever I play Derice on World at War, even the Black Ops 1 version, there's like you said, those different play styles that you can play with. I still have never really found like a training spot that is like 100% like locked down. This is the easiest thing in the world, like a map like Ascension or some of
It's
those
the
other
spawn
ones.
room.
I don't use the spawn room. I have never used the
Spawn room is the goated spot. The spawn room is so easy to train in there with a figure 8 up the stairs.
That's fair.
Stairs,
I
drop
think
down, go back to you just do a little figure 8. Anyway.
I've never done that, so maybe that's like where it would be. But like that's what makes it fun for me is like every single time I try a new spot, I'm always like trying to figure out and tinker with the different ways that I can try and do different things. I also just think that weapon set was so perfect for that map. Like in the World at War one, it was just so good. The original version of like getting the pack-a-punch, doing all that kind of stuff. Like I just can't really imagine it not being in my top 3 just because of like I still to this day like get excited to play that original version of it because I feel like I'm always in for a challenge no matter what. Maybe that's just me. I still feel like it's challenging at times, especially on the World at War version where you try to split a gap of 2 zombies and you just hit an invisible wall. You're just stuck. You're like, how am I stuck right now? You kind of lose that in the Black Ops 3 version, but I still feel like it's one of the best ones. I think the environment is still one of the best for me. It even had like that mini Easter egg on World at War where you had to go play hide and seek, which, you know, was a little bit before its time. I just love that map to death. I love it so much.
From level of like being iconic, yeah, it's up there. And then I just find it funny that like I respect that you're saying that you always try to tinker and figure out the best strategy on like a 15 or 20-year-old map that has probably been figured out. That's
Yeah.
We know all the
there's
strats,
probably
bro. The
like
catwalk
there's
camping, the
literally
spawn
no
room. Yeah, we know
more
all the
tinkering that can be done on that map. And why it's like I'm still trying though.
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
elevator
never,
strat from 5 that Kyle mentioned, where you just sit in a TP and you just camp until you get overrun, you TP immediately. You know, like
yeah,
the strats are figured out.
Yeah, there's probably strats. I don't really go back and like, if I'm ever looking up zombie videos, I'm not looking up strats. I'm usually just looking up the Easter egg. But like, I don't know. I still enjoy going back
No,
on
like
this
I said,
map
I
and like
respect it.
messing around with it in my own way and like trying new things and be like, what if I just chilled here instead and just see how it goes? And yeah, I don't know. I just can't imagine not putting a top 3 for me just because I still to this day like mess around with it.
No, I love it. And actually, funny enough, because the Giant, if I ever want to play a World at War map, I go back to Derice or the Giant as the map. But it just comes down to the, like, since we did all these runs again, there's a few other maps. I'd just be like, I want to play those more.
Yeah, there's some great
Yeah.
maps out there.
All right, so Richie, go ahead actually, because you were the one who had it number 1.
Yeah,
so get on your soapbox.
I actually, you know, hard to believe I put, you know, Derice above Die Rise, but yeah.
Insane
Tough
statement.
pick. Tough pick.
It
Are you
was
sure it
tough
wasn't a
decision.
typo? Are you sure it wasn't a typo? and it was supposed to say
I'm
Die
still
Rise?
convinced Richie puts Die Rise so high because he thinks it's Derice. Just when he sees it, he quickly scans and just says Derice, you know?
Yeah, that's always gonna be my favorite map of all time. I think I never got burnt out on Derice. So, you know, back in the day playing in, you know, 8th grade and still even in high school, I never got burnt out on Derice. I actually played the Black Ops 1 version on my Xbox 360 last night, which I still like the Black Ops 1 version because they do incorporate most of the World at War guns on the wall. But yeah, that's my favorite map. I'll never get tired of it. And I think, at least with that one for me too, is it made me a much better zombies player due to the fact that there is a lot of open area, but there are some tight spots where I learned how to get out of pretty much any sticky situation. So I think overall that's what made me into a good zombies player overall was that map, and I'll never get tired of it.
Love it.
There you go. That is, once again, Richie picked Derice as the number 1 map, Wyatt at number 3. At number 6, and I think, once again, I think the only reason some of these maps are even like a little higher than Derice was just simply put, like, it felt like everybody kind of consistently had it like a little bit above, you know, to where me and Kyle had Derice 6 and 7, to where this one it felt like everyone kind of had it almost in their top 5, if not already up there. And number 6 is Moon.
Moon, the best.
Solid.
I fuck with
Moon's
Moon.
awesome.
I fuck with Moon.
Moon's a great map.
I think that's the best way to describe it. I fuck with Moon. I think everybody
Dude.
fucks with Moon.
Yeah.
It
fuck
was
with Moon.
it was awesome.
Moon was the first map, because once again, you guys know my backstory was I love the Easter eggs. Moon was the first map where zombies had me in awe of what the hell was happening, because like didn't really follow the lore and the story and all that kind of stuff before that much outside of like when I kind of did the Easter eggs, you piece it together. But that one, finding out like the beef between Richtofen and Maxis, which is, you know, being transferred to Samantha, and how he transfers his soul with her and then uses that to nuke the world, and you're like, what the hell is going on, dude? Like, that was the first one I was like, this is sick.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, you know what? I look at my list, and Moon's probably the only one that if I wanted to bump it up, I probably should have thinking about it, because, like Jay just mentioning that makes me think about the first time I saw the fucking pyramid open and Samantha come out of it,
Yeah,
and like
dude.
Yeah.
I
blows
was
your
I was such a big fan of the zombies lore, and like the zombies lore at that period of time was so much like theory
was so
crafting.
simpler.
Yeah, it was simpler, but it was also so much theory crafting and people going like, well, we see this and how does that add in? It's like all this stuff that people were connecting, and then like it was like you always knew about Samantha, but she was just like this entity. And then like the first time she comes out of the freaking thing and then swaps with Richtofen, and then I just remember being on like the edge of my seat waiting, like I can't wait to see what Black Ops 2 was gonna have. And then that's the thing, the only redeeming factor of Black Ops 2 is like it starts and then suddenly Richtofen's in charge of the
He's the announcer.
yeah, he's the announcer, like the blue eyes on the zombies because it's Richtofen now and all this stuff, which happens in Moon after you complete the Easter egg.
Yep.
Just so much of Moon where it's just like, actually, I put it as 7th, and I'm regretting that. I don't know what I changed it in this moment, so I'm not going to, but I regret that. I'd move Moon up.
Yeah, I had it
Yeah.
4th.
5th. Yeah, Wyatt had it 4th. I had it 5th. Kyle, Jumba both had it 7th. Richie had it 8th.
Yeah, so it was all pretty close. I think this is another thing. Like me, Kyle, and Richie were not Easter egg guys. The Moon Easter egg was so sick that we all did the Moon Easter egg. Like that was the one we're like, all right, we got to do this one. Like, and we were always high round guys. We never really cared for like the Easter egg stuff. That one was like, we got to do this. Like we got to try. That's the effect Moon had on everybody.
Yeah, and Moon was the first Easter egg I ever did in my whole life. So, and I remember the first time we were like, we finally complete it, and then you look out the window, you're just looking out at Earth, and you just see it fucking blow up, and you're just like, fuck, man.
And as time
that
goes
shit's
on,
crazy.
it spaces out more and more. Like it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Moon's great. Moon's so great.
Also, unfortunate typo. Doris actually, I looked at the formula because I was looking at it, I was like, the Moon and the Doris numbers, feels like Doris should be higher than Moon. Doris accidentally had a 20 instead of a 2 for Richie, as in cell number 20 instead of 2, which bumped it all the way up to actually, it's spoiler, it's 3rd overall on our official
okay.
leaderboard.
Okay, that makes more
All right,
sense.
I'll
It's
take
number
that.
three.
I'll take
It's
that.
number
Alright.
3.
I'll take
I was
that.
wondering how I fell that low when you read out the personal numbers.
Yeah,
Like,
once
that
I
doesn't seem
read
to add
the
up.
Moon ones, I was like, I don't feel like the math is math in here.
Yeah, something's off.
So Moon is actually 7th. Spoiler alert on number 3, it's Doris. So when we get there, we'll just skip it. We'll mention it, but Doris is number 3.
Yeah.
So the actual number 6 is. So I think this is surprising that it's here, and we have 2 culprits here. Is Origins, and the reason it's surprising,
Yeah,
is
I
that
know.
me, Jumba, and Kyle all put it as the best map of all time.
Number 1.
Oh wow.
And Wyatt
Best
and
map.
Richie both put it at number 10.
Yeah.
10?
Yeah,
10.
I mean,
You got to be absolutely fucking me. You put it
Yeah,
at 10?
Like, let's hear this. I want to
I
hear
don't.
You gotta be
I don't
fucking
like
shit
the
my
environment.
Hold on. Before Wyatt says anything, I want to qualify what Wyatt's about to say. I, number 1, do not think he's played it enough. I don't think he understands how to do any of the setup for himself, because when we did the Easter egg, he was drunk. And although
I was
Jumba
gonna say
defended
that
him in the
too. I was
moment,
gonna say
was
that.
Jumba
hammered.
defended him in the moment. Wyatt was not at his peak zombie self when we did that Easter
I was
egg.
hammered. Hand up.
So I'm just
So
going to
got it
say
done.
that. I don't think that he's played it enough, and I don't think he actually understands what to do on the map, which I think makes it a lesser experience. So
Okay.
you say what you're going to say, Wyatt, but I'm just going to
I've always, whenever people bring up Origins, I'm always just like, when we were kids, I'd be like, yeah, I'll just sit out this round. It just doesn't excite me. I hate the mud. The setup, I feel like, takes way too long. I'm not a big setup guy. The environment is like, I would say it's super dull. I get the coolness
No
factor of
way,
it,
dude.
but I find it dull. I don't really find it as cool as like
World War I trenches, dude.
I know, but I don't find it as cool as like a Buried, a Gorod Krovi, a Moon. Like I don't put it in that category. And yeah, I think the stabs are cool, I guess.
I guess.
Cool, I guess.
You
It's
suck.
like revolution.
You suck,
gotta be
Wyatt.
When did you get
shitting
4
me.
wonder weapons on a map like that ever before?
Everybody gets a wonder
I'm gonna
weapon.
second Wyatt's decision on that one. Like
Yeah,
they're all right. Like,
They're all
You're
right.
disgusting
They're
individuals,
cool.
both of you.
They're cool. I
You
This
can
is a
lick my
VR11 podcast. The
Yeah,
stats are cool, I
you guys
guess. Like, you
gassed the
disgusting.
You know what?
The
VR11
scavenger,
my
bro.
ass.
You were
VR11
fucking
better.
holding. You were holding out for the scavenger.
You
Thought it was-
disgust
You were
me.
appalled
Yeah.
when Jayhawk called the scavenger bad, and you're like, oh, cool,
Well,
I guess. You called it. It's a monkey bomb.
Let the
So
record
what's the
show
problem?
too.
It's a
I
thunder
don't think
gun?
Wyatt has played the
this
map
go-
enough. I don't. Have you ever even used the ice staff or the thunder staff or the wind staff?
The only staff I used was the one you guys gave me.
Yeah, so he only
What did he
used the
give him?
fire staff,
The
which is
fire?
like arguably the worst one. So
Shitty.
That's
Whose
on you
fault
guys.
is that?
then.
This
That's
guy
not
was
on me.
fucking
No, that's not
drunk.
on me. That's
You
not on
were
me.
drunk.
You guys told me which staff I was getting. I was like, okay, I'll take it. You know,
You want to know why we gave you
Team
the fire
player.
staff?
Team player
Because
move.
it's the easiest to upgrade. There's no code because you were drunk.
fair. But I also had it. I think I also had it in a game beforehand where we were like testing out before we were gonna actually
That
do
was
the
you and
Easter
me
egg.
as a duo, and
Yeah.
you could have used the other ones, but I don't know. You definitely used more than the fire staff in that game. There's no way.
I think I only used that. I've
Dude,
never used it.
I
more
used
than
the
that.
ice staff. I think both times.
The
That,
ice staff
that shit was
fucks.
sick.
The ice staff is
You,
goaded.
you'd like the ice staff
I
because
just-
it's like the
Oh
winter's
no, I used the
howl.
wind
It's
staff,
better.
and that shit was sick. Yeah,
I don't know. I just
the giant
get
tornado.
tired of that map relatively
suck.
fast.
How do you get?
I
tired
just
of
get
that?
tired of it relatively quick. I just give.
How?
I'm just like, all right. Well, I'm in the mud again.
I will say the playback
It's
loop
fucking
is a
great.
little similar because of the fact that you
hold on.
always
You're
do
just
the
upset
setup,
because
but
the
still.
mud.
I hate the mud, dude. I hate that shit so
The
much.
mud
I hate that
sucks.
shit so much.
The mud's not. I feel like if you hate the mud, you don't even know like what you're doing because the mud's not even like a primary area of where you should be going.
I
Just
hate
get fucking
it.
stamina.
Get
That's what I
stamina
have
up,
to go do, and then guess what? They can like turn off the little generator area, and then it's like, what the fuck?
so defend it.
Then I gotta run all the way over.
If you
there.
defend it,
Guess
you
what
get a
I'm
max
running
ammo.
through?
But wait a
You
Mud.
get a
minute,
max
wait a
ammo
minute,
if
wait
you
a minute.
defend it.
Hold up. You don't.
Are you
it's-
running
don't
through the
lose
tank
per-
tracks the whole
You also
time?
don't lose the perk if the power goes
I know you
off.
don't lose the perk,
You
but
can
then I
just
gotta
let
go.
them-
It's
just let
like
them
a
turn the
whole
power
other
off.
thing I gotta go
Just let them
do.
turn the power off.
I know, but I just hate it. I'm like, I gotta go do this again. Now I gotta go turn this back on. Oh my god!
But you don't
now I'm
have
just
to.
sitting
That's
here.
the thing. You don't. You can let them take the power. The only thing it does is affect Pack-a-Punch.
Yeah, which you got to use Pack-a-Punch. You gotta
Not
have
if you're
Pack-a-Punch.
using
Not when
freaking
you have the
staffs,
staff.
bro.
I would using the staffs.
I get
They have
bored
one
using the
pack a
staff.
punch gun.
I fall asleep using the staff.
Oh my god, that's because you got the shittiest
Bro
It's
staff.
wants
still
to
a good-
use the
it's still a
VR11
good
and
map.
the winner's howl. Okay,
It's
sure.
still a good map.
Have fun
I
getting run
still
around.
have
You
it
Round
ranked
top.
12.
it 10.
I have it
That's-
top 10.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's not good.
Okay,
10
so
is disrespectful.
That's 50%. That's out of 21. That's not good.
So-
That's
I'm saying it's
trash.
average.
it's
All
pretty
of
saying
average.
it's average.
It's
All of the
average.
maps
is not
above
average.
this, all of the maps above this, I would rather play above it. All of these.
Yeah,
No. Origins is.
it's definitely not.
It
number
has
one.
the
like-
most shit and it's the best.
His
That's
top
not-
10 does have like genuinely who we have in the top 10. Generally.
Yeah.
So like it's not like he has a bad top 10. But to say that Origins, like for example, we're gonna get to this map, but the fact that Eisendrache is above Origins is ridiculous to me when Eisendrache is literally just Origins.
Yeah, but guess what?
In BO3.
But guess what? It's one spot above. It's at 9, and I still I
What?
still have it
You
at
put
9.
it at 9?
How
They're the same map, Kyle, minus mud.
I
So I
agree
put
they
it
should
one
be
spot
relatively
above.
next to
Just
each other,
because
but the
of the
fact
map.
that you put them that low is insane to me.
They're the same map. They do the same thing, except one doesn't have
You're just-
mud,
you're
so I
too-
put the
you're-
one without
no,
mud
no, we're gonna-
one spot above.
The-
You need to learn to do the Origins Easter egg by yourself, where I don't carry you through
I
all
will
the
do it
steps
by
while
myself.
your drunk ass is doing nothing but
I will
holding
do
a
it by
zombie.
myself, and then I will report back to you. That'll
'Cause I
be
want
my
you to know,
assignment.
Origins is so when you know what you're doing on Origins, because you said the setup takes forever. Dude, I can get those staffs all upgraded by round 8. Every single one of them. If you know what you're doing, you can do it so fast.
the,
so
the,
bad.
the only thing that I don't agree
I'm
with
in fucking
Wyatt.
shambles.
Only thing I don't agree with Wyatt is I like the vibe of the map, but
Exactly. That's what I thought is crazy.
Yeah,
I
I
just
like
don't-
I like the vibe of it, but as far as like playability, if you're like, bro, let's load up some Origins, like
You're just like,
I'm
oh
good.
yeah, I'll rather go take a nap. Hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll go watch paint dry. You know what? There's grass outside. Let me see if it
now,
grows.
enough of this negativity, because 3 of us have it number 1, so I'm going to get on my soapbox for a little bit. Number 1, as someone who likes to do things on maps, Origins has so much to do. You can
Has
get
the
the
most.
elemental staffs, you can get the G-Strike, you can get the fist, and you can upgrade the fist through the Easter egg. I think
Snooze.
the Easter egg is so sick. You want to talk about tying it in with previous games? The Black Ops 1 Vorkuta campaign mission, the steps in which Reznov leads you out in order to escape the prison, that is the title of the steps that Samantha is telling you in order to complete the Easter egg. Ascend
Goated
from
mission, by the
darkness,
way,
all that kind of
like
stuff.
one of the best missions in like
Goated
Call of Duty.
mission.
I fucking still go back to listen to like the
Yeah.
freaking him chanting the steps sometimes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the one
Also-
takeaway I got from that was you get fisted in Origins.
You
yeah.
have you ever used the fists?
Yes.
The fists are badass. Come on,
fists
dude.
are
You can't tell me
badass.
you don't like the fists.
The 1-inch punch, bro?
The 1
That
inch
shit's
punch, dude,
crazy.
Get
and you can
fisted.
upgrade it to the
Snooze.
element of your staff through the Easter egg. Sick. It introduces the Panzer Soldat, which I think is arguably the best boss zombie ever. Now, obviously, Jumba disagrees because he doesn't like Panzers, but I love Panzers because I think they're both a good mix of like when you have the right tools, being the staffs, you can kill them really easily, and they're also really damn hard. They can grab you and like pull you to them really hard. They can like use their rocket launcher to jump across and get to you if you're far away. So I like the Panzers. I think the environment is arguably the coolest one in Zombies history. You're literally in the World War trenches, and although a lot of the other Zombies maps feel great, they all feel like dead. They don't feel like there's things happening there. You can't say that about Origins when there's little like plain warfare happening above your heads. There's giant ass robots. What are those guys' deals? What's that about? And then you figure out you can get into their feet and do stuff, and then you get the G-Strike, so you can get them to launch rockets at the G-Strike. That's badass. Like, the crazy place, the Easter egg, everything about Origins, it's goated. The fact you have a 10th is disrespectful.
Why? It looks like
Snooze.
you just... Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like you took a nap during that. Why?
I was about to fall asleep. I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
lie.
because the only time this man ever played it, he was literally drunk and got his ass carried through an Easter egg.
It's a good map. I have it 10th. Like, and then the map that's just like it, I have it 9th. You know?
Just to be clear, everyone, he has 5 11th. He has Origins and 5 right next to each other.
Hold on.
That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Hold on. We said there was a difference
He has
between
Noct
the bottom
12th,
10, top
and if we
10.
take away the nostalgia factor of Noct, there's no way Origins is next to Noct or Untoten, dude.
You're looking too closely at the numbers here. There's tiers to this.
There
There's
are
tiers
tiers
to this.
But the fact that like the only thing holding them between each other is a little line is insane to me.
Yeah. Well, get used to it. Origins,
No,
10.
no. Once again, he was drunk. He doesn't know how to play it, and he skipped it as a kid, apparently. Okay,
That's
Origins
crazy.
is 6, unless Kyle or Jumbo want to,
No,
talk
you
about
you
how
got
good
it, man.
is.
You
Great
got
map.
You got it.
Best thing.
All right, at number 5, once again, the fact that this is above it, I think, is a little ridiculous, is Eisendrache.
Yeah.
Great map.
Same
I had
map.
it number 4, but
Good
the
map.
fact that it's above Origins
Don't
is
say
absurd.
same map. Shut
Basically
your
the same.
fucking ass.
I
No,
mean,
it's not.
there's 4
Not even
wonder
fucking
weapons
close.
that you can upgrade that you can all get.
Wait, what's the difference? Why? What's the difference between the two maps?
I couldn't tell you.
One's in a fucking castle, you jackass.
I'll put
At
it
this
this
point,
way.
I'm just trying to piss you
I
off.
haven't played
Yes.
Eisendrache, and I think it would have shook up my top 3 just like watching the map. I think it
I
would.
will say
shake
the
up the
only
top.
reason that I think Der Eisendrache is above Origins in our ranking is because Richie hasn't played it and Jumba hasn't played it, so
Yeah.
neither of them are rankings, which Jumba didn't rank it and Richie put it at the bottom. Neither of the ranks count towards it. I think it would have pulled it a little lower because the only 3 spots it has is Kyle put it 3, I put it 4, Wyatt put it 9. That's all that ranked it. So
Well, also, like, okay, seriously though, like being dead serious, like it does take a lot from Mob of the Dead. Like, there's a lot of elements of Mob. It
Agreed.
takes a lot of elements from other maps. It takes
Agreed.
the dog thing with the dragons from Mob.
Yes.
It takes the elemental bows away from Origins. Like, it is.
Agreed.
I still like it. I still enjoy playing it. I have a good time playing it. It's just that I feel like it does take a lot from other maps.
I agree.
You know.
It does, but I feel like it combines it in a way that makes it feel different. Plus, like, you're in a fucking castle. Like,
Yeah.
that's just so cool to
No,
me.
the
You know what
environment's
I mean?
great. I think the environment's great. I think it's good.
The bows are also badass. Honestly, the only thing I actually dislike about Der Eisendrache is the fact that they brought back Panzers. Because I'm just a sucker for don't rehash something like a wonder weapon or a boss zombie or something like that. That's just like, I know that from Origins. Why is it in this castle in the Alps? You know, that
Bro,
doesn't make sense.
the cutscene where you see Maxis in the Easter egg was so
When you go
sick.
back in time.
Yeah, like that was so cool. I was not expecting that because once again, I didn't do Easter eggs when I was younger, and I didn't watch the guide. So watching that for the first time, I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like he's
I
such
will
a
say-
core character.
Jumba and Kyle were not there when we did the Der Eisendrache Easter egg, which I think is a little unfortunate because I think it might be my favorite Easter egg ever.
It was.
wanna do it
I
again
think it's
before,
like top
but-
3 for me.
Well, I want to do it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we,
No,
we've
we
got
will,
to
we
do
will
it
go back and
before.
do it.
We'll
which
do
you
it
don't have to
again.
have 4 players. So we, if you guys ever want to do it together, you all just do a duo or But
Yeah.
I'd be down to hop in there because, like I said, I've done it twice now. I did it solo. I did it with 4. I think it's a really good Easter egg.
Really
I
good.
Enjoyed it.
It's really good. Perfect
So-
amount of challenging
I,
too.
I want to get it. I want to do that before we move on to Black Ops 4. 1, because my computer doesn't have that much space, so I need to get rid of BO3. And 2, because I mean, I just want to like get all the ones out of the way that like I wanted to do for BO3 before we move on to BO4.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, if you guys are down at any point, like I said, we don't need 4 people for it, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
we can just run it real fast, and it's not too hard to where like we would fail. Like I said, I've done it twice and I beat it both times first try. So Eisendrache is 5th, and number 4 we have Buried. I think it's a little inflated, but we have Buried.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of low for me.
I got
honestly.
Buried
You
number
Kyle,
1.
You had it 4th on your list. What do you mean? Did I have it 4th? You had it 4th.
All-time moment. There we go.
All right. Well, no.
The reason it's that high is because Wyatt put it number 1.
Yeah, that's always
Oh,
been
you
my
put it
favorite
number one.
map.
Kyle, you were the second highest at 4. Richie and Jumba both had it at 6. I had it at 8.
Yeah, Buried. I think since I have it number 1, I'll just go off on it a little bit.
Go for it.
I've never been a big setup guy, but this one, the setup on this one, I truly enjoy. I love
Yeah, 'cause
setting up
Arthur
on this
does
map.
that shit for you. You bum.
Arthur is so
You're lazy.
cool.
Oh, the
Arthur
mud.
is so
Arthur's
great.
cool. You bitched about that guy for 3 hours straight when we did the AO.
Yeah,
Listen,
you're the one who
We
blamed.
had
You
our
gaslit
troubles.
Kyle and
We
Arthur.
had our
You
troubles.
gaslit me so bad.
But just like a good friend does, we made up. We're fine. We're back on great terms.
I don't think he
We
made up
feel
with you.
good. But no, there's so much you can do with Arthur. I think it's so sick. The fact that you can use the candy and you can use the booze as 2 separate items to do 2 separate things for him is really cool. 4 buildables. He can build the buildables if you want him to. He can smash the box down in a specific spot if you want him to. He can hold a crawler if you want him to. There's also the witch's house, which I think was one of the coolest like little twists. This map is what got me back because I was in a lull from zombies for playing so much World at War and BO1 that I was just in this lull, and Kyle showed me Buried. It brought me back fully into
Didn't
the zombies
Mob
fold.
come up before Buried?
I didn't really play Mob. I didn't really play it that much.
Remember the lightning.
So
thing.
I
We'll
showed
talk
him
about that
always
later.
Buried,
bothered
and
me.
then
We'll
we
talk about
played
that
Mob
later.
afterwards.
So then getting in there, going through the witch's house, learning all these cool things, finding out that you can blow up the fountain in the middle, the way you pack a punch, the way the maze changes every single time. The wonder weapon is very similar to like an old stage like flamethrower, but just a little bit better.
It's also
it's
like
just
the jet gun if it wasn't ass.
if it wasn't ass, yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally the same thing. Yeah, it was just awesome. And then there's so many cool like little things you find out later. Like if you have the Galva Knuckles, you can like give money to a teammate, which is something I think was relatively new. Maybe I think Dairise did it in the
Moon.
showers. You could
Moon.
give, or
Moon did it.
did Moon do it?
Yeah. Because I
Moon
remember
did
the
could
hacker.
hack people.
Jay with
Okay.
the
You could hack
hacker
people and
was
give people money.
gassing
I didn't
me
even
up
I
with
didn't
money.
even know of that. So
We
yeah,
did
I
it during our
just
Easter egg. Jay, I think, gave
Yeah,
us all
dog.
money.
Remember when you died and
I choked out on the
give
moon.
you money?
How would I remember
I had
that?
to
I had
give
no-
you money so you
I
could
had
get
no
perks
oxygen
back.
in my brain. I completely forgot about
did
it.
Facts,
choke out.
facts.
I
Facts.
choked out in the moon. Now I just love Buried to death, dude. I just love everything about it. I'm also like a big Western guy. I love that vibe. So that being the vibe, also the Western pistol being in there was sick.
Western
the time
pistol.
bomb, dude. There's so much cool stuff. The fact that you could go back to the main room was also great. And then there's that one LMG where you get one chance to get it, and if you can get it, that's great. If you can't get it, it's gone forever. I just love little weird stuff like that. So Buried's my favorite, and I spent the most time on Buried.
The only reason I said it's a little inflated is because nobody else had it in our top 3s, and most of our top 6 here, multiple people have it within a top 3, except for Buried. So it's like all of us think it really highly of it. It's a great map.
Yeah.
But it was the only one I think out of the top 6 that you were the only one that put it top 3.
I will give the one problem with it. It's too easy. A lot of people say it's too
Yes.
easy. I agree. It is too easy. I still enjoy it anyway.
I thought it was enjoyable. I actually had a lot of fun playing the Easter egg, even though we had our struggles and skill issues that made it take forever, and you were
Yeah.
gaslighting Kyle.
Yeah.
You gaslight the fuck out of
You
me.
bastard. But at the same time, I don't know. I think it's pretty easy, and the setup I don't know. Like I said, I like stuff to do, and although there is stuff to do on it, I feel like the setup is a little like easy when Arthur can just go do all that shit for you. You know what I
That's
mean? Like
true.
you can just tell him to go build the thing for you, and you don't have to build it. You don't have to go get any of the parts for it. You can just go like imagine on Origins, you can just go tell him to get the staff parts for you.
That'd be so sick.
Well, that's
I'd
kinda boring.
probably rate it. Yeah, 9.
It is a cool factor, but it's what brings it down a little bit for me is that you can do like the super easy mode on it, which
Yeah.
You can also just run through the witch's house and get all your perks for free. You can also just sit in that corner with the pulsar thing and just not shoot your gun ever and get to like round 200.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
Yeah, but you don't have to do those things.
You don't
They're
have to do those
obviously
things.
optional. Okay, so that is our top 4. At number 3, we had Doris. We already went on about that. So go listen to that whole explanation. Once again, apologies for the incorrect math there. So at number 2, we have 2 maps left. Gorod Krovi, Mob of the Dead. And number 2 is going to be Mob of the Dead,
Oh my God, we have Gorod Krovi
which
number
means Gorod
one.
Krovi
Yeah.
is our number 1, which I did
Yep.
not expect coming
I
into
didn't
this.
expect that either.
Especially when I sit here and look at the fact that 3 of us have Origins number 1, but
Yeah.
2 rat bastards decided to drop it to number 6.
So
The most absurd thing I've ever heard.
I think-
Even
Show
if you
business.
guys, here's the thing,
That's
if you guys
show
put
business.
Origins at like 7, I'm pretty sure Origins takes the spot number 1
Yeah.
because of the fact that we all had it number 1. So the fact that y'all put it at 10 is disgusting. But let's talk about Mob of the Dead. It is number 2. Previously, my favorite map of all time, Origins eclipsed it. I had it number 2 overall. Richie had it number 2 overall. Jumba had it 3rd. Kyle had it 5th. Wyatt had it 7th.
I need more time on it, to be honest. I need some more time on it.
I think you need more time on it. Here's what I love. Once again, I love maps where you have to do stuff. Mob was the first map that you had to do stuff, and it was fun, unlike Transit. Because Transit, you had to do stuff. It just
And
freaking
it
sucked. The Wonder Weapon is so sick. It's not only like has the gun and the Pack Punch version, but you can upgrade it with the acid to make it even cooler. So the Wonder Weapon's sick. I think it is the proper amount of challenging where there doesn't feel like there's such easy camping spots or such easy training spots. Like the easiest training spot is the cafeteria, but even then, like you have to have the shield. You probably need the Hell's Retriever, and if you want to go long, you got to have that Wonder Weapon because it is still relatively close quarters. And Brutus can spawn and screw you up because he's annoying and like sprints at you. He can lock the box. He can lock like certain wall buys and like piss you off that way. The Easter egg is really fun. It's a celebrity cast. You're on Alcatraz, which is like one of the coolest environments possible. And I think the story might be, in terms of just like a individual map story, might be my favorite of all time. That you have these prisoners, they don't understand why. Only one of them realizes that they're in a death loop where they keep dying and they keep respawning back onto this hell prison with all these zombies spawning. The other 3 don't know that they're in this loop, and so he's trying to figure out a way to get out of this loop. And the whole time, the other 3 are just simply trying to escape the prison with this plane. And this is his plan, to escape them with this plane and get to the Golden Gate Bridge, which is also really sick that you get to go there.
Yeah.
That's my rant. Or not my rant, my spiel. Anybody else want to talk about Mob?
I mean, you went on everything like that. I could not have said any of that better. But like, just on the do things, like I had never played Mob before. Remember, like the whole reason
Yeah.
we started this was because I said on a podcast I've never played Mob of the Dead,
Which,
and then
once at my time,
Yeah.
was my favorite map, and I
Yeah.
was appalled.
and then you messaged and you said no, Mob of the Dead is crazy. And then we had done like a practice run, Jay, like me and you. I think we'd done like even 2 or something like that. But like you just taught me briefly just some of the setup of it. That then when we did the actual run, it was like the first time, like when we thought about doing all these Easter eggs. Like I said, Shang had disappointed me because I just sat around on round 3. But then
Right.
Mob started, and I was like, okay, I'm here. I turned on this. I got the key. I did that. Well, someone's on the other side of the map doing this stuff, and like
Yeah.
and then like we converged, and then like you said, the rest of it, the story, going to the Golden Bridge, the Pack-a-Punch, Brutus, everything. All pretty sick. Even the final fight where you have to 3v1 or get 1v3'd. All of it's cool.
1v3.
All of it's cool.
Yeah.
So
I will say also great super weapon.
yeah.
Yep.
Fucking so cool.
Kyle's always said
Um,
that. He's always had high remarks for the Wonder Weapon.
I have.
Yeah.
I like the blunderbuss though. But I don't like it with the acid gas.
Which
but
is
that's just
crazy.
me.
Which is
that's
nuts.
That's just
That's wild.
But
As
that's
a
just
Wonder
me.
Weapon guy, you don't want the stronger version. That's like I like the Wonder Weapon. I don't like Pack-a-Punching it though. Like
It's
that's
me
a
with
little
the
much for
Winter's
me.
Howl, basically. It's basically it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's basically me with the Winter's Howl.
I like shooting it and it just obliterates everything in front of me.
And
you know, I think that's just fun.
The only other thing I was gonna say is this is now that we've revealed what it is. It's like my top 3 when Origins, Shadows, Mob. So I clearly have a type of map I like.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
I will say, because this was one thing that, because I didn't say this at the time, but talking about shadows, one of the things that brought it down for me at number 10 is I prefer Mob's afterlife innovation to the beast stuff.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
didn't really
That's
care
fair.
much for
Yeah.
the beast mode, and I thought Afterlife was such a creative way, because think about it, in Cold War and all the recent like zombies games, they're trying to replace perks in a way that feels good. They don't want you to have jug or double tap and the crutch perks. Mob is the only time I ever felt they did that successfully with Quick Revive,
Agreed.
where they have the Afterlife system, which does make the map easier because you basically have a built-in Quick Revive every single round. But at the same time, I think the map is challenging enough that the Afterlife doesn't feel like so overpowered and oppressive. And I feel like they integrated it so well with the story, with the Easter egg and the way like the setup of the map, that it's just really fun. I love Afterlife, so.
I'm not
Yeah,
a
I
big
appreciate-
Easter egg guy. Or sorry, not Easter egg guy. I'm not a big Wonder Weapon guy. And I loved the Wonder
You
Weapon
did.
on this map. I loved
did.
it to death. I was like, this is awesome. And I don't really, I typically defer Wonder Weapons to everybody else because I don't really enjoy using them. But that one I enjoyed the hell out of that weapon. It was awesome. That was awesome.
I remember,
So that's really all I have to add. I just got to play more.
Yeah, you definitely do. I remember me and Kyle, when this map first came out, we did nothing except play fucking Mob of the Dead for hours.
Hell yeah.
I fucking love this map. That's why I have it second, coming in after Darius. But I fucking love this map. I do love the atmosphere of it. It's a great
Top
map.
2 atmosphere.
Yeah,
Got to be top 2.
100%. I know you don't like the flashing, but you could get past that, bro.
No, I did. It's not even that I don't like it. It bothers me. Like I just get, it gets me tired after a while. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah, I
It
can
just
see
like
that,
after a
yeah.
while, I just get tired. That's why I
Yeah,
never wanted to
mentally
play it.
taxes. Yeah.
All right.
I do say the Tommy gun just so good.
Goated.
You know, nostalgic. The character selection, like the way they talk to each other.
When you
I
want
think
to talk
it's
about
fun.
map exclusive weapons, I do love the fact that they brought back some of those like old mobster guns
Yes.
for that map
Yes.
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
Like it's just Mob is like the one time where I feel like they took a theme and they did it to perfection.
Perfection,
You know what
dude.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's so demonic. Like there's so
Yeah.
many elements of it. Like
The red zombie
Alcatraz.
eyes, which
Bro.
apparently they did on, like they just did it. There was no reason for it, and then the people who made the map found out later that the zombie eye color meant something, and they were like, "Oh, so now it's like the hell dimension type of thing." But
Yeah.
at the time when they released it, that's not what it
That's
was.
not
It
what
was
they
just,
the-
just red eyes are badass. So.
The golden spork and the way you get it, where like there's
golden spork.
a bathtub of blood and the fist comes out holding it. It's like, dude, there's so many
Yeah.
great things about it. Like it's
Yeah.
Sounds
just,
like
it's
you really like
good.
this map for 7.
I just have to
I'm
play it
kidding,
more,
I
to be
know.
honest. But like, yeah,
Yeah, the
it-
fact that you had it the lowest rated is crazy, and it still
I
was
still-
number 2. It might have been number 1 if you had it higher.
yeah, I just got to play it a little bit more. But I do really enjoy the map. It is top 10, and some of these other ones I would play before it, but that could easily change as if I play it more and get more accumulated with the map and everything like that. But still a good map, and that just leaves Gorod Krovi.
Yeah, which I will
Gorod,
say,
dude.
it does feel a little bad that our cumulative best map of all time, not a single one of us actually rated it number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, us 3 had Origins, Richie had Darius, you had Buried. But that just goes to show how highly we all thought of it. Now, once again, Richie didn't rank it.
Richie
I
had it
had it
second to
third.
last.
I had it third. Jumba had it fourth. Kyle had it second. Wyatt had it second. Wyatt, Kyle, y'all had the highest rank on it. Talk about it.
I mean, me and Kyle played together when we found out
So
that you
much.
rode a fucking dragon to go to get Pack-a-Punch. When we had that cutscene happen, we collectively shit our pants. Like, it was like, what the fuck? Like, you're flying through the air, this dragon's dodging cannon fire, and then you get dropped off into this room. We walk up to this thing, I'm like, Kyle, it says hold square here. We hold square, we get locked into this fucking room. We've got zombies coming left and right. We're like, oh shit. We're trying to survive. It like brought back that feeling of like early Nocturne Toten where I open a door and then like a zombie's coming at me from this direction. Like, remember when you go into the help door room and then they come out of the wall? You're like, oh fuck, they're
Yeah.
coming out of the wall. It gave me that feeling again. I was like, dude, I feel it in my loins once again. Then you finally leave, you go back out. Then you have all of these different things you have to go do for the Easter egg. The Easter egg was incredible, by the way. The final fight was sick. The fact that it's
So
Nikolai,
cool.
which is probably got to be a lot of people's like top character, if not top 2. Like he's just a
My
very
favorite.
good character. So you have him. It's like the perfect amount of there's open, but it's also kind of like closed in certain spots. Like you got to be very careful. There's a lot of setup to it. I was still learning new things about it as we were doing the Easter egg. I was just like, what are these dragon wings for? It's like, oh, you can fly back to the spot. What is this helmet
Actually,
for? Oh, it helps you with
apparently, I saw something with those dragon wings after starting to interrupt. Apparently, they're like crazy OP. They like reduce
Really?
damage and everything too. I don't know. Like I saw that somewhere like just after, but like yeah, I don't know. They do
I don't
more.
think they do.
I'd have
They
to
might
look it up.
maybe
but,
the
like,
dragon fight, but I'm pretty sure they just teleport you to the dragon incubator place.
Interesting.
I
Either
know the
way,
Mangler
I think
one
there's
did
an
more
there's an
damage,
OP mask on that, or the OP helmet on that one. I know there is.
30
There's like
Dragon
one that
Wings-
does a
No,
bunch
no,
of
no.
shit.
The
Fast
OP
travel
one is
to
on
Pap.
Revelations. Sorry, go ahead.
It's just fast travel to PAP, and then there's a terminal that will give you the they also give you 30% more damage resistance and 30% fire damage resistance
for the dragon.
From the dragon.
from the dragon.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
30%. I don't know. It's just 30% damage resistance. I don't know if that's for everything.
Either way,
There's no way that would give you like an extra hit to down. No.
that'd be nuts.
I don't know. It just says they
You
also give you
got great
30%.
dragon blood in you.
Says they give you 30% more damage resistance and 30% fire damage resistance. This is a Reddit post by some guy from 8 years ago, but I don't know. That's what it says.
We should
That's
trust it.
interesting.
We should
Anyway,
trust it.
the OP one is on Revelations. You can literally get like a 12 hit down if you get the super OP.
Oh,
helmet.
that's that crazy helmet.
yeah, on Revelations. It's
Yeah, we
crazy.
didn't go for it because I was tired.
Yeah.
Either way, I think it's one of the best. And then you get a fucking little baby dragon that'll fly around and
baby
help you.
dragon, yeah.
You get a blade.
Not only that, but you get like a Doom Fist punch that just fucking
It goes
clock
hard.
people.
I also we didn't even upgrade the shield. You know the
Yeah.
dead
You
dragon
can also
in the
upgrade
beginning of the map.
The monkey bomb.
I didn't know that. See, I'm still
Yeah.
learning new shit about this map. Like it's so good. Like it's just, and then the environment. You look up in the fucking sky. Talking about an environment like Origins, you look up in the sky and there's just dragons fighting planes in the middle of the air. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
So that environment's badass, but if you just take the dragons out, it's so dull, it's bland, we don't love it.
Yes,
That's insane.
Exactly.
That's insane to me.
doesn't have mud.
The dragons are cool. Like, I'm not saying they're not, but that's insane that
Doesn't have mud though.
you like the fact that there's dragons fighting planes above you, but you don't like the fact that there's just planes fighting above you in
Wow.
World War One.
Mud though, and dragons are cool.
Once again,
dragons are
skill
so cool.
issue. If you're struggling with the mud, you're ass. I'm gonna be real. You are ass. The mud is
Last-
not that big of a deal on it. Anyway.
Anyway, last thing I want to say about it is just the fact that when I first landed in this map, I thought it was way too over the top. I was like, this is stupid. And then when you actually start playing it, you realize like, oh, there's a reason for all of this, and there's a meaning behind it that you learn from the Easter egg. And you're like, okay, that's sick. So basically, yeah, I love Gorod. I had it second. I had a second.
Couple things I want to say. One, Nikolai is my favorite character by far. So this being like Nikolai's map is like really drives it home for me. Plus, you know, I kind of miss Drunk Nikolai. Drunk Nikolai was like my favorite one. Where like one of my favorite lines from Old World at War is like when he gets the PTS or whatever the big ass sniper.
PRS, PTS.
I forget what it PRTS or whatever it's called. He gets the big ass sniper. He goes, "Oh, this is the same weapon I used to kill my third wife." And he's like, just goes off. And I'm like, dude, this guy's just a rock star. Just drinks vodka and goes ham. And so I was like, I always liked him as a character. And then they kind of dulled him down in like Black Ops 3. And so, you know, the fact that we get Drunk Russian again is like super awesome for me. And then just the map itself is just so cool. The wonder weapon's great, just absolutely fucks. There's a lot of weapon exclusives that are on the map that are sick. And then you didn't see this, but when you upgrade the monkey bombs, they become dubstep monkeys.
Oh my
and they have like dubstep music and they fucking dance. It's so sick.
My God.
And then some of the other shit on there is just so cool, like flying the dragon, the double G strikes, like all that shit is just so cool. Like the G strikes where you just put it on the ground, a dragon flies by and just shoots fire at it. Like there's so much cool shit in this map that, and plus I feel like once you finish the Easter egg, it has one of the best like things of all time. You get
Cutscenes.
all the perks. You get all the perks. You never lose them. Like it's just. it just makes
Yeah.
it so like worth it to do
We
it.
got to do an Easter egg one day where then we continue playing after.
Yeah, just see how far we can go.
Problem is, we always start these at like midnight my time, so I'm like, I
I
don't
know.
want to play anymore.
The big problem is the time difference.
Yeah.
Like the fact that like, cause when they get off work,
they
and all
gotta
this
get
stuff,
off work. It's like nighttime for me. No, I understand that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Gorod. Do you guys want to add anything else, or are we good with the rankings?
No.
I think we're good on the rankings. Whenever we finish BO4 Cold War, I think we revisit this, and I do
Yes.
think that maybe when we are a little further away from playing BO3, maybe we even change some of our opinions there in terms of maybe we bump Shadows of Evil up or something.
I wonder how high Gorod
Jumbo will
stays.
finally have Eisendrache on
Yeah.
there, you know, stuff like that. So, and maybe hopefully by that point, you know, Richie bought a PC and played BO3 with us. I
Let's
don't know.
hope.
I mean,
Let's
we're
hope.
just throwing this out there. I don't know.
Also, are we playing Advanced Warfare Zombies?
The plan was to just play Treyarch Zombies, so I don't plan to because I think that Zombies mode is ass. But if you guys
I
want
like
to, go
that
for
one.
it.
There's good zombies, but
I don't know if I'm gonna buy that one.
Yeah, if you guys want to buy
Got a
that,
lot on my
go-
plate.
you go for that one.
That's true.
I will not be.
Okay, well, ladies and gents, that is our cumulative list of all of the Zombies maps. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Pack a Podcast. We are going to start our endeavor into Black Ops 4 and also Cold War. I don't know if we're going to do the exact same one. Like Jayhawk said earlier, if people want to do them, they can. If they don't want to do them, it's fine. We probably won't run 4 deep on every single one, but we are going to try and do them. And we also just want to play the maps again just to see where we would rank them so we can revisit this list, because I do think Black Ops 4 does get judged a little too harshly playing some of these old ones again. I do have that feeling of like, oh, this isn't as bad as I remember it being. It's still not nearly as close to like any of the other ones, but it wasn't as bad, and I'm kind of excited to get into these new ones. But we'll update you guys as that goes along, as well as getting closer to Black Ops 6. We'll keep you guys updated with some news when we have some future pods here talking about our thoughts and all of that. Thank you guys for tuning in, as always.
And I will
What's up?
say, if you want to know our individual list, I can send them in the Discord or something.
Yeah,
I might
we
just
should
send
do
a
that.
Screenshot. Yeah.
We'll send a screenshot of our individual list, and you guys can roast us accordingly. So we will do that
Yeah,
as
like
well.
putting
I'll have
Origins at 10.
yeah, or having Origins anywhere above 10. It's the mud, really.
you're-
I don't think a lot of people would
Disgusting.
disagree with that. I think
Maybe.
you'll get flamed for your take significantly more.
I'm used to it at this point. I've been doing this for years. It's
Also-
part of the job.
Before we end, we actually do have an announcement. With the first ever, Pack-a-Pod draft, I won.
Oh, did
Oh,
you win?
Jayhawk did
Oh,
win.
I
I
saw
got
that.
dead
Yeah.
fucking last.
Was there
did.
It's just
Zero
terrible.
votes.
I will say, we need to try and rally some more people to vote on this. We only had, I think, 8 total votes, but I got 4 of them. So
Where
got
was
4 of
where
them?
was
Wait,
that posted?
how many votes-
I didn't
how many
see
votes
that.
did I
it
get?
was in the
Kyle.
Grab
It was
My
in the
Banner
GMB
Discord.
Discord.
Kyle,
We
me,
made a
you
whole
both
pack
got
of
I got
votes.
1 vote.
Kyle and Richie
Shout
both
out
got
me and
1
Richie
vote.
tied.
Jumba got 2. I got 4. Wyatt got 0. Dead last. So
That's fine.
Shout
That's
out.
fine. I think it's a bias. That's fine. I'll take it.
I think
I'll be the villain.
I think it's small sample size.
I'll be the
real. I
villain.
did not expect to come out there with a win. The fact that I won with 4 total votes does not make me feel like I'm the greatest winner in the world.
Come on, time bomb. They're not giving the time bomb to the child. I thought that was gonna carry me.
That should
My
have.
thought the
acid
curse
gat
of
blunder,
ice.
my blunder bat pick probably screwed me there.
It probably screwed you a
Probably-
little bit
probably a
there.
little fucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gents, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we'll catch you guys soon for another Pack a Pod. See ya.